Ladies and gentlemen, you're about to listen to the incomparable Win Twice Wrestling Podcast with your hosts, Scott and Holly. So sit back, relax, and prepare to be entertained. With the uninspiring WrestleMania 4 in the rearview mirror, the WWF returned to the Boardwalk Hall in Atlantic City for WrestleMania V in 1989. Having cemented their alliance the prior year, Hulk Hogan would assist the Macho Man in his efforts to emerge as the new WWF champion at the culmination of WrestleMania 4. The Mega Powers were set to be a real force within the Federation, and with Randy Savage as kingpin, the WWF had a new top star to build their forthcoming storylines around. After raising the lovely Miss Elizabeth atop his shoulder, having handed her the gold, this should have been the career-defining moment for Randy Savage, but that wasn't the lasting memory for many fans when the show was finished. Hulk Hogan, who had ensured that Andre the Giant would not play a deciding factor in the main event, remained in the ring to celebrate with Savage, and in the process positioned himself within eyeshot of the championship gold he had once held for over 3 years at all times. Over the course of the following year, the relationship between the Mega Powers that once seemed so strong slowly deteriorated until Savage attacked Hulk Hogan with the belt backstage as Miss Elizabeth lay on a medical table looking helpless. It appeared that the ego and jealousy of Macho Man had reached boiling point, and Miss Elizabeth was caught directly in the middle of it all. In the main event of WrestleMania V, the Mega Powers would explode, and the Federation's top prize would be up for grabs. Elsewhere on the 15-match card, the Intercontinental Champion and surging Frenzy, the Ultimate Warrior, looked set to defend his title against the ravishing Rick Rude in a battle of the bodies. Demolition would look to defend their tag team titles in a handicap match against the Powers of Pain and Mr. Fuji, and we would witness the first WrestleMania appearance of Shawn Michaels as the Rockers would face the Twin Towers of Akeem and the Big Boss Man. Fortunately, for fans worldwide, we once again heard the dulcet tones of Lord Alfred Hayes, who appeared in not one, but two remarkable pre-taped scenes during the near 4-hour event, but it wasn't all positives on the night. In a first since the inaugural edition of the Granddaddy of them all, WWF would opt against bringing in an internationally recognised recording artist to sing America the Beautiful, and instead use this budget to have Run DMC do a live rendition of the WrestleMania rap. Despite this, and appearances of the Red Rooster, Brooklyn Brawler and Rockin' Robin to name but a few, WrestleMania V would return the WWF onto the right path and put a lot of the bad memories from WrestleMania 4 out of mind for good. Hello everybody and welcome to episode number 18 of the Win Twice Wrestling Podcast with your hosts Scott and Holly.
Hello.
How you doing, Holly?
I'm okay. I'm
Good
sore,
morning.
but I'm okay.
Explain to the listeners why you're sore.
Oh,
Just so, I don't want to make it think that I'm beating you or something off recording.
Just gym reasons.
Gym reasons. I
Gym
don't know anyone
reasons.
called Jim.
Oh,
Hellwig?
wow.
Ultimate Warrior?
Sure.
Oh, brilliant. Well, that's very apropos because we are back on the March Through The Manias.
Yay.
We are, WrestleMania 4 was not a stellar affair.
No.
I think we're all in agreement on that one.
Yeah.
WrestleMania 2, was it good? No. But we're now past both of these and we're on to WrestleMania 5. But before we get into the show analysis, starting part of the episode, anything caught your eye in the world of wrestling this week that you want to bring to the table?
I'm a little behind. That is what this weekend will be used for.
Yep.
But I saw mid-card Jey Uso.
Mid-card Jey Uso.
I don't like that you call him that, but I have now started calling him that when I write it down. His promos, I could listen to him all day long. I think he's brilliant.
He is good.
He's so good. So good. But it was about the match that at WrestleMania. WrestleMania.
Well, we haven't got there yet. It might be WrestleMania.
WrestleMania is him, obviously, but versus his brother.
Well, have they put a special stipulation? Because I'll be honest, I haven't seen the promo or anything surrounding that.
As far as I know, it's just twin versus twin.
I feel like they're going to put some sort of special stipulation on there
blindfold them both and handcuff them together, see who wins.
No, no, not that kinky kind of stuff.
That wasn't what I was thinking, but yeah.
I was thinking more like a bloodline, last man standing type match. Just they'll do something on it. They always put a fancy slogan.
But his promo is very good. I am going to watch The Rock's one later, but it's a little bit long for...
From what I understand, and not that I would expect it to not be, very good.
Awesome.
So I'll have to have a look at that. I saw a couple of things myself. I know you've got some other bits you wanted to discuss. Let's go into yours while you're on the roll.
I saw, obviously, I think the internet actually blew up about it a little bit, was is it Candice LeRae?
Yes.
Comment to Maxine Dupree.
About her
the dead brother. And I understand this is all I don't know what the word is, like a play, effectively.
It's a show, it's a performance.
And I'd assume it's been signed off. Like, I'd assume if you're going to mention a dead relative, that other person has to say, I'm okay with you saying that. Still don't like it.
I am not a massive fan, but Candice LeRae isn't the type of person to be vindictive. So, like you said, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure it's been
Maxine would have said, yeah, absolutely fine.
Just don't like it. I don't like when anyone does it, though, but that's just me, personally, as a...
Randy Orton's done it.
Oh, no, I don't like it.
Do you remember when he did that to Ray?
Yes, not a fan. Not a fan.
That was
just
savage
makes
and not Randy.
my cold little heart has a little crack in it, and that is what gets to it.
It's like just a little kind of the curtain slightly open and a bit of sunlight thaws through.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's just that little bit. I don't like it.
But anything else that?
And one part I did notice, and I thought, oh, Scott will be happy about this, was that Sami Zayn is going to WrestleMania.
Yay! But I'd rather him be going against like Seth Rollins for the world title.
Yeah. Do you not think they're going to end Gunther's legacy?
His whole legacy?
I can't think of a better word. Thank you.
Or
it's already been a hard morning, so the words are not going to come freely.
Good job that we arranged it in this order then.
Isn't it just?
I think, it's nice that he's got a big match on WrestleMania. Yeah. I just do feel like they've kind of missed the opportunity for if he's ever going to get a world title. I feel like that window's closed now. And with like Seth Rollins having everything thrown up in the air with CM Punk being injured, don't get me wrong, Drew is fine to have a main event match with, but I'm just struggling to care to see Drew against Seth, if I'm being perfectly honest.
It's such a shame that his time effectively happened in COVID. Such a shame.
Yeah, well, he's getting his second go round. I wouldn't be surprised if he beat Rollins, to be honest.
No, I wouldn't be mad about it.
Because then, I mean, either way, whichever one of them wins, you've got to set up for a Punk rivalry when Punk returns. So, makes sense, I get it. But I do wish that Sami Zayn had his moment in the sun.
Was in that one rather than...
Yeah.
Okay. Who do you think will be the one to break... I don't know why, right? This is not... like, his... like, everyone knows who I'm talking about. Gunther's, like, title reign does no fuss me. I'm not mad about it.
But Reigns does. Well, Reigns has been significantly longer than Gunther's. And I think as well because...
But Gunther defends it a lot.
Yeah, but you think if anything that'd be more frustrating.
Yeah.
But Gunther is such a... I don't recall him having a bad match that I've seen. Then again, to be fair, Reigns is actually very good.
Yeah.
But I don't know, it does hit different. Yeah. Maybe it's because it's not the primary focus of the title. So, I've got no issue with it either. I thought they were going to end it last WrestleMania. Was it the triple threat with Drew, Sheamus, and I was convinced that Drew was going to get it then.
Yeah, because we were battling against each other. Neither one of us said that it would be like retained.
Yeah, because I said
because I went Sheamus. I was like, this will be like retirement time. Give him the belt. Yeah. Have him have a little.
Because it's the one title he hasn't won, isn't it? The Intercontinental belt.
As far as I'm aware,
yeah. Well, I don't think he was a cruiserweight champion or a women's champion, but I mean, I could be wrong. I mean, because Santina Marella. So then again,
you're not allowed to say anything that's not 100% spot on these days.
Oh God forbid! God forbid you should be just talking in the moment, not get something 100% right, because the vultures, they will swoop, they will pick at the carcass.
This is why I don't look at shit.
I mean, if it helps, I'm always happy to guide people to the light.
Thank God you are, because I'm not.
It doesn't bother me. Like I said, I don't mind people having differing opinions.
Absolutely.
It's absolutely fine, but just make sure it's been done in the right way. Don't be going around attacking people.
No.
All up for debate, all up for good fun, but, position it the right way, is what I'd say. And to be fair, most people in the comments...
9 out of 10.
I'd say even more than that, to be honest.
9.5?
Yeah, and oftentimes when I go back and just say, well, actually, this is the full context, or what you're missing. They go,
Yeah.
fair enough, and that's it.
Yeah, that's
So
nice.
no issue with that. A couple of things I saw from wrestling this week was, I think I saw it very recently actually, is that Darby Allin broke his foot and is unable to climb Mount Everest, so that's being delayed till next year. Fair enough.
Yeah.
There was something else that caught my... Oh, it was a rumour.
Ooh,
I don't know...
I like a rumour.
I don't know if there's, any fire behind this smoke. Triple H stepping down after WrestleMania.
Really?
Again, it could be wild speculation. So I literally just happened to glance at an article, and I'll be honest, I didn't read into it too much because I didn't want that to be the case. Because he seems to be doing a fine job, but I think it's because potentially the rumour is that because he had awareness of what was going on in the wider allegations. So that's what I think. That's where they're heading towards. Certainly from that article's perspective, we'll find out. I guess only time will tell. Well, I mean, it'll only be a few weeks before we find out.
Yeah, because it's only 3 weeks away.
Exactly. So I'm hoping that's not the case, but who knows? So they were the couple things that I took away. I hadn't seen much in terms of the shows. I had heard about The Rock's performance from last night, I think it was. So I'll be giving that a listen to.
Yes, that's my weekend. I had to get WrestleMania out of the way first. So.
Well, like I said, WrestleMania are, in general, girthy boys.
Aren't they just?
And this one, whilst it was long... It didn't feel nearly as arduous to me as WrestleMania 4 in terms of the pacing.
Agreed.
And I think you actually hit upon something which I hadn't really given much credence to.
Okay.
Is seeing the same people over and over again.
It's boring,
you think,
isn't it?
yeah, but even if it's the people that you like Savage, massive fan of Savage.
Absolutely.
I still didn't want to see him 4 times in a night, regardless of the costume changes, which were out of this world good.
Yeah.
And this didn't have that.
No.
There were a lot
Obviously, you're seeing the same people, like some of the same people you've seen previously,
but it's a different show.
That's fine.
Yeah,
that's fine. Just it's not apart from the fucking managers, it's not the same people that come out and out and out
so
every time.
You can compartmentalise like each show, and then you can.
Fancy word.
That's all right. I've had my Weetabix, and then you can look at one show in its own entity and go, "That's fine," and then you can see the same person time and time again, even when we've seen
the 20 times we've watched Randy Orton.
That was going to be my point.
I'm all about it,
but. It only started to grate on me like the 5th time I saw him in a row on a show, which is good, but I think I'd get the same with pretty much most people unless you're one of my favourites. So that's fine. And also with WrestleMania, because it's not like we're watching one pay-per-view to the next pay-per-view to the next pay-per-view. There's a year between each.
Yeah.
The cast of characters is slightly different from the year before it.
You are getting some in there that you've not seen before.
Yeah, there's a handful of people.
There's one in here that we've not seen yet.
Yes.
And I was like, oh wow.
I know who you're touching on.
So it does bring my interest in a little bit.
I thought they didn't appear, because I'm pretty sure we're talking about the same person, until the next WrestleMania. Yes. I thought that was his freshman appearance. So when we look at, like I said, the cast of characters, in terms of who's been there for every show, we're probably down to 4 or 5 people at this point that have been in all of them.
All the WrestleManias.
Yeah, so Hogan, Santana,
Andre,
or Greg the Hammer Valentine, Brutus the Barber Beefcake.
Yeah,
I think.
But he's yeah, and all of the managers.
Yeah, I don't know. Heenan's been in all of them.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've got
Megaphone Man been in them.
Jimmy Hart, yes, he has, because he took that ridiculous bump on the first Mania where he fell on his ass and then nearly caved his head in.
And his, so Gorilla
and Jess have been on all of them.
Yeah.
Yep, they were on. Yeah. First one. That's the first time you've seen both of those people, I think.
I know.
Vince.
And do you know what? I'm going to be well sad here. I've only got one more WrestleMania with Jesse.
Oh, you looked it up, did you? But you know who's replacing him?
No, I just looked at
Who would I be pleased is replacing him?
Oh, God, I don't know.
Who do I always get upset whenever you look like you're potentially about to badmouth them?
Many people.
If I'm pointing at the side of my head, I'm indicating...
Brain. Oh, Heenan. Oh, yeah, he goes on to commentary.
Yeah.
Okay, and you've told me actually that you like that combo, don't you? Okay.
Brilliant. I like Jess. I really do like Jess on commentary. Heenan has a slightly different approach to the way that he gets at Gorilla Monsoon, but their dynamic is phenomenal.
Okay.
Honestly, I know I mentioned it before, I'm so excited for you to see the 92 Royal Rumble just for that commentary.
Oh, okay.
Because if you were ever going to enjoy a bit of commentary, it's that match.
Okay.
It really is that match.
Fair.
I think we've kind of laid a bit of the groundwork and covered off the bits we want, so we should get ready for the deep dive.
Let's do it.
So, WWF WrestleMania 5 took place on the 2nd of April 1989. A great year to be born, some would say. The venue was the Boardwalk Hall in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Attendance on the night, 18,946. And the tagline was, "The Mega Powers Explode." Buy rate, 767,000.
Oh.
That is very good.
Wow.
Very, very, very good. When we look at some of the... I know, again, pay-per-view was kind of in its infancy from the wrestling perspective. Those numbers are really big. But if you look at even in the Attitude Era, they weren't pulling those kind of numbers in, no. I don't think, anyway. And certainly towards like some of the shows we've seen, I know the ballpark figure was about 400-something thousand, 300-something thousand, 200-something thousand.
Nice.
So that kind of sets its marker out. But then again, this was a rarity in the fact that WWF, WWE weren't putting on monthly pay-per-views.
Right, yeah.
It was at the time, so WrestleMania 5, they'd only just ever had their first SummerSlam the year before. Royal Rumble, their first ever Royal Rumble was 1988.
Oh, okay.
Survivor Series, I think, only came in around 87, I want to say, is maybe the first one. So, all in all, at most, currently now they've only got 4 per year, the Big 4. And that's why...
It's pulling more people in.
But also, that's why they're considered the Big 4 pay-per-views. Because they were the first... Exactly, so... And they're all kind of well compartmentalised.
They're nicely timed away from each other as well.
Yes, so you've got November, which used to be a Thanksgiving Eve tradition. You've got SummerSlam, obviously August time, July, around there. You've got Royal Rumble, start off the year, January, and you've got WrestleMania season, which is April. So, like you said, it's paced nicely.
Paced, whereas sometimes if it's like every month, it's like, okay.
And that isn't to say necessarily the quality of the show suffers, it's just... with more availability
makes it less
to
special.
It makes it less special. And you do kind of build this stuff up in your head, don't you? One thing I didn't like about WrestleMania 5 is that, and I understand it was part of the business deal, that they were in the same location.
It looked bigger though, weirdly. I don't know if they've lit it. To me it looked like there was more people there, but I don't know if the lighting was just at the beginning. Well, I don't know if the lighting was up a little bit because you could see the people in the nosebleed seats. Whereas last time,
the way it was lit.
Yeah, I'm not saying there were more people. I'm just the way it was lit made it look at the beginning like there was more people. 200
less people.
If
the numbers
200. It's all those people that weren't in that bloody match that we watched.
Oh, God, tell me about it.
That accounts for about 50.
I did notice on this occasion, obviously in the front row last time, and the same again on this occasion, we had Donald Trump sat there. Notice his wife wasn't there with him this time.
Nice kid was this time.
And I think that I know why his wife wasn't there with him, which I've got a little bit of an anecdote about. No, nothing to worry about, I promise you. I did notice, however, that the front row in general looked to be high-rolling businessmen.
It was very suited. And
it looked quite unnatural. It was almost like a boxing event where you get the dignitaries.
Yeah, because people, they weren't into it, but they were watching, but there was no, like, cheering, apart from the kid.
Yes.
Which was cute.
Yes.
But there was no sort of, like... Yeah,
they were sat on their hands,
yeah,
weren't
exactly.
They?
All just suited and booted businessmen, I guess.
I wish that I'd kind of watched their facial reactions a little bit more to see how it was landing with them. Because... Not that I'm going to be a man to often give Trump his credit, but he did seem to be fairly enthralled in what he was watching, smiling, kind of nodding, and like he looked like he was enjoying himself. There's a guy in the front row who looked like Dr. Phil. I don't know who he is, but I don't think I saw him crack a smile. He just looked like he was just there going, how long? I'm surprised I didn't see him actually doing a watch check.
Is he getting overtime to go to this, probably?
It was probably just like he's one of Trump's business partners, or he's got relations. He goes, oh yeah, come see WrestleMania, it'd be great. And then like just watch.
Is that your first impression?
No, that was half-assed. One of my mates can do a very good Trump impression. Okay. Mine's hit and miss at best, if I'm being honest. So we start with more ominous 80s music, set over a stormy red sky. Still very 80s in theme, though.
Absolutely.
We see lightning strike as Vince McMahon says, "The Mega Powers explode!" The screen then does exactly that. I think that's the only time we hear Vince on the entire broadcast. The first camera shot from the bleachers shows us the now familiar Boardwalk Hall, although we still are informed that this is Trump Plaza, which it isn't.
Yes.
Assume the big man will be front row again. He was.
Yeah, of course.
So I've got here, initial story. But I wonder if his wife will be there this time after the scare that she had at the previous WrestleMania. And I actually meant to reference this in the last show, or the last WrestleMania, and I didn't. So in that show, we had the Rick Rude Jake Roberts Snorefest, didn't we?
Yes.
Wasn't a good match. It's a shame because both guys are actually very, very good at what they do.
Very.
They had to kill time and it showed.
Yeah.
You know what Jake tends to do at the end of his match?
Snake.
Gets Damien out.
Of course.
Rick Rude bolted real quick.
Absolutely.
As you would. I would. Not a fan of snakes.
Yep.
So Jake, as he was carrying Damien, walking out the ring, happened to walk past ringside on where Trump was sitting and his wife, and may have intentionally got Damien to touch the arm of Donald Trump's wife, who went into a blind panic and refused to be there, and I don't think we see her for the rest of the show.
Oh, okay.
And obviously Jake's on the card again, and she's like, I am not running that chance, big boy. And I didn't see her sitting there. Maybe I was wrong, but I certainly didn't see her sitting on the right of Trump like she was at WrestleMania 4.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, fair.
So the rumour was that originally, I think, the story out there was that Jake did it, like it was accidental, got there, then it started to kind of develop and taken on a life of its own. How true it is or not, because obviously with wrestlers... I was going to say,
he hasn't commented on it at any point then. Oh, he has?
He has commented on it, I believe. And I think originally it was just like it was an accident, man. And then it's now kind of its own entity. And again, you have to take it with a pinch of salt, because maybe it's just kind of leaning into it. Because if I was a wrestler and people were running away with that story, and I thought, it does no harm to just agree with it.
Yeah.
Let people believe what they want to. So fair. I think the only thing that's up for debate is whether it was intentional or not, because it definitely happened. That's an early story for the show, that.
Isn't it, just?
Really early doors. Gosh. Gorilla welcomes us to the WrestleMania... Welcomes us, the WrestleMania 5, I've put here, and says, you could cut the electricity with a knife.
I'm so glad you said that, because I wrote that down as well. Be like, that's pretty fucking dangerous.
Yeah, don't cut electricity with a knife, for God's sake.
It's so funny, because you listened to it, and I was like... No, he does, rather than atmosphere, he does say electricity.
You can cut the atmosphere, you can cut the tension with a knife. I've never heard anyone cut electricity with a knife.
It's like saying you can put a hairdryer in the bath.
You can. If I'm like with Gorilla, anytime he tries to use scissors, I'm probably giving him the plastic ones at this point, because I don't know if I can trust that man around electricity. Even Monsoon is dreading the show, as he says, the most exciting several hours of wrestling.
Yeah, he's odd. It's like he's lost his little script.
I just like the fact he couldn't define how long it's going to be. Maybe he didn't know. He just went several hours. He just sounded like, I imagine that's what you would say if you're trying to put a positive spin on it.
We're here for some time.
Time will cease to exist when we leave this building. He was obviously remembering WrestleMania 4 as well. Howard Finkel introduces WWF Women's Champion Rockin' Robin to sing America the Beautiful. Saving money, but not our ears. Why was this allowed to happen? Imagine Vince telling Robin this. So I'm going to...
I honestly had that feeling of, this is shocking. But at the same time, I died a little bit inside, because I was like, could you imagine being told by your boss, you're going to go and sing this? And I'd be mortified.
Well, imagine how that conversation went. So Vince is backstage. He goes, like, Robin, come here. She comes into his office and goes, yes, Vince. Going, how you doing, pal? Yeah? Good? You good, pal? Yeah? And she's like, yeah, great, Vince. I'm really looking forward to WrestleMania. He went, yeah, funny you should say that. I'm going to stop the impression now. I've got something I want you to do. It's like, oh, yeah, what would you like me to do? I assume defend my women's title.
Of course.
No, not so much that. No. So I've got bigger plans for you. Much bigger plans, Robin. It's like, okay. What am I going to do? Some valet work? Am I going to, accompany Hogan or Savage to the ring? No. Much more important than that. Okay. So what are we looking to do? Well, Robin, I was thinking, you like to sing, right? I've heard you singing in the shower. What? I said, I've heard you singing. You like to sing, yeah? Yeah. I do a little bit. I don't. Do you think I'm good? Oh, good. I don't think good does it justice, because that's clever. Because then you haven't said you think she's crap.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking this is a rib at this point. So Robin, what I want you to do? Do you remember Gene? You know Gene? Mean Gene Okerlund? Yeah. Do you know what he did at WrestleMania 1?
Oh God, he did, didn't he? That was shocking.
Yeah, you did some backstage interviewing. You want me to do some of that? No. What I want you to do is stand in the middle of the ring, introduce the show. Well, really introduce the show. Well, I say introduce the show. You'll have a microphone, and you're going to sing America the Beautiful. Okay, well, I'll see you later. Thank you very much. No, hang on. Can't sing. No, that's done deal. Go on. See you later, pal. She goes out, and then this happens. I can only imagine Vince is wetting himself watching this backstage because it's not even like karaoke good. It's just...
I can't sing. I cannot sing.
Nor can she.
And, no, I know, but I just felt... I felt awkward.
Yeah.
Awkward.
I'm just looking forward to the WrestleMania 40 version where we get Rhea Ripley going, America! Like that to start it off.
God. Wow.
I think that would be a real
Jesus.
A real good start to the show.
And if anyone still has eardrums, then, you know.
Then consider yourself
lucky.
Not fully satisfied with that noise that I just made.
God.
So Rockin' Robin does America the Beautiful. So Ray Charles, Aretha Franklin, Gladys Knight and Rockin' Robin. One of these is not like the others. I'll let you decide which one. Even Jess on commentary says Robin should not quit her day job.
Yep.
Truly painful experience, this.
Yep.
We see the back of Monsoon and Ventura. Why, I don't know. The latter of which is wearing a blinding gold bandana.
Isn't he just? Bit tame, I thought, his outfit this time, though.
He's getting a bit tame and yet it's still mad.
I'll touch on that later.
Okay.
When we see
I'm
it
sure
properly.
you will. King Haku and Bobby Heenan make their way to the ring. And both look exceptional in purple. It's a very 90s colour, is purple. So
it's your fave, isn't it?
It is. Well, we'll see. It might sway my decision long term depending on how much purple we see as we go through these. But
yeah.
And Heenan demands that everyone get up and show the proper respect to King Haku, a.k.a. Nosebiter.
I thought the entrance was quite impressive, but very, very slow.
Did you see those guys shaking like shitting dogs carrying him?
It was good, though.
So he came out on a plinth, I'm going to say, with
a
a throne on it, and you've got guys at each corner.
Only 4 as well, and I was like, Jesus, this is horrible, even a coffin has more than 4 people carrying it.
Yeah.
And that's not going to be as heavy as...
You'd assume not.
A massive chair, a massive guy, and a big plank of wood.
What I found oddly satisfying about the entrance, though, is that when they walked around ringside, they managed to balance it on the guardrail.
Yes, I liked
and the apron.
That was clever.
That soothed the voices in my head. That was really
clever.
nice. And then Haku just walks out, goes into the ring. The match that we go into, the opener for WrestleMania 5, 2 people that we've seen already. Obviously, we know King Haku's one of them, with Bobby the Brain Heenan, against our boy Herc.
Yeah, glad to see him back.
Hercules is out here. He's a face now. This is the first time he's been a face.
I know.
Different vibes as a face, do you think?
No, still... Well, I don't know. I liked it.
Yeah.
He's got a bigger chain.
He does. His chain is
his
a girthy.
chain's getting progressively bigger as he's getting thousands and thousands more years older every time.
Again, so he was 1,000 years old 2,000 years old at WrestleMania 3, so he's now 2002.
Yes.
Good year, that. Hercules comes out in baby blue trunks and continues his march to an untimely demise. A bit dark, but true. He looks more like Morocco with how red and swollen he is. Herc is also a former member of the Heenan family, which is mentioned a few times, because remember Heenan was his representative against Billy Jack Haynes. Gorilla says, you have to be 285 pounds to just carry that chain around. I'm calling bullshit.
Okay.
I think it's a heavy chain. Do I think you need to be 285 pounds? No, I do not.
Okay, fine.
Fan?
That's fine.
Herc has aged 10 years in the past 365 days, and his arse is eating his panties.
Oh, God. You noticed this. I didn't.
I like baby blue as well, so I was I was arse watching a little bit, and then I just saw it all go straight up his crack. Whilst Herc has his back turned, and his book turned, Haku jumps him, and right hand sends Hercules reeling. Am I alright? Do I need to put my teeth in?
I don't know.
Reversal off a whip, and Herc connects with a hip toss and a big body slam before a flapjack lands. King Haku is clotheslined to the floor, where the brain can provide pearls of wisdom. Very vital. Very vital. Herc suplexes Haku back into the ring as Monsoon says, that'll give you a negative attitude forever.
I like that, though. Not the comment, obviously, but the...
suplex back into the ring.
Yeah, I like when people do that.
What do you think about the comment, though? What does it mean?
I don't know.
There was a few of them.
Yes.
I stopped noting them down after a while because it had just been a Monsoon tribute. Pair of elbow drops from Herc before he decides to go after Heenan. The brain backs off and eventually Haku drops him with a clothesline. And then this is another one. That'll make you wish you were somewhere else. Yeah, let's ask Rockin' Robin. Haku sends Herc back first into the ring apron twice, and Gorilla is on form tonight. He's frustrated because he was treated as a slave without being consulted. What slaves have been consulted, out of interest? Wasn't aware that this was part of the consultation process.
Honestly.
It's just, he was annoyed because he was
sense.
treated as a slave and he didn't give permission. Unless it's a sex thing, I just think that's a given in the slave world. Lovely pair of backbreakers gets a 2 count for Haku. And then Monsoon again. That'll terminate your career. He's
on
just
fire.
dropping everything in this first match. He's using all his good stuff. Oh shit, bear hug time, and Holly fetches a drink.
I can't drink when
I didn't say
watching these
alcoholic.
at the minute. Oh no, actually, I'll tell you what I did fetch. Olives.
What kind of olives? Black, okay. Pitted, I assume? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the snack of choice for this segment. Let's be real, I did this in 3 sittings. But olives were the snack of choice per sitting one.
Okay, so I need to know a snack update as we go through this.
There's many, don't you worry.
Love that. So Hercules manages to muscle out, but Haku hits a knee. The King chokes Herc over the middle rope. Haku misses a back elbow and is hit with a crossbody for 2. Who knew that Hercules could hit crossbodies?
But I'm quite happy you did.
Yeah, it changed it up, didn't it? Off a whip, Haku leaps to the second rope but misses with a crossbody of his own. That was also...
And I like that.
Yeah,
nice.
that was surprising.
2 big guys, but they're moving.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, obviously, you know what I mean.
No, I'm aware, yes.
Quick moving.
More athletically than one would expect.
Yes, thank you.
Series of jabs by Herc. Big right, a knee and a couple of clotheslines drop Haku. Lovely power slam. Gets
Isn't
a 2.
it just...
Lovely power slam. Got to give the man credit where it's due.
Very nice.
Hercules goes up top, but jumps into a crescent kick, which I liked.
I was just shocked. He went to the top and about 10 exclamation marks, because we've not seen him take his 2 feet off the...
Oh,
he doesn't go top though, does he?
I don't think so. I'm trying to remember if he did it against Ricky the Dragon.
I feel like it, but...
I know, obviously, Steamboat did. I feel like he might have attempted it and missed something. But you're right, as a general rule, Hercules wasn't the man to take to the skies. Haku misses with a second rope splash, however, because he took too long. Haku also misses with a wild right, allowing Herc to hit a high-angled back suplex for the 3. We just about see Hercules get his shoulder off the floor for the count of 3, which is very similar, if you recall, to how the match between him and Ultimate Warrior ended at WrestleMania 4, if I recall correctly.
So it was, for me, this just made me chuckle, because commentary go, and he's bridging, and I'm there going, no, it's not.
Yeah, you literally just...
He's just like light to the side a little bit, but it's not bridging.
That is step 1 in the Scott phase of rolling over when you're asleep. Shoulder up, then just take momentum, move over to the other side.
But I do like those. I do like that. I thought it was alright.
Did you remember for this show to go with the star ratings?
Yes, I did, actually.
Hey,
aren't you impressed?
That a girl. What
there
you
were
got?
1 or 2 that I forgot, and I actually went back to them and did them.
That is excellent.
I put this as 1.5 out of 5.
I would lean towards 1.
Yeah.
Half a star.
Okay.
I think it's a little bit harsh.
This is where my streak will end, because
you had a very good run.
I did. It was nice.
Again, some of these, a little bit of a, not a spoiler, but if you get some of these scores, I'll be very impressed.
Oh, okay.
Because...
So will I.
Well, every time I've said that before, it's been a bit of a mad score.
Yeah.
So there's putting it out there, there's a few of those on this show. 1 I agree with, 1 I don't.
But I thought this match was alright.
I did. Fine.
I liked that it was 2 big guys that can move.
Yep.
Like it gave it a bit of energy to start with.
Only downside for me, bear hug as the main.
I hate bear hugs.
But again, so maybe in hindsight, my 1 is a little bit harsh, but I think I'll stick with that. To be fair, because when I say 1, again, I'm not thinking of it as a bad match. It just didn't have anything overly engaging for me because I didn't care about the background and the story of it.
I thought about this later on, where I was like, because it's out of 5, I feel not bad, but I feel like a 1 or 2 in my head is awful. But because it's out of 5, 2.5 is midway. I think because in my head I'm like, well, out of 10, that's shocking. So I feel like I have to make peace with the fact that if I think it's dog shit, I'm just going to go 0 from here on out.
Yeah.
And 1 upwards
a few of them
is fine.
It's a few of them, I'll say that. So you might be all right.
Definitely got at least 1 or 2 in here that I've put a 0.
From recollection, I think there's 2 that get a dud scoreline.
Oh.
There's also some that get slightly worse than a dud scoreline.
Oh, see, I don't do that.
I don't either, but one of them I genuinely understand.
Okay, fine.
Mean Gene and the Rockers backstage.
Oh my god, I was so happy, but also, what the fuck is his hair?
Oh, it's very 80s.
But it's not. To me, it's not even a mullet. Like, it's just like someone's closed their eyes and chopped bits of it off.
Don't worry, in the 90s we get.
When does he get hot?
Well, for me, never. But I think his prime area of attractiveness was probably 96.
We are talking about Shawn Michaels, by the way.
Yes, Mean Gene has always been hot. I just want that on the record, yeah? I don't mind telling you, fans.
Yeah, I've literally put, when did he get hot? Because this ain't it.
Yeah, so this is 89, so 7 years' time he's there.
Okay, fine.
Our first sight of Mr. WrestleMania, Shawn Michaels. Oh, Holly, just look at the gear and Barnett's.
The gear, I made a comment on saying, I actually like their gear, but I like that they have to write their initials on their costumes to know whose is whose.
Yeah, because they just throw it in the tumble dryer. So Mrs. Michaels at home, his mum, just puts it in there and go, boys, clothes are ready. And that's why they stitched the name on the inside.
Just made me chuckle.
They had to do that for PE as well.
Oh, so did we all, didn't we?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Full name.
In a label stitched in.
Yeah, of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah, classic. Good old grandma. The Rockers, looking like zebras, have bulldozed a wall built from Nerds candy.
That's very good.
Thank you. No, it took me a while. I know there's a zebra running into something. What's he running into? Yeah, there's
zebra print and then there's a luminous yellow, pink, probably a bit green in
which
there
I thought,
somewhere.
Nerds.
Yeah.
Sean asks how the Twin Towers will cope as they try to catch Grease Lightning. Brilliant. Jannetty says it would be a victory if they survive, but they want much more than that. Cocaine, knowing Marty. They will rock and roll, slam and jam, and everything they do best. So drugs, yeah?
Oh, God.
They were known as heavy partiers.
Oh, really?
The Rockers, yeah.
Okay.
To the point where, I believe at one time in their first WWE or WWF run, they were let go because of their hard partying lifestyle.
Naughty.
Marty was particularly notorious for this, and it's cost him his job several times over his tenure with the WWF. I think he even had a very brief stint in WCW, and that ended the same way. It was, the drinking was obviously a lot, but hard drugs was the main crux. And Michaels, to be fair, was, I'm not saying he was an angel, he was far from it, he was very much involved in that. But from what I've read and what I've heard from various sources around the situation, even Michaels got sick of what Jannetty was doing and tried to distance himself from Marty, and it massively held back Marty's career. Massively held it back. I'm not saying he ever would have been top tier, but he had very good matches. I enjoyed the stuff. I mean, obviously mainly when he was with Shawn Michaels, who's obviously a top tier worker. But yeah, they had a lot of demons and difficulties. Did the Rockers?
I see.
I mean, it even extended outside of that. So Michaels, I mean, I'm sure we'll get to one of the shows where it becomes more pertinent. But Shawn Michaels got into a bar fight with a load of Marines because he was hitting on... They're
not the people you want to argue with.
Because he was hitting on one of their women, basically one of their girls, and warned several times about it. Went to leave, got absolutely battered, and then he turned up on Raw or something with a massive shiner because of it. And then they played it up. It was a concussion from something else. They never touched upon it being as a result of that. So yeah, sometimes people need that though, don't they? You need to walk too close to the edge,
I suppose
get an arse kicking, and then realise, that was a bit too far. But yeah, certainly this was a period of time where they're both notorious animals for that.
Okay.
That's the end of that segment.
Yeah.
But we do go to the match.
Straight away?
Oh yeah.
Straight away?
Straight away. The Twin Towers with Slick versus the Rockers.
So?
I've got stories here too.
Oh gosh. Quick one. I was like, because it kept introducing them as Twin Towers, obviously. And I was like, I know it's Big Boss Man, because I know him. I was like, who is this other guy? Like, I didn't know. And then I Googled, and I was like, hang on, there's one man gang.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's like, if I was watching it in real time, you'd see you'd see a move from one to another. But I was like, who the fuck is this?
Akeem the African Dream.
Yeah, so I had to Google who it actually was. And then once I knew, I was like, okay, fine. Now I know who he is.
So in the ring, we see Akeem the African Dream dancing away to the entrance theme. Say dancing away, it's very much a kind of little swimmy dance with his hands kind of going above and beyond what's deemed normal dancing. So my first question to you, you've already answered. I said, Holly, do you recognise Akeem? And then, do you know how and why that character transition happened from One Man Gang to Akeem?
No, I didn't read it.
I'm glad you didn't, because I think it's a fascinating story. So Akeem the African Dream was a mockery of a character based on a professional wrestler that wasn't under the WWF banner at the time. Later on, they would come under the WWF banner, but this was, I believe, the year before, or if they might have actually come in late 89, but I know they were in there in 1990 before they actually came over to work for Vince. So Akeem the African Dream was a Mick take out of the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes.
Stop.
So Vince, in his head, and I understand where he thought of, or why he came to this conclusion, that Dusty's character was very much based on kind of black culture. He was a white guy, but he had a lot of kind of African-American mannerisms in the way in which he did his, whole stick and like, let me tell you, baby, and that kind of stuff. And the dancing, he thought he was a bit of a goof, basically. He couldn't get Dusty Rhodes under contract at the time, but like I said, he actually did, late 89, 90. And this was what they did with One Man Gang. I like the One Man Gang, personally.
I like One Man Gang.
I thought that was quite a
gimmick,
cool... Also, it's like a very different from what was out there. It was a bit more of a grungy... That and
Boss Man together would have been brilliant.
Yeah, because this doesn't work.
Edgy.
They're the Twin Towers because they're just two big guys.
Yeah.
That is the extent of why they're classed as the Twin Towers.
And one is the persona of being Big Boss Man, like brutal and, not going to have fun with you. And then there's this other guy that's every now and again having a little dance in the ring. Like, it didn't work for me in that circumstance.
No, it didn't work for me either. Like I said, I like One Man Gang. I certainly like Big Boss Man, especially when he was a face. He was one of my favourites as a kid. Really liked him. And did you know he was actually genuinely a correctional officer at one point? So his gimmick leaned on what he did.
Because you've got to have a job.
And One Man Gang, as you told us in the last episode, went into prison guard work, was it, did you say? So, they kind of, that is actually a better connection than what they've got here. And, of course, they got slick with them, so no one cares. Loved the Rockers' entrance music when I was a kid. Yep. Still like it to this day.
Very good. Very good.
I had 3 of the 4 participants in this match as Hasbro figures in the early 90s. 2 of them I didn't like that. So you would obviously not have had these as a kid growing up, but there was certain poses. There's like maybe 7 or 8 different poses that the characters could have because they're fixed. They're not like the ones you've got now. They're not as malleable. And the one that both the Rockers had was, I think it's called like a T-junction on their back. So it looked like they had like a Hunchback of Notre Dame type gimmick where you could press down on the back of it. Their upper body would go down on a spring, and then so in theory you could stand them on the top turnbuckle, press it down, and they'd jump off. Which sounds cool, but their legs are cemented together.
I see.
Don't. Yeah, so they could throw a drop kick like no one's business. But other than that, and both Michaels and Jannetty had that. And it's just a bit annoying. And Akeem did have a figure, but I never got it. That was before my time, I think. But the Big Boss Man one I had, sad story, it broke. The arm of it like used to fold in like that, and then it just came off at the joint there. And I remember being so upset because I remember thinking, I can't use the Big Boss Man in any of my matches now.
Sad.
That shows how often I use that one because it
also shows how much you still think about it to this day.
Yeah, I don't like these things to dwell on me, but if anyone, Christmas, birthday time out there, because these figures are spenny, very spenny. Just if you're really enjoying the show, just hit me up with a Boss Man Hasbro and I'll be happy. Cool.
Just send me some Freddos and I'm happy. Don't ask for much.
Yeah, Holly's a cheaper date in that respect than me.
Always.
The Towers make early lunges at the Rockers, who easily duck out of harm's way, much like Sean was saying in the pre-interview. They're like grease lightning. They're electrifying. Back in the ring, and the Rockers stop the Towers with elbows to prevent them from entering the ring. Pretty good. Yeah. Front face lock on the Boss Man, who lifts and sits Michaels on the top buckle before slapping him. Big fan of that. You're smiling. What have you put?
Sorry, I'm still commenting on Sean's hair.
Go for it.
Did he visit Brutus the barber to help get his hair cut?
Well,
and their outfits.
He had a very infamous segment on the barbershop, but that's not for a few years. And yes, you did definitely get the same hand grenades that.
Absolutely. Well, now I understand what that means.
Yeah.
Yes,
he didn't have
just talking about their balls.
No, exactly.
Okay.
Nice second rope drop kick to the back of Boss Man, who stumbles into a right hand from Jannetty. Michaels uses his athleticism to avoid Boss Man before hitting both of the Towers. I love a leapfrog. Just putting it out there. Just in general? I'm really always impressed when people do them. Yeah. Always. Because I just think, I don't care. I couldn't do that. I'm very impressed by that. It's one of those things where you don't give it enough credence because it's so commonplace. Yeah. But every time I see it, I still go,
Oh yeah, I like
especially when you think how far, or sorry, I should say how high,
Yeah.
Michaels has to jump to get over them. Don't get me wrong, they duck down and help.
Oh, of course,
but still good. Because I've got lead in my ass. I'd like to be getting nutted in the. I was about to say bollocks, but that'd be a lie. I'd be getting headbutted here.
Yeah.
That's as high as I'm jumping.
Here
being my sternum. Sorry. I realised that I was listening back to one of our episodes and I said, "Oh, this," and then just didn't explain what I was pointing at. But fortunately, both times you went, "So you can't see what Scott's doing," and then you did like an audio play-by-play for them, which was much appreciated. Akeem tags in and Michaels mocks him with a moonwalk.
Yeah, not too shabby.
No, it's all right. So he was he the prototype for Carmella?
Oh, gosh!
Imagine now,
He would have had an impact in her training down in.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
But I don't think that has anything to do with it.
I know either.
But I'm going to put this image in your head now.
Okay.
Imagine Shawn Michaels with his hair like that coming out to FABU.
I mean, it would work.
Yes.
It would work.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Fine.
It's not as ludicrous as it sounds.
No.
So after the moonwalk, they do some quick tags and an arm wringer that's just traded between Jannetty and Michaels.
I do like the quick tag though. It makes sense when you're up against bigger guys. In, out. Fine. Here for it.
I don't think I actually expressly write this down in the notes, but it's such a breath of fresh air, the Rockers and their approach to tag team wrestling. You and I both like the Bulldogs. We both like the Hart Foundation.
Yes.
This is different. This is more exciting.
Yes. I really was here for this.
Don't get me wrong, I was a fan of the Rockers as a kid, but I wasn't old enough to have a proper appreciation of it. But now I can point at exactly what it is I like about them. And I've also come to a realisation on The Ultimate Warrior as to why I liked him, which I only realised when I was watching this show back. So if I don't mention it, please ask me to, because I don't want to spoil it now. I don't want to shoot my load this early on the night.
Save that for later with your missus.
Well, yeah, it depends what time of the... anyway, it doesn't matter.
I'd also like to point out, this is the first time we hear, "This is a happening." Oh, you got it too!
First, this is a happening of the night, as Bossman eats a pair of rights on the apron. Akeem shakes his knees and marches Michaels into the corner, rakes the eyes, but misses the charge.
Yep.
Akeem looks for a body slam, but Jannetty slips out the back door, but Bossman gets the tag still.
Yes.
Leapfrog by Jannetty, another good one, into the arms of Bossman, and Marty gets crushed between the towers. Weirdly, I didn't hate this.
No, I didn't either, actually.
Leapfrog, I'm catching you, and I thought, bear hug again.
Yeah.
And then Akeem did the fatty bum bum run.
Yeah. Actually worked.
Yeah,
fine.
Really good, because it didn't go on too long. Magnificent pit stains on Ray Traylor here. Right here, a tremendous gunt to the boot. But before I walk away from the pit stains too much, was there anything else about the attires that you spotted, Holly? Because I imagine you've got a keen eye for detail.
You're such a dick.
Not the best eyesight, granted, but a keen eye for detail. Anything that caught your eye?
I mean, it's just the colours of the Rockers' outfits were a little, and the fact that they're lycra, I suppose, is a little revealing.
A little revealing in what way?
Could see the meat and two veg.
Oh, you could tell their religion, could you?
Yeah, pretty much.
Brilliant. Yeah. And I only imagine...
Once I'd seen it once, I couldn't stop.
I was going to say, I imagine you're the type of girl that would only look at that once and be like, oh, okay, very nice, let's move on. But were you doing a Gene Okerlund to Brutus the Barber Beefcake? Is what we're learning here.
It's got grenades in
what
his
a package!
pocket. Yeah. You could see the grenades.
So we get a tremendous gunt to boot. A tremendous gunt to boot. Boot to gunt. There you go. Pick the bones out of that one.
Okay.
Headbutt to Jannetty, who then finds... What have I written here?
All right?
Yeah, I'm just looking at my notes and I'm like missing letters, like I'm typoing as I'm writing.
Gorilla.
Yeah, cheers. Headbutt to Jannetty, who then finds his throat straddled over the middle rope. I'm always fine when I read the rest of the notes, then I know what I was aiming for.
Yes.
Akeem comes back in. Splash against the ropes by the African Dream. That's not something you see often.
No.
Corner splash, yeah. Rope splash. What?
No.
Avalanches in the corner for Marty.
Yeah.
Jess then slags off Joey Morella, the ref, saying he struggles to count to 5. Do you know why he's slagging off the ref?
No.
He always slags off Joey Morella.
Oh, they
specifically.
Did he do him wrong?
No.
Oh.
No, he's done nothing wrong. Joey Morella, perfectly good referee.
Yeah.
Might just happen to be that he's the son of Gorilla Monsoon.
Is it?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
But they don't mention that at all.
No, but that's why Jess always has a pop.
Tries to get a rise.
And Gorilla will always say, I think he's doing a fine job.
Oh, I had no idea.
And sadly, I believe that Joey Morella actually predeceased his father. Horrific car crash brought an end to Joey Morella very prematurely. But he was like not necessarily the top official, because I think it was always Dave Hebner at the time. But he was next in line to be that top guy and referee.
Oh wow, no, I didn't know that at all.
Whilst we're on the topic of referees, I only really thought about it looking at this show, which is weird because I've seen it all the time when reviewing these older episodes and even watching it as a kid.
Sure.
Their attire, they're wearing like proper boxing official, like they've got a dicky bow on, smart shirt, trousers. That must be a nightmare.
Maybe.
Like, and then look at them now, just lovely little polo.
Yeah, I suppose.
It's just a different animal, I get it, but
yeah, it looks smarter.
It does look smarter, but then when you're rolling down on the floor, getting
in your
moist,
dress shoes and
in your dress shoes, taking bumps.
Yes, quite a few.
Yeah.
Or just, not paying attention to 90% of what's going on, yeah.
Or getting knocked out like was it Mark Cadera or something, who chin planted the floor at WrestleMania 4. We get a jumping ear ringer to Jannetty by Bossman. Mm-hmm. Slick says, "What we need is a black referee."
Oh, okay.
I heard him say that from the outside.
No.
Akeem accidentally charges into Bossman on the apron.
Obviously.
Jannetty scoots between the Dream's legs and tags Shawn.
Mm-hmm.
Michaels leaps over the ropes and uses the opportunity to drop kick Akeem.
Love that.
Brilliant.
Very good.
Yeah, big fan of it because it shows that he was thinking on his feet.
Ready
you're
to
a bit too close.
Mm-hmm.
Let's kick you away from me.
Yeah.
Working on the fly. I like that. A flurry of rights in the corner. Several double team corner whips result in a tandem shoulder block from the second rope by the Rockers. Fucking fantastic clothesline by Akeem causes Michaels to flip over upon landing.
And he sells it like a dream.
He sells it like Shawn fucking Michaels.
Yeah.
Bossman takes too long on the top rope and misses a splash.
Again, I was like, hang on. What was he doing?
Because this is Bossman in his hefty boy days, because he does trim up a little bit. But this is not what you want landing on you.
No.
I'm telling you that for free. The pin only gets a 2 off the missed splash.
Yeah.
Michaels leaps and gives Bossman a face full of sausage.
Crotch to face.
As Jannetty drops a schoolyard trip from behind. Pair of drop kicks to Akeem on the apron before a very dangerous set of missile drop kicks gets 2. So Jannetty in one corner, Michaels in the other. Both take flight at the same time. This is how Chris Nowitzki got his head caved in. And I think Jannetty's hits and Michaels just like he literally lands on Akeem's head. There's a reason you guys don't do this.
I've literally put this double missile kick made me hold my breath until both people were down and fine.
I know the exact moment in this show which will make you grab onto
there's
your
one.
neck.
It's near. Yeah, later. Yeah,
it's towards the end of the show.
Yeah, and they don't just show it once. They show it twice.
Yes, they do. They do indeed. Michaels then with a top rope seated sausage is hit with a spinning powerbomb. Love that. Akeem hits Air Africa, splashing Michaels and earns the 1, the 2, the 3.
Yeah.
The Twin Towers walk away as the victors on the freshman, or the debut, I should say, of the Rockers. What did you think of this match? And
I really enjoyed it. I rated it a 2.5 out of 5. And I actually, in my head, I was like, oh no, that's more. And I was like, no, 2.5 is like, we're fine with that. I really enjoyed it. It wasn't too long. It moved a lot. There was no dicking around in and out of the ring.
No, that's true. That's true.
There was no outside interference.
And the big men kept pace. They didn't go at the same rate.
No, but you wouldn't expect that. But it wasn't slow because it wasn't. Let's put you into a 5-minute bear hug because I need to catch my breath.
I mean, if we want to see a slow fucking tag team match, we have got that. Our needs will be satiated later in this show.
I really enjoyed it, and I just put a note saying I really hope we end up watching more of the Rockers.
We do. There's definitely. I think there's 2 more Rockers tag team matches at WrestleManias. The one at 7, I love.
Okay.
I really like that.
And I did a little bit of Googling.
Please.
So the other guy, just so I get his name right, Jannetty?
Yeah, Marty Jannetty.
Okay, so his Wikipedia was very much focused on, he was part of the lawsuit.
Yep.
That a lot of the wrestlers have been in. But they also included some information in there, which actually the court came out and said was useless information. I'm just quoting, I'm not saying it, I'm just quoting. Before anyone comes for me, that he suffered a broken ankle, as part of wrestling.
Yeah, he did.
And then actually recently, in January this year, I don't know if it was like a magazine interview, online, I don't know.
Yeah.
But saying that he, as a result of that and the continued issues he's had with that, he might actually have to have his leg amputated.
I wasn't aware of the severity of that. I was aware that he'd injured his ankle, certainly. I also think, obviously with professional wrestling, whilst it's all scripted, etc., you still injure yourself.
Of course, absolutely.
I don't think there's ever been a wrestler who hasn't been injured. It's just part and parcel of the trade. It's unfortunate.
Any physical job,
exactly.
Get injured.
I think Jannetty was, like I said, the master of his own demise. And the thing that I don't think lends credence to a lot of this lawsuit, and I'm sure there is a lot of valid points in there, is that, and this isn't to throw the baby out with the bathwater, a few of the people that have tacked onto this have very much been masters of their own demise.
Right.
And I feel like it lessens, like you can lose a good point in a sea of bad points. So, and I think Marty Jannetty probably falls on the wrong side of that. He's a very odd man. If you read some of the...
I find it quite interesting.
Oh, it is interesting for sure. And speaking of that, actually, I did a little bit of research, unintentional research, might I add. We were talking about Perry Saturn and how he's involved in this lawsuit, etc. I think you mentioned that he's involved. I didn't realise how bad his life had actually gone, like to the point where he had a GoFundMe page because he was about to be homeless.
Yep.
I think he was looking for $5,000. The community got like 2.5 together for him, and I saw he's got like a massive tattoo on his head now and stuff, and he looked, not to kick a guy when he's down, look awful, like knocking on death's door, really, really bad. And I just felt really sorry for him. Yeah. Because granted, he was never a good promo in wrestling, but what he could do in the ring was, it was entertaining. He could throw some big boys around. I happened to see it after our discussion, and I immediately thought of that. But yeah, what's going to come of this lawsuit? Who knows? It's been going on for God knows how long. I think it's been a few times. It's been thrown out for various reasons, but we will see. We will see.
On a lighter note, Jannetty was 29 here.
Okay.
Big Boss Man, 26.
Wow. Yeah.
Shawn Michaels, 24.
Yes.
Looking like he's 45. It's the hair. I know. See, it's
to
the
me,
time.
this he looks young.
It's the hair for me. Just ages people in this area.
Yeah.
It really does.
Michaels, again, we were talking about how we tend to distinguish Bradshaw and JBL.
Yes.
A lot of my brain also distinguishes
the
Rockers,
different parts
Shawn
of
Michaels,
Shawn Michaels
with
the
Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. I feel like
I'm looking forward to getting into HBK. Heartbreak Kid,
she said getting into.
Oh no, I mean like the era of that.
Yeah, we're not far away. I think it's WrestleMania.
Is that when he starts coming out with his lovely intro music?
Yes, the original one that was sung by Sherry. Sensational Sherry, who we actually see later on this. I've got an interesting story about her as well.
I thought you might.
Why?
Just anticipation.
Fair enough. Well, hopefully I don't disappoint. We've got definitely obviously a lot of Shawn Michaels that we'll be picking up over the future Manias, but nice to know that he's in the mix now. He pretty much stays in the mix apart from that period where he was out with his back injury, so from 98 to 2003. I think there's a little sabbatical there, but
great.
Yeah, nice little run. So you're starting to see some of the familiar characters now.
Some are appearing.
Oh, am I about to say something that's not right?
Oh, be careful.
I don't know if... Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I think it's definitely... If it's not the next one, it's the one after. I think we see... No, it won't be the next one. It'll be the one after.
We see Flair soon, don't we?
Flair comes in 90... His first Mania is 92.
Oh, okay.
I believe.
So only three more on.
Yes.
Okay.
But before that, we do see... The year before that, we see Undertaker in his first WrestleMania match.
Interesting.
Yes. And that's when we see the birth of the streak. It's interesting, actually, to kind of cover the streak.
Yes.
Because they don't really even reference it as a thing until about 15,
a lot later
16
on,
wins in.
Okay.
It was never an intentional thing. It just happened to be they always wanted, and they suddenly realised, oh, look what we've got here.
Yeah.
Fair. I think it was a happenstance rather than anything that was premeditated. So you scored this 2.5.
Yeah.
I would actually agree. Maybe I'd go 2.25, but I'm not miles away from you. 1.75.
Oh, okay.
Seems a little
That's
bit, again, a little bit harsh,
me.
but again, we're not saying that this is the the be all and end all.
Just others' opinions.
But again, it's a nice barometer to have.
Yes.
So we're not always going to agree with it. I mean, I'll be honest, a lot of the shows that we've done so far, I'm either pretty much bang on with Dave or very off.
Yes.
And this is just showing a little bit of difference there,
Yeah.
which is quite cool.
Okay.
But yeah, I lean towards you on this one. I did quite enjoy this match, but I also like the people involved, which helped.
Exactly.
Backstage.
Mm-hmm.
I think I didn't skip anything there, did I?
No.
So we've got Tony Schiavone.
Sure.
Yep. I'd love to know how you spelt that, by the way.
I didn't.
Brilliant. So we've got Tony Schiavone with interviewing $1 Million Man backstage. Yes. You know who Tony Schiavone is?
Nope.
AEW commentator. Former lead WCW commentator with a goatee.
Oh, okay.
Same guy. So he did have a brief stint in the WWF.
Interesting.
Interesting to think that he was actually in the WWF before Jim Ross was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So a rare WrestleMania appearance for the future lead WCW and AEW announcer here. Cracking suit on DiBiase, although the shirt and tie is a bib job, and I'm now thinking stripper.
For sure. For sure. Also, this segment proved to me, if I didn't know it already, it proved to me why Virgil didn't wear sleeves.
Well, I've got a story on him in a minute as well. I did a little bit more research, but that's covered in the match, so I'll save it for now. Sparkly sleeves, pink and silver tux on... sleeveless. Pink and silver tux on Virgil, who has probably been in the arena since WrestleMania 4. When he got suplexed and dropped
didn't he?
by Hogan and left there.
That was me.
DiBiase wearing the $1 Million title
That's made out of tinfoil.
Do you know how expensive that belt actually is, allegedly?
I'm sure it is, but from the lighting in the backstage area, it just made it look like it was made out of tinfoil.
Now, don't quote me on this, but I have a figure in my
careful.
head for how much I think DiBiase said it was worth. And again, this could have been a kayfabe, not actually true. I had 15 grand was the figure around that.
I hope that's not true.
I mean, we mentioned it in the last WrestleMania. He was kind of instructed to live the gimmick and was given a little bit of allowances from WWF to allow him to do so without draining his own funds completely. But I know he did have to dip into his own funds to kind of maintain the character. And I was a big fan of the suit, and the arse fell out of me as soon as I saw it was a bib. I was like, oh no. Like, the shirt is the cheapest part of this. It makes sense.
Music coming
a
on.
little bit.
Yeah.
But it also makes sense because you go to the ring in that, and I never really thought, because I was like, I've never seen him take a shirt off.
That'd take fucking ages.
I think maybe I have. But
undoing all those buttons.
But it makes sense just having he might as well have had a party boy gimmick on. Just, yeah.
Love that.
Well, of course you did. Oh, it's a shame that we won't get to cover Party Boy in WrestleMania. Oh, fucking hang on. Yes, we will.
I can't wait.
I bet you can't. At ringside, DiBiase shakes Donald Trump's hand.
Yeah, works.
Yes. Oh, I've actually skipped a note here. So DiBiase is wearing the $1 Million title. He's confident he'll beat the man with the package, Beefcake.
Of course.
He didn't say that, but I threw that in there. Now we see DiBiase shake Donald Trump's hand at ringside, and it works. Hand as old Prez eyes up the title, perhaps to claim as an asset of his own for tax purposes.
Yeah.
Did you hear how much he claimed his residence was worth?
No, I don't pay attention.
He claimed
to
it was worth like $1 billion.
Okay.
So on his actual proper, why? On his assets, it's mad. It's clear. What house is worth $1 billion? Show me a house that's worth $1 billion, apart from like a ridiculous palace somewhere. It's a very nice house. Very nice house. It's not worth $1 billion. Come on, what are you doing? Who are you kidding? Come on. Behave yourself. Now we see the barber. And
I was so excited for the outfit. That's all I care about.
And this time, he does have grenades, but they went off in his jackets, not his tights.
I know.
So we come to the match. Ted DiBiase with Virgil versus Brutus the Barber Beefcake. You're already laughing. Hit me with your notes.
No, it's just about his outfits. Yeah, I've just put, did his jacket get caught in a wood chipper?
Love that.
And his leggings are like see-through down all the way down the sides. Obviously, they've got the solid panelling front and back. So, obviously, don't see that. But it took me a really long time to work out, that's like see-through material.
Showing all kinds of thigh, isn't he?
I fucking love his outfits. They're great.
His hair? No.
It's a hefty mullet.
Oh, we get onto that.
But Brutus does take about 20 minutes again to get undressed.
He does.
Every time. He needs to wear a bib version of whatever he's wearing.
He really does. Battle of the past their prime strippers here. Beefcake's stanky mullet is wider than a horse fanny.
God, that's a bit harsh.
So we've actually got, this is a bit of a correction. from our last discussion. So obviously we mentioned about how Virgil sadly passed away, had dementia, and we said I think we worked out he was about 62 years of age. And we were saying, that's actually quite young to suffer from that, even if it's been in a professional wrestling world. Well, some people have done some research onto Mr. Virgil, so Mike Jones, and they worked out that he wasn't actually born in 62. He was lying about his age the entire time. He was born in 1951.
Oh, okay.
So it puts him in his 70s.
If you're going to lie, fine.
So at this point, when they were talking about him, so eventually, again, a little bit of a spoiler for you specifically, he breaks out into a bit of a singles competitor.
I was going to say, do we ever get to see him wrestle?
We do. And there's only one match that to me is worth a damn, and that's with Ted DiBiase down the line. So basically they looked into it, they found, I don't know how they actually stumbled upon it, but they worked out he was born in 1951. So when they were talking about him being a young breakout star, the man was already 40.
That's hilarious.
And then you look at him now and you go, yeah, I can see it. Like, you can see he's kind of got a bit more of a weathered face. So he's claiming at this time to be like around, late 20s?
Yeah.
And you look at him and go, no, that's a 40-year-old man nearly. And it makes sense. So just a bit of a correction that Virgil was... Doesn't make it any less sad.
It doesn't matter, but it's interesting.
It's interesting, and when you draw the dots of someone who has like that brain-related injury, disease that's kind of degenerative, it makes more sense when you consider that they're actually, a decade plus older than they were claiming to be. But fair play to him. He stuck to that gimmick till the very end.
Good, yeah.
Only came out the woodwork after he passed away. So, yeah, rest in peace, Virgil. Both men use sleeper variants, and the contrast in colours must soothe Holly.
It really does. It really does.
Do you know what the best part about that is?
It makes me happy.
I know it makes you happy, and because it makes you happy, it makes me happy.
Oh,
no,
good.
And so I'm now a fan of, because it's not something I'd often really...
You wouldn't really care normally, would you?
No,
but
I wouldn't pay it too much mind.
It's quite nice.
And it does. It kind of, it soothes the voices. So, I think this was me looking back. I could have even been listening to another podcast or reading about it, and I learnt something fairly interesting about the Atlantic City WrestleManias in general, and that it was fairly difficult to a point to shift some of these tickets.
Oh, right.
Because of the location of the event. Because it wasn't really a destination for wrestling fans. It was a different community. It was a gambling community that would go there for obvious different reasons. And those that go to a casino, as a general rule, obviously there's exceptions, aren't usually the type to spend their liquid assets at going to a wrestling event.
Okay.
So I understand that a few of the wrestlers were effectively acting as scalpers with tickets around the casino.
Oh, a scalper.
Tickets.
Like when you go to a footy match and they're outside going,
do you want
tickets
a ticket?
for...
Exactly.
Well, I wouldn't fucking come here if I didn't have a ticket.
Well, quite. Yes.
Oh, okay, that's what that is.
And one of the men that was very much doing this, and I think he asked for a ridiculous number of tickets to try and flog, because he was then supposed to do it and then pass the money back to... And I think they get some sort of commission. No. Not Brutus the Barber Beefcake. Brutus is going
amazing.
out, flogging it, pocketing what he can get. Yeah,
Good for him.
Fair fucks to him. Again, I'm sure there's like 17 different versions of this story out there, but I definitely heard that some of the wrestlers were acting as scalpers for these two manias based on the location.
Imagine that now. That'd be amazing.
Can you imagine, going there seeing Roman Reigns flogging us?
Absolutely.
Yeah, of course you would.
I'm like, I'll buy a ticket, but I also want a photo. Thank you very much.
Of what? Oh, you two together. Yeah, fair enough. Doing what?
You're so rude.
I'm rude.
I'm so...
You were talking about staring at Shawn Michaels' willy earlier.
No, I just said it was hard not to.
I've managed to not do it.
No, that's a lie. You definitely saw it.
I did see it, but I only looked the once.
Right, carry on.
Oh, it's going to be one of those shows, isn't it? Immediate backdrop and hip toss by the Barber. Eye rake by DiBiase, but he is still hit with a second backdrop that sends him to the floor.
Good.
$1 Million Man paces outside to regroup, gather his thoughts.
Snore.
You don't like DiBiase, do you?
I don't want to say no. I don't like the amount of time he doesn't spend in the ring.
The amount of time he doesn't spend... Yeah, okay, fair enough, yeah.
That did make sense, yeah?
I was trying to
It wasn't
unravel.
a double negative, I don't think.
It wasn't, but it sounded like it was, which is why I had to think about that for a second. DiBiase with a pair of chops in the corner, but is reversed on a whip and hit with 3 body slams in succession.
Yeah, nice.
Back to the floor he goes with a clothesline. That one was not his doing.
No, I do know, but still.
Deebs, because I don't want to keep putting DiBiase, wants a timeout and really takes his time. And I know Holly's angry now.
Yeah, he did take his time, so much so that I went, you know what, Beefcake's actually in very great shape right now.
Yeah, he's good.
Very, very good. I'd say better shape than someone we see later on that's a stripper. He's not a stripper, but... Rude.
Really?
I would say. I would prefer, my personal preference, I'd prefer his body over Rude's.
I'm stunned by
Are
that.
you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Fair enough. Even when we
he's
see...
got a good set of pins on him too.
Yeah, okay, well, beefy.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Whereas
beefcake.
Rude's are more lean.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just putting it out there.
I'm just saying, Jamie's smashing his head off something now.
Well...
So just so you know, you've caused physical damage to a member of the crew, as it were. I can't... Fair enough.
Really?
But no, each their own.
Okay.
I reckon it probably stopped you lose interest from the neck up, yeah?
Well, yeah, I'm not a mullet girl, I'll be honest.
Yeah, mullet's the issue there. So Deebs has gone back outside, he takes his time. The two men trade right hands until Virgil grabs the barber's leg, allowing DiBiase to drop him with a big right. An obvious choke, and then we hear a line here by Jess, which is great. Win if you can, lose if you must, but always cheat. Hell of a philosophy there by the future governor of Minnesota.
Yeah.
Deeb's in control with a back elbow and a beautiful fist drop. It is beautiful fist drop. Clothesline follows as he does a second rope standing elbow. A big stomp to the face gets a 2. A small package.
I always love a small package.
Off an early duck down gets a 2 for Brutus. Really
Yes.
good. Really, I love because you don't often see that.
No.
He just ran in and went, oh, hello.
And I was like, yeah, you would, wouldn't you?
Yep.
Like, very good.
Very nice. Suplex countered by the barber with one of his own.
And
Both men are down.
Gorilla then pipes up.
Oh, yeah.
This match has gone on longer than expected. Oh, all right.
Oh, yeah, because he said I expected both of them to come out like kind of flurry and it be over quick. Yeah, okay. I did hear that. Well, I've got a different comment here.
Okay.
Deebs is referred to as a thinking wrestler, which would suggest that the rest are brainless and both men go down again from a double clothesline. He's a thinking wrestler as opposed to what? An amoeba?
I don't know.
He's an amoeba wrestler.
Honestly.
DiBiase with a suplex. $1 Million Dream is locked in, but Brutus just about reaches the ropes.
Good.
Brutus blocks 2 buckle head plants and hits a series of his own. Sleeper hold by the barber. It's his finishing move. What do you expect?
I know. I don't like them.
I know. Well, there's a few of them coming in this show. Virgil jumps onto the apron, and having lunged for him, Brutus is blindsided by Deebs.
Of course.
On the floor, Virgil jumps the barber, who goes after him to be blindsided again. Brawling away on the floor, and both men are counted out, and I boo my TV.
Yeah. Yeah.
Deebs goes into the ring post. In the ring, Virgil's kick is caught, and Brutus hits an atomic drop and clothesline. Sleeper hold. I was thinking, what are you cutting here?
Yeah.
You're going to have
no hair to cut, is he?
trim the lawn, maybe?
Yeah, true.
Yeah. I don't know where I was going with that. Deeb's back in, but is stopped. He flees when Brutus gets his shears, which, as is rightly said in commentary, that would just be assault with a deadly weapon.
Right, yeah.
As Jess correctly put. So as much as I slated his previous comment, he's bang on this one.
Yeah.
I don't agree with this match rating.
Okay.
What do you score it?
1.5.
Okay, you're very close actually. 1.75.
Oh.
I would have said 1.25, I think.
Yeah.
And I like DiBiase.
I'm annoyed by the way it finished.
I agree.
I just don't like those.
I remember this one was coming.
Annoying.
I'll be honest. Especially on a WrestleMania. Who the wants to see that?
We know I don't like how much people go in and out of the ring. Unless it's both together, it winds me up. And then
Even then it winds me up.
But I really like the barber.
I'm
really do.
surprised because let's have a little flashback.
He's really grown on me since the first time I saw him, and I was like, oh fuck, this is awful. And now I actually think he's bloody great.
Do you remember the first time you saw him? Do you remember who he was with? Because he wasn't the barber then.
Was
Singles match,
he with
WrestleMania 1.
he wasn't Valentine.
That's who he tagged with afterwards. That was WrestleMania
God,
2, I think.
No, I don't remember.
Singles match against David Sammartino.
Oh god, yes, I do remember.
And he
that.
had luscious Johnny Valiant with him.
Yes.
And did that wonderful promo where he went...
Yes, that was...
Because they left it too long on him.
For sure.
I will be honest, though. The barber character, especially when you're a kid, loved it.
It's
one of my favourite Hasbro figures.
perfect for him.
I still remember to this day the gear that he's got on that Hasbro figure.
Yeah.
So I think it's white boots. Now I'm doubting myself, but it's white tights with like orange stripes going all the way down. It looks like it's tasseled, but it's plastic, so it's not really. He's got arm or wrist and
sleeves,
forearm, but it's like kind of looks like black tape where it's been done. He came with a little set of shears. Oh. He's wide-eyed with a bit of a crazy mullet.
Of course he's wide-eyed.
And his arms were like that.
Like grabbing imaginary big shears.
Basically, yes. Yeah. And
because again, like that, no one can see.
I was going to do that and then explain, but by all means, trample all over me. No, that's fine. But I still remember that and everything about that. Again, great Hasbro figure. I need to get the Hasbro figures out and put them somewhere. I'd have to go into the loft background, the old Deers. Well,
I was so happy.
Now's the time. So again, anyone who's listened to them, if you've listened to this far in the show, you'll have probably heard the monologue that's been put at the beginning of it, where I mentioned that we get one of the heroes,
my guy
of WrestleMania, a hero of the show. We get Lord Al Hayes at the brunch.
I bloody love this guy.
He's just the gift that keeps on giving.
He's so good.
He can do no wrong. I want to find, when we're done with the kind of older WrestleMania shows, I just want to find shows where I know he's doing commentary.
Yeah.
And get
that'll make me happy.
I know it will.
Even if I'm watching a really shit old show, just put him on it and I'm happy.
So the co-host favourite is at the WrestleMania brunch and makes the mistake of engaging with the Bushwhackers. So after he asks them a question, he gets an unintelligible response by the New Zealanders. And he goes,
their opponents claim to find them extremely offensive in the ring, and looking at this, they are pretty offensive outside the ring too.
As the Bushwhackers are shoveling eggs into the mouths by the fistful.
Oh, I can't with that. That's just grim to me.
Al asks both men questions and they answer with their mouths full.
Interesting.
And then he said,
just a primitive and private opinion there by Butch.
Okay. He didn't know what he was going to say there. Because he said primitive and went, you could see his face go, where do I go from here now that I've said that?
There's a point where he says, like, privilege, private, primitive, and then Jesse even goes, I don't know what word he's trying to say here.
He goes back to Jesse, back to you, Gorilla. And then Jess goes, I don't know who was more harder to understand, the Bushwhackers or Lord Al.
Oh, I love him.
Oh, and it's not the only time we see him.
No.
And the other one, apart from the primitive comment in this, which was just beautiful, he immediately drops the bollock in the next one. And it's needed. I need it. I don't want perfection from him. His imperfection makes him perfect. Lord Al, we hardly knew ye. It's funny to think that you've kind of only really been aware of him since he's died.
Yeah.
As well. He's been dead for a bit, but yeah, that's crazy. So now we come to... Okay, right. So I need to get this out there early.
Oh, okay.
This match nearly put me down a dark path for the rest of the show. And that match being the Rougeau brothers with Jimmy Hart versus the Bushwhackers.
Tash or no Tash brothers, right?
Yes. Which one is Jacques? Tash or no Tash?
Can you hang on? What's the other name?
Raymond.
I want to say Raymond is Tash Man.
Raymond is Tash
is
Man.
He?
Nailed it again.
Oh god.
Starting thing of this match, I did like the Rougeaus, very French Canadian, coming out to "We're all American boys."
Oh, I didn't know.
All American boys.
Interesting.
Brilliant. Because they've basically realigned from the north and come down to America to be very American patriotic, but in an ironic way. Oh, dear me. As we see Butch and Luke do the walkabout to the ring, I am laughing, imagining Holly's face.
It was a fucking picture, I assure you.
So, having seen that, do you have any awareness of the Bushwhackers prior to this, apart from the brunch that we just saw them partaking in?
I've heard of them.
Okay.
I had heard of them. Never seen them wrestle, per se. And then Shut up. And then I was... I've even written it down. I was going to research them a little bit, and then I thought, actually, I know they're in the Hall of Fame. I'm not going to bother, because I'm pretty sure... Oh, you've done it, have you? Oh, okay, great. Awesome.
Oh, have you actually... Did you look at
No, I
did
then? Fuck all, because I was like, I can't. I'll be honest, as soon as this match started, it felt like something was just draining the life out of me, so I just gave up.
That's fair.
So, no.
I think if ever there was a match on this show specifically that would do that to you, very much understandable that it was this one. This, for me, was the worst match of the night by some distance.
Was it though?
There's another one that I didn't like, but for different reasons.
Okay.
This one, yeah, this was the one that made me angry.
Okay.
The other one didn't make me angry. Gave me a different emotion. Was the prominent emotion that I had in the other one. Yeah. So again, I'll be honest. You said you quite enjoy laughing, knowing when I'm displeased by something.
Yeah.
I just, as they were walking down to the ring, fully belly laughing
because you knew.
Because I could imagine your face going.
I did verbally say out loud, "What the fuck is this?" But that's obviously I live by myself, so that's crazy.
So I imagine brows were furrowed,
always
squinting slightly, mouth a bit agape, just looking confused. Annoyance is a big factor in this as well. Mm-hmm. Not being able to process what you're seeing as the bushwhackers do the walkabout, and that just pleased me. I enjoyed it.
So glad.
It gave me good feels.
Mm.
I'll give you a bit of information about the Bushwhackers. It's actually quite interesting because I only ever knew them as this version of what we see here. So the goofs that go around licking people's heads, doing the walkabout, doing that arm thing and with an annoying accent, no offence, but the way they do it is annoying. So before they came into the WWF, they were known as the Sheep Herders, which sounds crap, but they were bloody, barbaric animals. They were considered to be, not when I say dangerous, I don't mean in terms of actually going around and deliberately hurting people, but they were scary guys that were deemed to be one of the bloodiest tag teams to ever be in wrestling. And it's just so unbelievable seeing the transformation from that to this. I think at the time when I first heard of that, I looked up one of their matches to see what it was like. Good God.
Oh, really?
It's brutal. It's really brutal. And I didn't know they had it in them. Yeah. So I try to think of them as being still potential badasses, but then you see them in everything they do in the WWF and it just isn't that.
Oh, okay.
They are always portrayed like a pair of tits, to be quite honest with you. Having said that, I enjoyed the Hasbro figures of them as well. They were very much... We're starting to get really in the Hasbro figure
clearly.
Area. I was going to say area and era, and it came out as area.
All right, Gorilla.
What's happening? We see Butch just about shit his pants as he misses a step down the aisleway.
Oh, yes.
Just the light goes out of him for a second.
We all know what that feels like as well. Because even if it's like an inch drop, your brain is like, oh, I'm falling.
Yes, and your face can't help but go like wide awake. Suddenly something's alerted you. Butch chases Hart and manager. What? Butch chases Hart and manages to snatch his blazer off him.
Yes.
I must admit to liking the camo gear.
Oh yeah, I like that gear.
Yeah,
fine,
decent.
That's about it.
As the Bushwhackers look to destroy the jacket, the Rougeaus attack, and the highlight of the match is now finished. Hart collecting his blazer is Hart collecting his blazer is sandwiched between Jacques and Ray from a pair of whips. Now the highlight of the match is finished. Yeah. Quick negotiation on the floor before the match gets underway. Ray offers his hand to Luke. No handshake, just a kick. Ray fakes Luke out on the canvas and avoids a fist drop. Ray then high-fives Jacques, but takes a knee to the back from Butch. Battering ram swiftly follows, and I thought, is that it? Because I know that was the Bushwhackers' finishing move.
Oh, okay.
Thoughts on the battering ram? What did you think of this?
Honestly.
Shit? Why do you need to hold his head? Let him run.
Yeah, true.
If anything, you're probably shielding it a bit more.
Well, that's probably, I guess that's the point.
Well, no, you can... Okay, fair enough.
I don't know.
I need answers, Holly.
Sorry,
I need to know
I can't give them to you. I'm not allowed to say these things unless they're factually correct.
No, you're allowed to. You'll get called out on it, but you're allowed to. Luke goes for a cover, but moves, allowing Jacques to drop a knee on his own brother.
Of course.
More discussions outside. Butch starts screaming like he dropped a brick on his foot.
Is there any risk of any wrestling actually happening?
Not a single wrestling move, I think, in this match.
Awful.
I assume Ray blindsides Luke as we don't actually see it on camera. No. They missed something there. Or certainly I missed it. As the ref is fussing with Jacques' knee pad, Raymond applies a Boston Crab.
Yeah.
Ray now tagged in, which was confusing because he wasn't the legal man.
Yeah.
Powerful corner whip, which was actually quite good. Body slam and second rope axe handle to Luke. A back elbow follows.
Oh, and I don't know who says this on commentary. I'm going to assume it's Jesse. He's nailing everybody.
Brilliant.
Just made me smile. And if I'm pulling out shit comments like that in commentary, you know how much I'm really enjoying this match.
It's a dire time in the match.
Mm-hmm.
Cheap shot on Butch allows for a pathetic double team titty slap that drops Luke once more. That gets a 2 count.
Oh dear.
Another double team titty slap and an abdominal stretch by Jacques.
Yeah.
Ray back in with a lovely kick. Give him credit. Nice kick.
Yeah, okay.
The Rougeaus hug, and we see how much Lycra is wedged up Raymond's arsehole.
Fucking stupid. Why? Why?
Well, I'll tell you how stupid it proves to be, because the Bushwhackers capitalise with a second battering ram and a double gutbuster to Ray.
Mm.
That's all she wrote, despite Jacques kicking Luke in the arse before 3.
Mm.
Does that not break the pin up then?
Yeah.
We also see something similar later in the show, which
honestly,
annoys me.
This just was stupid to me.
What is your star rating of this?
0.
I would agree with 0, minus 4 stars. I don't disagree necessarily too much with that. If we're going by a minus scale, I can understand one's frustration that would land us there.
Yeah.
I'm doing it by a...
To me, I can't go below a 0 because a 0 is nothing.
No, that's fine. I think the only one that I've completely signed off on was the boxing.
Oh, right, yeah,
match.
fair.
So I agree with you. I give this 0.
Oh, it's just not for me.
But minus 4, I understand.
But we've seen...
Who's this for, though?
The Rougeau brothers before.
They were good.
And they were good. And it's just... I know it's like... You've got a couple of matches at gimmicks. We've had them later on in WrestleManias, but I don't know. It was a bit shit. And like to me, it's the whole, let's celebrate. We haven't fucking won, so what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, fuck off. Don't.
I think outside of
I swear so much. I'm so sorry.
That's fine. I swear. Fuck it. Outside of their hardcore antics from other promotions, the Bushwhackers were pretty limited in terms, and certainly put forth that in the WWF.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't recall anyone getting a good match out of them, if I'm honest.
Right.
This is definitely at the lower end of that scale.
Dire.
It is really bad. Really, really bad. It's one of those matches where you watch it and you go, why do I like wrestling?
Okay.
I come out thinking that and going, but like you said, this just isn't for me. Tell me who it's for.
Yeah,
kids? Maybe kids?
Maybe.
But I don't remember, I can't imagine I'd have particularly cared about this because you only get 2 entertaining spots on it and the rest of the time the Bushwhackers are getting the shit kicked out of them.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway. We then go and see Sean Mooney in the aisleway.
Oh, this poor guy.
Mooney goes to interview the fans, but gets licked by the Bushwhackers instead.
Mm-hmm.
Jesse says Mooney was licking them back. Gorilla says Mooney is having a good time. I don't know how Gorilla likes to have a good time, but not usually go around licking the faces of other people.
Listens to that Another Level song.
Let me lick you up and down until you say stop.
Yeah, because he didn't say stop.
Well, to be fair...
I mean, I would hope no one would do that, but that's, by the by.
By the by, definitely. Fortunately, it was a short segment.
Thank God.
And I like Sean Mooney. I'll put that out there.
Yeah, I think I didn't write it down, but I'm pretty sure I Googled him, and I'm pretty sure he's like a news anchor.
He is. Yeah, he's a news anchor.
Yeah.
He has done a lot of stuff on the Home Coliseum videos that got released through Silvervision with Al Hayes. They were a commentary duo for a fair while.
Oh, okay.
And I think he's probably got some quite interesting stories about Lord Al, who's, from what I understand, never swore. He would come up with...
very proper.
I heard a story about Lord Al where they were doing... So a lot of the backstage segments that would link between the matches were kind of silly scenarios.
Yeah.
And I think one of the sets they were filming on, they were pretending that Lord Al was fixing a car. And Sean Mooney accidentally dropped like a heavy spanner and it cracked Lord Al. I don't know if it was on the foot or the head or anything. And he just went, "Oh, crumbs!" Like he said, if you're not going to swear in that situation, when are you going to swear?
Makes me love him more.
It's great, isn't it?
He's so sweet.
Oh, I know. I'd love to.
What a guy!
I'd love to pick Sean Mooney's brain on this kind of
guy.
stuff. I think it'd be fascinating. So fortunately, that match is done.
Okay.
We've seen the little nonsense in the aisleway, which the Bushwhackers get involved in. We're done with them now.
Glazed over that. I actually got a drink at that point, but not a drink, just a boring drink.
Next match of the night.
Yes.
And I didn't tell you what it was specifically, but I did request you not do some
I did no research. None. Because I didn't even research Mr. Perfect.
Okay.
Just in case it came up with any...
Yeah, no.
Because sometimes Wikipedia comes up with...
Oh,
because
I
read their history, like wrestling history and stuff, and then it would have come up and said, and I was like, no, let's just not do any. So none.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
I know that you know about Mr. Perfect because we discussed him in the 12 Days of WrestleMania, didn't I? I said he was someone that I wanted to have been a world champion that never was. I did caveat and say that he had been the AWA world champion, but for the parameters of what we were discussing, I didn't consider that to be one of the main titles.
But yeah, I know him. It's similar to Bossman, actually. It's like I knew him, and this was the first time seeing him in this.
Do you know his lineage? Like who?
I don't know what that word means, let alone anything else.
His family. So
no.
Larry the Axe Henning was his dad. He was a big wrestler in the 70s and 60s. And do you know who Mr. Perfect's son is?
No.
Curtis Axel.
Really?
Yep. That's the kid of Mr. Perfect.
Wow.
Yeah, I thought you knew that part. I didn't think I knew you wouldn't know the dad, but yeah, Curtis Axel is Mr. Perfect's son.
Cool. Okay.
And I think at one point in WWE, he had his slogan was "Better than Perfect."
Oh, I see.
Which was
would have meant nothing to me.
And to be clear, no.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Perfect is a plinth
apples and oranges,
or like a kind of. You're never going to reach the top of that mountain if that's what you're aiming for. It's like. The only person that I'm surprised that has kind of done very well, given the big boots they had to fill, is how Charlotte Flair has done for women's wrestling what Ric Flair did for men's wrestling. Because the odds were so stacked against her from getting anywhere near that, and yet,
she's done it.
She has. Other examples you think of, like, I don't think Bret Hart's got any kids that wrestle, but that would be very, very tough to come near him.
Well, I mean, Randy's exceeded his.
Randy's exceeded, and his granddad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bob Orton Sr. was a wrestler. He's definitely surpassed both of those. Again, interesting if he has. Well, I know he's got a kid, but if they go into wrestling, they would have very big boots to fill.
Well, The Rock's daughter.
I was about to say,
they're fucking big boots. Like you can't. And again, it's not similar to the Flair. That doesn't work, does it? The Charlotte and Rick thing, but they're fucking big boots to fill.
Very much so, and as much as I wish her all the success, I just don't see it working out long term. Not even like not getting to the level. I just don't think she'll be a wrestler long term. I think she'll end up moving off and doing something else, if I'm to guess.
Okay.
Mr. Perfect, who's he going up against?
I don't know.
Well, you know the character he's going
the Blue
up against.
Blazer.
The Blue Blazer.
Yes.
So I, again, behind the curtain a little bit, I was ahead watching this show, and I said to Holly, when you get to this match... Well, I didn't specify who they were going up against. I said, please don't Google the Blue Blazer, because I'd like to see a reaction when I tell you who actually is portraying the role. And then I'll link it to something else, and you might go, oh, I never thought of that.
Yeah, okay.
So I won't, just get into it. I've got a little line here first. So, Mr. Perfect, before the incredible entrance theme. Now, I don't know if you've ever heard Mr. Perfect's entrance. It's magnificent.
Yes.
Fine piece of work, that.
Why didn't the people like him? At this point, he was being booed.
Yeah, he's a heel.
Oh, okay.
Because he came in saying he was perfect.
Oh, okay. Yeah, fine. Okay.
And then, like the video montage that he did eventually when he got the music was him doing incredible feats in different sports.
Right.
So he'd have like an American football, throw a perfect spiral a long distance, basketball, blind shot, no look that would go in through the hoops, and then he's like, exactly. So that's the whole.
I do remember that actually. Yeah.
He also has one of my favourite entrances in professional wrestling ever, and I don't know how you do, because I'll be honest, I've tried this. I was outside before, because the look on your face, you just had a look of pure concern. So he had a thing where you don't like the wrestlers chewing gum.
No. Ugh.
He would come out chewing gum. He'd then spit it out and smack it with his hand perfectly every time, and it would go flying.
Oh.
You trust me, I've got good hand-eye coordination. I've hit that once out of maybe 30 attempts. It's disgusting, but gross. I wanted to, because it looks so...
You want to see if you can do it?
I couldn't. I hit it once out of 30.
That's
he
crazy.
hit it every time. Every time. Really good.
He is one of the few men that shall join the It's Okay to Wear a Unitard club.
Another man who can wear a singlet too.
Oh,
yeah,
good.
Really, really good.
Yeah, it works for him. He's got that physique that to me looks like a wrestling outside of wrestling.
Well, he did have a bit of an amateur background.
So then, to me, it works.
And I mentioned about on the plane ride from hell that he was the one that was slapping Brock Lesnar around the back of the head and got Brock Lesnar to tackle him into the emergency exit door on the plane.
Fucking crazy.
Yes. Only downside to this entrance, like the Bushwhacker before him, Hennig trips. Doesn't see the step, does the same little thing. And I go, oh God. I brace myself.
It just kind of ruined the...
For me, again, it's the ankle. I'm just thinking about my dodgy
yeah.
ankle from football-related injuries.
Fine.
So I've got Holly. Do you know who is portraying the Blue Blazer? And then I said, I'm very excited for this match. I might have a different take after I've seen it.
Oh, okay.
But I was excited knowing who the two were. So who's your best guess? Who do you think it is?
Part of me thinks, I don't want to tell you, I want you to tell me and then me to show you if I've got it right. I can confirm I won't have got it right.
You might do.
I doubt it. Just tell me.
No. I have to know who you put down.
Owen Hart. Fuck off, is that right?
Yep.
Is it?
Owen Hart.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
It's because of the blonde hair and the body.
Yes.
And I was like, you can see my notes here.
Let's have a look.
Yeah.
Actually, the only one, but I'm guessing Owen Hart as I paused on his face. Yeah. Good detective work, Miss Marple.
But then later on, I do question my guess. And I'm like, I'm not sure now, because there's a point, we'll get to it later, I suppose, when he's in a, not crossface, but like a chin stretch. I don't know. Yeah. And it's really close to his face, and I'm like, is it? And I really doubted my guess then.
He's also got a very distinctive schnoz, as you would say.
Oh, I love a good schnoz.
I know you love a good schnoz.
I do love a good schnoz.
But yes,
I'm well happy.
Owen Hart, the Blue Blazer.
Did you think I'd get it?
I thought you might have a guess. I thought if you had to guess, you would get it, and you did. So yeah. The interesting tie-in is we know how obviously Owen Hart unfortunately died being lowered into the arena. What gimmick was he playing that night? The Blue Blazer.
Oh.
So we kind of briefly circled the point in the last WrestleMania where we said actually was it in that? It might have been the Raw. Either way, we discussed it on a recent show where I said that Owen Hart refused to do the storyline, which would have basically involved him, Jeff Jarrett and Deborah and being in this weird kind of three-way relationship. And he said, no, I'm not doing that to my family. I don't want to do it. Fair enough. You don't say no to Vince. So Vince went,
so what, he said, do this instead then?
You're going back to the Blue Blazer gimmick.
Oh, that's so shit.
Yes.
That's such a what if as well, isn't it? Imagine if he'd just... It's not his fault at all, but I'm just saying, imagine what if...
And one of those things that Vince has always said, when he's asking his performers to do something like this, he will do a test run of it beforehand. I don't believe Vince did a test run of this. Otherwise, it could well have been him that, did it. I'm sure we'll cover the pay-per-view down the line, and we'll go into it in more detail. But there's a very famous WrestleMania entrance, bringing it back to WrestleMania, that Shawn Michaels does one year, where he comes in on a zip wire.
Yes.
Vince McMahon, there's footage of Vince McMahon doing that before Shawn Michaels does it, to show that he's willing to, I'm not just asking
I wonder
him to
if he did it for Logan Paul.
I'd love to see that. I think someone
because that was pretty fucking epic. That was a big one as well.
Yeah, the Shawn Michaels one isn't going to get touched for me.
No. I'll wait till I see that, because I don't. I'm sure I've seen that in clips as well.
Because obviously Logan Paul is a divisive individual in terms of the fans. Shawn Michaels was very much loved, and you can hear just... It's like girls just screaming their asses off as he comes down.
Of course.
And Vince McMahon's going, Shawn Michaels, just look at him. Yeah, come on.
Okay.
Honestly, that is exactly how he's doing it as well.
Right.
So yes, you're correct. Owen Hart is the Blue Blazer.
Well happy.
This was still when Owen was doing a lot of work for his dad, Stampede Wrestling in Calgary.
Okay.
They hadn't brought him in yet as his own individual performer, as being under Owen Hart, where he tag teamed with Coco Beware as High Energy. He formed the New Hart Foundation with Jim the Anvil Neidhart. So when Brett went on to his singles run, Owen tag teamed with Jim the Anvil. Different gear, but yes, that was a thing. So we get to see the debut as well of Shawn Michaels as Owen Hart.
Wow.
Same WrestleMania.
Yes, even within 3 points, I'm just looking at my notes. As soon as they start wrestling, my brain is like, I don't know if that's who it is, because I've never seen him wrestle.
You've never seen Owen Hart wrestle?
Not like properly. I've seen clips. I know I've got a lot of catching up to do, but
there's 2 matches I'm very excited to show
I've
you
seen
then, and
clips,
one's at WrestleMania.
but not a full start to finish match.
WrestleMania 10 is one of my favourite Owen Hart matches. Okay. And I believe it's SummerSlam of that same year. The same opponent as well. I won't say who his opponent is. Yeah. In a cage match, both very, very good matches. Okay. Very good matches. Lovely. And we'll definitely see one in this journey at least.
Awesome.
Nice hip toss counter by Perfect. Also, to give Perfect his flowers, also his first WrestleMania appearance. So we're getting a few big names.
Yeah.
So yeah, nice hip toss counter by Perfect into one of his own.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect then shoves the Blazer in the corner and slaps him. Second slap is blocked and the Blazer fires one back.
Mm-hmm.
Quick drop toe hold and second slap lands. Blazer just about flips out of a hip toss where they put the... Is it the... Oh no, it was just a proper normal flip out, land on your feet job, not the one where they put like the X-Pac one we saw the other day where he puts his leg over the neck and then flips over that way. Which I always thought looked cool but very convoluted. Yes. Even as a kid. Doesn't look like a natural thing to do. So he just about flips out of that hip toss and delivers a body slam. Make that 2. Beautiful drop kick sends Perfect over the top to the floor, and my God, does this man go flying.
Doesn't
it's
he?
It's a thing of beauty.
Doesn't he just?
Thing of beauty. Fair fucks to Mr. Perfect. And I'm just reminded how good he was.
How perfect.
How perfect he was. This is just a shame all the back injuries that I had that really took it out of him. It wasn't even too long after this where he started getting real bad back issues.
Okay.
He had a phenomenal match. I don't know if it was at WrestleMania. I don't think it was. I think it was SummerSlam, so I think I can mention it, where he had a match with Bret Hart. Brilliant.
Oh, okay.
Really good match. I'll need to get that on our docket to cover off as well. Blue Blazer then hits a baseball slide drop kick, which does connect, but he does go dick first into the ropes to hit it because his legs don't go under the ropes.
Yes.
He splits the bottom rope, and I thought, ooh.
Yeah, it's a bit choice, isn't it?
When he does it, and I don't know, it might not have hurt, to be fair.
Yeah.
But all I was thinking was, I'd sell that.
Yeah, that you've yourself.
Even though it kind of throws out the rest of what they're doing, I would still have sold that, I think.
Yeah.
Couple of European uppercuts on the floor, which are just great. I haven't seen a European uppercut in a WrestleMania since Dory Funk at WrestleMania 2, and I was saying I loved his little forearms thrown into it. They then they come back to the ring. Arm wringer and arm lock now. Perfect looks to counter out the corner with a hip toss. Blazer uses his leg to elevate over, and this is that reversal that I was referring to, and connects with one of his own. Body slam and second standing drop kick follow. Backbreaker gets 1.
Yeah.
Lovely wrist clutch backdrop by Blazer gets 1. Body slam and Blazer goes up top. A lot of what I noticed here is it's not a slog of a match in terms of slow pace, this, that and the other.
No.
But they're going to the same well over and over again. Body slam, drop kick,
a little
hip toss,
repetitive, repeat.
Hip toss, body slam, drop kick.
Yeah.
And both of these men are brilliant. 2 of the best to ever do it, in my opinion.
Okay.
So that's why I forgot.
It was like a high expectation match.
Yes.
And then you see it and you go, okay.
Because this is when they were both in, would I say Perfect's probably in his peak about now.
Hey.
Peak. Owen isn't there yet, but athletic still. So even though I've seen this match in the past, it's not one that I've gone back to, and I forgot about it entirely. Yeah. So immediately, like I said, I was expecting big things.
Yes.
I don't feel like we got it, if I'm being honest here. So Blazer up top.
Yeah.
Perfect gets his knees up to block the splash, which was actually quite good.
Yeah.
And the Blazer is propelled off into the air.
Yes.
Proper leg squat to get him out. I said it was nasty because of the way he kind of falls out.
Yeah.
It doesn't look good. Well, it does look good, but it doesn't look pleasant, shall we say. Perfect now works over the back and has a camel clutch cinched in, which is probably when you started looking at Owen's face.
Yes, it is, because I've literally put... Well, Jesse says hey to his kids, obvs. And then, it kind of zooms in on the face, and I've literally put, if I knew eyes better, I would 100% know who this is, but I'm still going to stick with my original guess.
You're uncanny sometimes, because my next note is, Jesse takes the opportunity. I know we watched the same thing, but the fact that you're following it based on your notes, because we're not reading the same thing. No. And you knew that was the next part. Very good. So Jesse takes the opportunity to say hi to his biggest fans, Terry, Tyrell, Jade and Jeremiah. And then Monsoon says they may be his only fans. And I wasn't aware Jesse sold feet pics online.
Only fans.
Crowd chant boring, which should be a crime with these two. But it isn't, sadly, at this moment.
That's a shame.
I get it.
That is a shame.
Blazer gets his boots up in the corner before hitting a falling power slam. This feels awkward. So this is when I've actually put it down in writing. It's just something didn't feel right. Like they didn't really have a plan.
It's a bit off kilter at this point.
Stilted again. I say stilted. Stilted isn't the right word because that suggests that there were weird pauses, but just the whole one thing to another thing
didn't gel properly.
It felt mechanical.
Yeah.
But not in a way that's seamless.
Mechanical, but not like they knew enough what was meant to be coming for it to just run.
Yes.
It was like, to me, it looks like this is what we're doing, but shit, I've forgotten to do that, and now it's throwing everything else off.
Potentially that. My take was it was like you put two people who know the basics of wrestling but have never had a conversation in their life. And you go have a match. Mm-hmm. And it just, it was a shame. But like I said, it wasn't bad. But we're near the end anyway, so I'll finish this off. Belly-to-belly suplex out the corner by Blazer gets 2, as does a crucifix pin, which I always like.
Yes.
Man in the crowd dies at this point. I don't know if you heard that. This guy goes,
no.
Oh. Yeah, it was
Okay.
like a delayed death. No one draws attention to it, so
that.
hopefully he didn't bleed out, in front of everyone. Big clothesline followed by a stunning perfect plex gets the count of 3.
Now this is how you do it.
This is exactly
how you do it.
I'm doing like the pinpointy hand gesticulation here. I would do a chef's kiss, but
perfect.
It was perfect. Grip of the hands. I need to see those. Give me that meat hook grip. That, or like just so you've got your hands locked on it. Loved it.
Lovely.
Loved it. So Perfect walks away with the win. I agree with the result on it. Mm-hmm. What did you score the match?
1.5.
2.25.
From you? Oh.
That's the Meltzer score.
Oh, okay.
I would give it a 2 because I felt it was a bit stilted.
Yes.
Athleticism in it was good. There were some good moments, but it felt like a rinse-repeat job partway through, which is a shame.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's better than anything I've seen so far, I think, on the night.
Fair.
I'm trying to think. Oh, no, the first match was all right.
Yeah, I've just definitely scored others higher, but...
The first match was good. I'm trying to remember what else we've seen, to be fair. But, yeah, I remember Haku...
The Rockers really got
Rockers,
higher.
yeah, sorry, no, Rockers is better than this, for sure. And I gave that a 2.5, didn't I? So I'll give this a 2, and then I'm still happy with that.
Yeah.
Howard Finkel then introduces Jesse Ventura.
I watched this and then I paused for time. I had to watch this bit and then pause. I couldn't leave Jesse,
No, you had to make sure you got your moment with Jess.
Of course I did.
We now see Ventura in his full Dallas Cowgirl cheerleader outfit as the crowd chant his name.
I thought it was pretty tame for him, I'll be honest.
Did he not look like a Dallas Cowgirl cheerleader?
Hey, I like the country look, the tassels.
No,
I'll be honest, I saw his jacket and immediately thought, I definitely need a jacket like that for the next country festival I go to.
Yeah, I can see that.
Mm-hmm.
We now go back to the man, the myth, the legend.
Oh.
Al Hayes at the 5K run. The legend immediately is flustered and cocks up saying,
hello everybody, we are here on the Boardwater at Atlantic City.
The what?
Just the Boardwater.
He wasn't committed to that,
him.
but it made it perfect. Never change your lordship, never change. To a man, every runner is wearing bollock high shorts. That is until Mr. Fuji comes along.
Yeah.
Fully attired like Oddjob, he just is. Mm-hmm. With war paint on. Fuji will be taking part in the race. Yeah, of course he will.
Why?
I mean, he doesn't.
Well,
Because Fuji is an absolute Donny, he starts running before it begins.
yeah, I did see that. Count it down, he's gone. Brilliant.
We then see him allegedly finishing the race at about the 18-minute, 20-minute mark.
Yeah.
As Al Hayes tries to make us think he looks jaded. He doesn't, because he just started there, waited till they came back, ran across the line being filmed.
Very funny.
I want these two men to solve mysteries together. Fuck me, what a show that would be.
That would be so good.
I would love that.
So good.
It's just, as he's coming back, he goes,
Oh, he looks awfully jaded there.
what?
I love him.
He should be a national treasure. I want to go to Windermere just to be in the area where he was born. I'm not entirely sure where Windermere is. Is it Sussex?
It's a lake, isn't it? Lake Windermere.
Oh yes, that's true. Yeah, good point. I was about to say, what did you rate this?
Is it one of the Great Lakes? Sorry, geography is not my key, but I thought it was one of the Great Lakes, isn't it?
I mean, we don't really have Great Lakes, do we?
Their district.
Yeah, you might be right actually.
I don't know, but I'm just guessing it's near the Lake District.
Yeah, we'll go with that. I mean,
Okay.
I'm sure someone will correct us. So after the 5K run, right. So I did give Holly a brief warning, but it wasn't about this, believe it or not.
No, it wasn't.
I said there's a segment in this show which doesn't involve wrestling that goes on for about 2.5 weeks.
Yes.
Holly got here and thought, oh god, it's this.
No,
It wasn't this.
This was still too long.
At least we know where the budget went, as I put in the...
Oh, yeah. Why did these guys not fucking open the show?
What, doing America the Beautiful?
But as a wrap, fine, I don't care.
Oh, no.
I don't care.
Oh, no. Yeah, well, we don't care, but...
Oh, I suppose, yeah, that's true, actually.
No.
Yeah, you wouldn't do that.
Do you
with
remember
the
what
national
Fergie
anthem.
did? Was it Fergie with the national anthem? Oh,
Fergie
God.
Ferg?
Yeah.
No.
She butchered
Oh, I
that.
see.
I think it was a basketball game.
Okay,
It was just,
fair enough.
dearie
Fine,
me.
but this was odd also, and I love this collective, so this was hard.
Oh, it's tricky, you know. So we see Run DMC with the WrestleMania rap. What in the unholy of hells am I watching here? There are more hoes here than a Godfather and Hacksaw gangbang. This is not the crowd for this shit, honestly.
Not with all those businessmen in the front row. You're not going to get them up saying, when I say wrestle, you say...
Mania.
It's just not going to happen.
Wrestle.
I'm not going to do it.
Oh, you can leave me hanging? Oh, that's savage. That's absolutely brutal. I wouldn't do that to you. When I say one, you say...
2-1.
Oh, you do that one, though. Fine.
Yeah, I love that one.
The crowd are prompted into cheering when they are finished before Gorilla has the line of the fucking night.
Okay.
This needs to be on his tombstone if it isn't, because it's great. A little bit of that went a long way for me, Jess. That's his way of saying it was shit.
Oh.
A little bit of that went a long way for me.
Oh dear.
Jess liked it, apparently. Can't imagine he did.
Well, they've got to have different
What
opinions.
are you talking about, Gorilla?
They can't agree, can they?
No, of course not. I like his tantrum later on as well. We then get a Survivor Series flashback on Fuji and Demolition.
Yeah.
So we're showing Fuji lowering the ropes and causing Demolition to be counted out. I think Axe takes a brutal bump off that as well.
Yes.
Really well done. I also have never seen Fuji move that quick in my fucking life.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know about Mr. Fuji, like in general, who he was other than the fact he's just on these shows?
No.
So he was a favourite and a loyal soldier, as it was, of Vince McMahon Sr. So he was one of the collective, a job for life, basically.
Okay.
As long as you wanted it, you've got it.
Fair.
And when I see those people, I always think, what shit do you know about
Yeah.
things backstage?
Yeah.
Like Classy Freddie
You know
Blassie,
so much.
Arnold Scarland, or Gorilla Monsoon even. Like, you've got some shit on these people. But fair enough, you know, staying loyal to people that were loyal to you, fine. He then strikes Axe with the cane before Demolition body slam him, and the crowd go nuts. The crowd really popped for that Demolition turn.
Didn't they?
At Survivor Series. Powers of Pain help Fuji up, which the crowd are like, uh-oh, what's going on here? We then see Fuji throw salt in Smash's face at another show, but more importantly, we hear Lord Al Hayes on the call.
Yes.
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah, he's there, isn't he?
He is there. He's on the calls. Mean Gene with Demolition. Okay. Demolition say they're ready for war against the Three Stooges. Well, it's a shame they're against the Powers of Pain on this one, isn't it? I mean, the Curly, Mo and whatever, they're not really going to cause you much threat here, but should that match ever take place, they know they're ready. Axe has more glitter on his chest than the entire workforce of Peppermint Rhinos, I imagine.
It doesn't... If your gimmick is to be... I don't even know what the word is, but like fierce, I guess. Don't fucking cover yourself in glitter.
He looks like a gimpy disco ball.
Okay.
Is what I've put here.
It's fine. Yeah, the gimp gear is...
Yeah.
Gimping.
I understand what they're trying to go for, but it's not... Don't get me wrong. I like Demolition.
Yes.
But I like them in spite of how they've landed on the clothing.
Yeah.
They're going for, like, spikes.
And I know it's probably not their choice either. Like, your costume department will say, this is what you're wearing, and you go, fine. But the glitter is a bit much.
The glitter, I mentioned this when we first saw them, I just don't think it's good.
No.
They're obviously, like I said, doing not a parody, but their version of the Legion of Doom.
Yes.
Or the Road Warriors, I should say. And they obviously got the spiked shoulder pads and stuff like that, so they're thinking spikes and like that kind of
it a little bit
barbarian type looking stuff, but it's not, as a whole piece, it's not what you want. I didn't even say what they were talking about, other than the fact that I think it was Smash says they're ready for a war against the Three Stooges. Basically, they're prepared.
I put nothing.
And this is when I'm alerted to the fact that it's a handicap match.
So it's going to be shit.
For the tag team titles. And we're now at that match. Powers of Pain and Mr. Fuji versus Demolition for the WWF tag team titles. Yeah. It's interesting when you think about, I don't know if interesting is the right word now that I've said it, the level of tag team wrestling that we see elsewhere on this card. Yeah. There's another tag team match coming up where both the tag teams are very good.
It's tag heavy.
It is. And you just think about where the tag team titles actually are and have been for a year at this point, have they? because they won it at last WrestleMania.
Yeah.
They've now still got the titles.
Interesting.
Going up against the Powers of Pain, but you've got, again, the British Bulldogs, who, we don't actually see.
No.
I believe this was part of they were going through a dispute in this period.
Oh, I see.
And I don't know, actually, if we see Dynamite Kid again on a WrestleMania. He's very much a case of burnt bridges, that man, as we've covered previously.
Yes.
But you've got the Hart Foundation.
Yeah.
You've got the Rockers. You've got the Twin Towers.
Yeah,
you've got Strike Force. You've got the Brainbusters. All of these are teams that can do stuff.
Do we not see the Bees anymore? Are they gone?
The Killer Bees, I think, are still around for a bit, but I don't think they're given any real prominence.
It's only because I remember them. That's about it.
Do you know what? I nearly mentioned them, but I didn't because they weren't specifically on the show, so I was just covering off the teams that were. And for this to be the battle, it just shows that, again, Vince likes the big, sweaty, beefy dudes, which is fine, but they are very limited to what they can do.
Yeah.
Demolition, I've got a bit more about them, for sure. Powers of Pain, just the Warlord. If I'm, pinpointing one of the individuals, Terry Sapinski is a big, beefy man. There is no mobility there. As I understand it, he actually grew up as a fan of wrestling. So I think he was born in Minnesota, and I might have mentioned it to you before, but Minnesota wrestling and professional wrestling, they produce some good talent over the years. Even like modern speaking, like Brock Lesnar did all his bits and pieces there. But Vern Gagne, I think, set up a school which basically had a lot of people, because he was the AWA, I should say, sorry. So Vern Gagne was the head guy of that. His training academy trained some of the best to ever work in the business, including Ric Flair.
Oh.
And it was in Minnesota. So you see Kurt Hennig, Minnesota. So there's a lot of this kind of talent pool that's coming from there. Terry Sapinski grew up watching these guys, so he's got a background, knowledge and understanding of professional wrestling, but he never adapted to it. He's just a big, beefy hoss that can't do it when all's said and done. Fair play, you tried, you gave it a go. You've had a better wrestling career than me, I'll give you that. And also, I really liked his Hasbro figure, but it wasn't looking like this. I can't imagine that you were particularly excited for this match.
No.
Is that fair?
This was snack time.
What? Okay.
Oh, I went niche here.
Oh.
I went niche.
Nice.
Pita bread and tara masalata.
Oh,
so close.
So close.
So very close.
I know you're a hummus girl, so
I do love I just love a pita and dip. Like,
do you toast it?
This one I didn't, because I couldn't be asked to get the toaster out. I'll be honest. I don't keep my toaster out on the side.
Okay.
Because I've used it twice since I've moved in.
Grill?
So, no, that is in the cupboard too. So my foreman.
In the cupboard. Oh, your foreman. No, I just meant whack it on the grill.
Oh no, I can't be asked for that.
See, my missus with pita, she likes pita as well, as do I. Toasted, she'll butter it. I don't agree with that.
I like.
Give me the natural lube of the dip that it's going
butter.
in. No.
Don't.
Wrong un.
Yeah, she won't listen to this either, so
she is so far behind, so bless her.
She won't listen to. I told her not to listen to the old WrestleMania.
Oh, did you actually? Don't turn fans away.
She's not a fan.
Wow.
Of us, maybe, but not of wrestling.
I think she's up to. I think she's done the AEW show, so she's just after that, so she's quite far behind. But do you know what? It's nice to know that she cared enough to listen in the first place.
Very sweet.
This really is a battle between the two Road Warrior knockoff teams. Demolition were good, though. Powers of Pain were not.
To me, it's the battle of the face paint and the pants versus tights.
Okay. Very in-depth analysis you've given it there.
I'll be honest, this was hard. Hard to care. Sorry.
No, fine. I wasn't in this match. You're not insulting me. Warlord and Barbarian. What a pair of meaty goons. Demolition. I actually really like them, I have to say. Yeah, good. The gimmick is good outside of the headwear and like the gear itself, the glitter. But the headwear makes me think that they're looking for anonymous medieval sex.
Oh my god. Wow. Okay.
You see it though, don't you?
I understand.
What, the want for that? Or?
No,
yeah, okay.
I don't.
Warlord and Axe start things off as Jesse says all four men are powerhouses.
And you can't tell the difference. And I said, no, Jesse, you can't. As all my notes, I've just written them by question marks next to what I think their names are.
I'm almost tempted to say, let's read your notes instead of mine for this.
I really don't think there is fuck all in here. It's just about the moves, because I don't know who the fuck anybody is. Smash and Axe are in there somewhere.
So Smash is the one with the longer hair.
Okay. I still couldn't pick them out of a fucking lineup.
Brilliant. And yet you know the difference between the Usos,
Yeah.
who actually are twins.
Yeah, but that's easier.
How?
I don't.
Well,
Right, let's not bypass.
Okay, fine. Monsoon, so after Jess just says that all men are powerhouses, Monsoon says, Mr. Fuji doesn't resemble that remark. Whatever the fuck that means. Doesn't resemble that remark. That's another Monsoonism.
Oh, yeah. Resemble is not the right word for that, is it?
Doesn't resemble that remark. Doesn't... I kind of get it. What he's trying to say is...
He doesn't resemble a powerhouse.
Yeah.
Fine. But he doesn't warrant that remark.
Yes. Axe starts battering down Warlord in a fan favourite move of Demolitions. Now both men do it. The fans approve.
Sure.
Awkward snapmare by Smash because Terry Sapinski can't kind of flip over properly, can he? Who then applies a neck crank to the thickest cut of meat in this match, which is Terry Sapinski as the Warlord.
Yeah. Yeah.
Axe is tagged back in and applies the same move as he asks the crowd, should I break it? Like to see you try, mate. Well, no, I wouldn't. Sorry to be clear, but... And again, we know it's going to be a slow plodding affair because they're already relying on this kind of stuff.
Boo.
Boo indeed. Another demolition beatdown for Warlord, but he power smash into the corner and Barbarian tags in.
Yeah.
Powerful corner whip by. It was like NSYNC suddenly got involved.
Bye.
Yeah. Powerful corner whip by Barbarian, but Smash gets the boot up. Big right to the stomach, and Axe is back in. High clothesline by Axe and a body slam. Now Smash with a shitty back elbow.
Yeah.
He quickly runs to stop a tag, which was good because obviously he landed near his own corner.
Yes.
Good psychology, fan of that. Double back elbows dropped by Barbarian. What is it with that word?
Barbarian?
Barbarian. Head crank by Axe to Barbarian now. Double clothesline on Warlord.
Yeah.
Axe lunges for Fuji and the Powers of Pain capitalise and put the boots in him before choking him.
Fine.
Yeah, fine. Fuji then tags in and hits the world's first ever kidney chop and a Banzai falling dick headbutt.
Oh yeah, I've put bombs away to the crotch.
Yeah, he goes Banzai and then just falling head plants in, which I'll be honest made me laugh more than it should have, and I rewound it twice to watch it again.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, funny.
Oh, good.
Barbarian back in with the big boots. Flying shoulder block also takes down Axe.
My note just said, "This is slow and I'm really fucking tired. I'm struggling."
What, stay awake even?
Yes.
What time do you reckon this was?
Considering I'd had a heavy weekend, I was tired.
Oh yeah, of course you had.
So these are not the matches for me when I'm tired.
No.
My eyelids get heavy.
Yeah, you need a bit of the Hardys in there to spice it up for you.
Yes.
Quick tags by the challengers at this point. Barbarian slams Axe and Fuji goes up top but misses with a flying whoopsie. Warlord prevents the tag this time. Axe ducks a clothesline and sort of hits one of his own.
Yeah.
Not really though, does he? Smash gets the tag and is a house of fire. Body slam to Warlord, body slam to Barbarian, clotheslines 2, and the crowd are cheering him on. Smash has erupted here. Good job he's wearing the right gear then, isn't it?
Oh. See what you did there.
That was a commentary line. I think it was Gorilla that said that. I said about wearing the right gear. He didn't suggest that he jizzed in his pants. Double team guillotine over the top rope, which is a move I know that gives you anxiety.
Yes.
Fuji then retrieves more ceremonial salt from assumingly under his scrotum, but mistakenly throws it at the Warlord.
Of course it does.
Smash clotheslines Fuji before the second...
This did make me feel a bit like, oh, that's nice though, because it's the softest clothesline you'll ever see.
It really was.
It's very sweet.
To be fair, I barely want to touch the man.
I mean, I understand why. Like, I don't want to see anything vicious, but you know, and you look at it and you go, oh, okay.
Imagine this. I'm putting another image in your head now. JBL lining up for a clothesline from hell on Mr. Fuji.
Oh.
Think about it. He'd have turned to dust.
Yeah.
Smash gently, I'll amend that, clotheslines Fuji before the second rope double team backbreaker allows Axe to make the cover and Demolition successfully retain the tag team titles. What I liked about this was that whenever Mr. Fuji's picked up in a horizontal position, his legs go straight up at a right angle to his body and will stay there. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
It's very, very funny. They're perpendicular to him. Really good. Well, that's good.
Do you know what I liked about this match?
When it finished?
Yes.
What was your
I'm
score
very
for this
sorry.
match?
I know people will disagree, and this is my opinion.
Holly?
I've put 0 out of 5. Boring.
0 stars.
Okay, now I feel somewhat vindicated.
I don't think anyone is going to argue with you of this being a less than stellar match.
It wasn't for me.
It wasn't good. I would give it 0.25. Because I wasn't angry, but I wasn't entertained, I wasn't thrilled.
I don't think it helped. I was fucking tired.
I'm trying to remember actually at which point I did my breaks in between. I can't recall. It might have been even part way through this match.
Yeah.
I don't even think I finished the whole match. But I'm not opposed to the 0 stars, but for me I'll just give it slightly higher.
Fun.
Back to Tony Schiavone outside Macho Man's locker room. The cameraman opens the door on Savage's glorified broom closet.
It's so small.
It really is.
No wonder he's going mental. He's like a caged animal.
But the cameraman shoved backwards and falls to the floor.
Yep.
And Macho goes, "I said no interviews, okay? Do it!" And then he said, "Come on, I'll knock you out! Hogan, I'm ready! Yeah!" And then just walks off.
I can't. Oh, they're too funny.
That one wasn't good because I can't do Savage shouting.
You'd just be coughing all day long.
No, I just can't get the
guttural.
Yeah, because he talks the way no one cares. The way to do the Savage impression, or how I try to do it.
Is this a 101?
You talk. Okay. You have to do it like from the back of your throat, the back of your mouth.
So like where your tonsils rub together.
Yes, and you have to kind of narrow it and close it down to give it that kind of thing.
A lot of throat control that.
But thank you. But when he's shouting, I don't have the ability
to do that.
Like when he's talking, you can do that.
I love that.
But when he's shouting, I've lost it. So again, appreciate that wasn't good, but I had to do it for Holly. Do
you know what I'd love as well? If anyone else can do fucking impressions, fucking send them in, because I love it.
Yeah,
I just love a good impression.
Yeah, I'm comfortable with where I am on the Al Hayes one.
So funny.
And talking Savage, I don't think it's the worst.
No,
but the shouting
good.
Savage, I'm aware that wasn't going to be good.
Okay.
So we're fine. Come at me, bro. That's pretty much the gist of it. He threatens to knock him out.
Yeah, short and sweet.
Another match.
Yeah.
Dino Bravo with Frenchie Martin taking on rugged Ronnie Garvin.
Yeah.
Dino's stacked.
Yes.
Like, he is stacked.
Yes. Absolutely.
He's even more stacked than the last time I see him. But weirdly, he doesn't carry it badly.
No, he doesn't actually.
Because he's like inflated. Like Don Morocco looks kind of awkward in the way in which he carries that weight, whereas Dino looks like
it's gone in all the right places, effectively.
The right powerlifter frame.
Yes.
And he was billed as the strongest man in Canada.
Yes, he was.
So you hear that a few times. And, Frenchie Martin exists, so he's there.
Yeah.
Rugged Ronnie Garvin. What are your thoughts on this man, Holly?
Who was he? Right. Who is he?
So he's a wrestler. Former NWA heavyweight champion, believe it or not. Beat Ric Flair.
I didn't Google him because I just was tired.
Yeah, I'll be honest.
I didn't feel like I needed to at this point, I'll be honest.
Not a big fan of Ronnie Garvin myself, I don't see how, and this is going to sound harsh, I don't see how someone could look at him in an era when you've got the likes of your Flairs, your Dusty Rhodes, your Harley Races, and see world champion in him.
Okay.
But they gave it to him. I don't want to, kick the man when he's down, because he got a good career out of wrestling. But I feel like when you look at the lineage of the NWA heavyweight title, he's an anomaly on there. You kind of look that he sticks out and you go, oh wait, hang on, who's this?
Right.
Another one that comes to mind would be Tommy Rich, who I think at the time he was the youngest ever NWA champion, but again it seemed like a bit of an oddity when you look at the whole picture of who, like from your Luthez's to your Harley Races, etc. They stand out to me as odd choices.
Yeah.
So most of his work was done in like the Jim Crockett promotions.
Oh yeah. Okay.
What would then become WCW, etc. But I'll be honest, his heyday was already past him at this point.
I mean, he didn't even get an intro. He was already in the ring.
And do you know what? I feel bad about that because at this point he'd already been, I believe, the NWA World Champion.
Right. And so he should have.
Yeah. I mean, even Harley Race.
Yeah.
When I say even Harley Race, like Harley Races are nothing, but in WWF, Harley Race always got his entrance, apart from in the Battle Royal thing where everyone didn't get an entrance. So I did feel a little bit bad for him, but at the same time, if you were going to do it to anyone on this show, probably do it to him. It makes sense because he seems to have come out of the ether.
Right.
For someone like you, you have no concept of this man outside of the parameters of this show.
He was a ringer, I'll be honest.
Yeah. Like a local that they've just brought in, like a Barry Horowitz or something.
And especially because I didn't do any research, I was just like, all right, just pass over it. Fine.
But yeah, he did have a career that was pretty well renowned, but I don't think he was ever at the level that he got the opportunities at, if that makes sense. Don't know if I articulated that pretty well, but
I'd like to know why the special guest is here.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that. So for some reason, Jimmy Superfly Snuka is now introduced. Why? He comes in the ring, immediately fucks off, and do you know what that says to me? This match does not fucking matter.
Yeah, true. Because you've got your participants there. Oh, this guy's here too, but he's not going to hang around.
I've got a suggestion. So I'll put my hand up there like I'm a school kid.
You're allowed to speak.
Yeah, thank you. So instead of having the bit where Sean Mooney's in the R-Way getting licked by the Bushwhackers, nix that.
Yeah.
Do a Superfly thing.
Yeah.
I think they're making a point of Superfly's back with the company. There was a bit where he was kind of just out of the mix. And if you think about it, has he been on a WrestleMania card since the first one?
No.
Yeah. Obviously, there was the incident, I don't know timeline-wise where that occurred. I think it might have been earlier 80s, to be fair. Mm-hmm. But have you seen The Dark Side of the Ring?
Yes, I have actually.
Interesting, isn't it? I won't divulge into it any further than that. But I actually think that might have been... I don't think necessarily this was around that time, but I know that there was a reason that he was out of the company for a bit, and it wasn't for good reasons. It wasn't like he just went, I'm done for a bit, I'll come back later. Mm-hmm. I think it was a kind of forced decision. So I put, first note here, so this match doesn't matter, right?
Apparently it's not.
Garvin throws his towel into the crowd and gets blindsided. Big body slam and elbow drop by Bravo.
I'll be honest, I saw this and I thought, oh no. Oh no.
Back to the elbows.
Oh, boo.
Stop the elbows. Forearms to the small of the back before, oh dearie me, a missionary bear hug. So Ronnie Garvin leaps.
He runs for the hug.
Yep.
He does a Christmas party.
I wasn't going to reference that.
You've already done it once, might as well fucking do it again.
Yeah, he did a Bowen Christmas party special. It was a short-lived bear hug, relatively speaking. Yeah. We're not talking Andre Hogan Mania 3 bear hug. That deserved its own segment in the show, to be honest.
We can tell how interested I am because Jesse starts talking about wearing earrings that are worth $5,000.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
And he said, I wouldn't throw my earrings into the crowd or any part of my attire in the crowd. And Gorilla says, I don't believe that. And Jesse says, what, that I wouldn't throw my earrings into the crowd? He said, no, I don't believe they cost $5,000.
Yeah, that was funny.
Very
I did enjoy that.
So after the missionary bear hug, fortunately, this is short and Garvin is tossed into the corner. Mm-hmm. Shoulder tackle by Thick Boy Bravo, who taunts the crowd, and a second leads to a foot on the chest pin. Arrogant. Mm-hmm. And unless you're doing the Chris Jericho, come on, baby! When you do it, not good.
No.
I've got an exception to that, but no point mentioning it now because it bears no relevance. Garvin gives Bravo a face full of crotch.
Yes, he does.
And rains down punches until Dino falls down, which I thought was a unique little twist.
Yeah, why not?
2 count from that.
Yep.
Running forearm by Garvin gets 2 also. And let's take a moment to absorb this buzz cut mullet disaster on Ronnie Garvin. What
awful
the fuck?
I think he had an appointment at Brutus's Barbers earlier on in the day.
I think he had an appointment at B&Q.
So bad.
Honestly, it's just... Don't get me wrong, we have seen some mullets.
Oh, for sure.
Many a mullet has been witnessed just through this WrestleMania journey alone.
Yes.
This is... So I got really frustrated, as you're well aware, of Brutus's.
Yes.
Brutus's at least evolves to the point where it's something different to look at. We're not going to see Ronnie Garvin again on the WrestleMania as far as I remember.
Yeah.
And this is the takeaway that I've got on him.
Okay. It's not my worst haircut of the night, though.
Okay.
It's coming.
Ooh.
It's coming. It's not even the worst haircut. It's just the one I like the least.
Okay, I'm really struggling to think of who that is. I reckon every match now that I get to...
Oh, you're going to guess the hair?
I'm going to try and guess the hair that you're referring to. Mm-hmm. Okay, right, I'm fascinated. Genuinely fascinated.
This is the calibre of shit I'm bringing.
No, you're bringing more than that. Come on, don't sell yourself short. Overhand chops galore, and face first into the buckles goes Bravo. Nice rolling cradle by Garvin gets 2.
I actually liked that.
Yep.
I've put a nice little comment there.
Sleeper from the rugged one.
Snore.
But Dino makes the ropes.
Good.
Bravo reverses a pile driver into a backdrop, but Garvin holds on for a sunset flip, which gets 2.
Yes.
Quite like that.
Yes, that was nice.
Not my favourite sunset flip of the night.
No.
Ronnie looks to rain down corner punches, but a reverse atomic drop ends that dream.
Yep.
A big sidewalk slam by Bravo, and he gets the win. I can't believe that's a finisher.
I was very confused that was the end.
You asked me that at the last Mania. And you said, is that really his finisher?
Yeah.
Well, allegedly. Yeah.
But everyone does it.
And we see him finish it.
That's very strange.
That was the move that ended this one.
Fine.
So, I didn't like the next bit. Like a little bitch, Garvin sneak attacks Bravo and cold cocks Frenchie before Garvin stomping him.
Mm-hmm.
You're the face. You didn't get cheated.
No.
I don't think there was any cheating. You just lost clean.
You just lost.
I guess. I've just thought of something now. He got jumped at the start of the match, didn't he?
I guess, but like...
I thought it was a bitch move.
Yeah, just fucking pointless.
And then did you see the right hand that he landed on Frenchie? Actually looked like he caught him a bit heavy with that. And Frenchie sold it wonderfully.
Perfectly.
Wonderfully. What, Holly, pray tell, are you scoring this one?
0.5 out of
0.
5. Oh, okay. I'll take that. Not bad. Because I scored the last one a big fat 0, this to me was
marginally better.
So it gets a 0.5.
So what was the last match? I would have to put it around the same level of that match, and I think I said 0.25 or something, so I would go 0.5.
Cool.
So I'd go slightly higher than 0 stars. It wasn't great, don't get me wrong.
No, it wasn't, but it wasn't the worst so far.
Well, yeah, true. And it's not, and there's worse to come.
Isn't there just?
This is not the match I'm referring to.
No, however. I actually didn't mind this one.
From one match straight into another, we see the Brainbusters with Bobby the Brain Heenan versus Strikeforce.
Yep.
Shit name, the Brainbusters, but fuck me, are they a good tag team?
Aren't they?
I assume you know a little bit about
Arn Anderson, I know about.
Yes.
But again, I'll be honest, at this point, I'd lost the will to Google at this point and do any research, and I was like, I know, I'm probably going to see some people again. This is fine.
I'll give you a little bit of background on the Brainbusters. Yeah. So, both men were originally in the Four Horsemen with Ric Flair. So, the first original unit of that group was Ric Flair, Ole and Arn Anderson, and Tully Blanchard. So, Ole and Arn Anderson aren't actually related. Yeah. Anderson's like a wrestling name that's gone through various rugged-looking people. It just happened to be that Arn Anderson actually and Ole Anderson, if you said they're related, you'd kind of go, oh,
you could kind of believe it, couldn't you?
They're balding, but they've got the kind of the same goatee, facial hair, and they've got fairly stocky physical builds. Their manager was James Dillon, and that was the original set of the Four Horsemen. And that name just wasn't premeditated before. There was just a promo. And I think it was Arn Anderson actually that said, we're like the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse. And he just happened to say that in a throwaway angle, and it built from there. It became its own entity. Okay. Under the Jim Crockett reign, and as it started to transition to the WCW format that we then became familiar with, WCW went through a lot of top bookers. So the guy that was making the decisions, and not all of them came from a wrestling background. One in particular, now I believe this to be correct, is Jim Herd. I know Jim Herd was definitely a booker.
Okay.
Jim Herd did not come from a wrestling background. He was, I believe, a high-up managerial force within Pizza Hut.
Oh.
And he was quite good at the marketing side of things.
I could eat Pizza Hut right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Nothing wrong with a bit of pizza. But he made such questionable decisions that basically Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard went, we are done with this. Ric Flair would eventually also be done with this as well. And I'm pretty sure this was under Jim Herd's reign. It might have been someone else. I know Jim Herd actually had massive falling outs with Ric Flair as well.
Right.
So Ric Flair, being the nature boy with the long kind of bleached blonde hair, Jim Herd was like, well, I don't like this look anymore. I think we need to change it up. He wanted Ric Flair to cut his hair short and be renamed as Spartacus.
Oh my God. Wow.
Yes. He said the look didn't carry anymore. It wasn't working.
Oh, how wrong he was.
He was very wrong. Ric Flair did acquiesce to the haircut, and when he came over to the WWF after, he was like, no, I'm done with this, and he left with the title, as you may recall. Oh. Did you not know that?
No.
So Ric Flair was the champion of WCW at the time. He had the big gold belt, as it's referred to, which is now, became the World Heavyweight title.
Yes.
Not the version that they've got now, the WWE thing, but it's loosely based on that design. Ric Flair said, okay, well, I'm not coming back. And at the time, I don't know if this still is the case, you had to pay a down payment on the title belt because it was in your possession.
Oh.
So you gave them the money. Mate said, like, I'm not going to lose this.
Oh, like a deposit type thing.
Basically, exactly right. Like
you can I'll have my money back once, like a holiday.
Like you're renting table tennis gear to play on holiday, exactly right. And Ric Flair said, I'm not coming back, I'm not giving you the belt.
Oh.
So when Ric Flair made the jump to the WWF, he came on and was advertised as the real world's champion.
Oh.
And he would have the belt on. And Bobby Heenan was the manager that brought him into the company, was building it up for weeks saying, we've got the real world's champion coming, Hulk Hogan, better be prepared. And for a while they were able to show the title belt on TV, no blurring, nothing like that, and they got away with it for a while, and then they got a cease and desist legal order that says that's our intellectual property, we do not give you permission to show it. So they had to then pixelate the title. So for quite a while they're pixelate. You can clearly see what it is.
Yeah, you can tell what it is. It's just pixelated.
Because if you're watching it, you know what it is. Yes. But it was enough to get by.
That's hilarious.
And the Brainbusters, they weren't known as the Brainbusters in WCW. It was just Arn and Tully, because you didn't need a silly gimmick name. And the Brainbusters, let's be fair, is a stupid, awful name.
Yeah.
The tag team, great. They weren't for too long, or sorry, I should say they didn't stay too long in WWF. They basically got brought back in when Ric Flair got more say in WCW. However, there's an interesting story about how they left WWF as well. So Tully Blanchard is a man of demons, I think it's fair to say, with certain addictions. And when they were preparing to leave the WWF didn't have an issue with them leaving, other than the fact that, you know, they were going to the competition effectively. WWF were in the midst of doing random drugs tests, because this was at the time where they kind of implemented it with the Dr. Zahorian steroid trials and issues, but they weren't just testing for steroids, they were testing for other things.
Anything.
Yes. And just when Tully Blanchard was about to leave, it was confirmed that the WWF popped him for cocaine.
Okay.
So he tested positive for cocaine. This somehow made it into the general, you know, population. It became knowledge that this was the case. WCW went, well, we don't want you.
Oh, I see.
So Tully Blanchard...
I was about to say, why does that matter? He's leaving, but effectively, you've got no job to go to.
WWF didn't take him back, because they only wanted him if he was going to be part of the Arn Anderson package. Yeah. Arn Anderson was able to get the job back there. Tully Blanchard was done. That kind of brought the main part of his wrestling career was kind of brought to an end because of that. And he had some really good matches back in the day. I'm talking like, I think it was 1984, 85. It might have been the very first Starrcade or the second Starrcade. He had a United States title match with Magnum TA. And that's a story for a different time. But very, very famous match that still holds up well to this day, I think. Okay. And that kind of really brought an end to the main part of Tully's career. He then made, you know, sporadic appearances here or there, but I think they were in the WWF for just over a year, 2 years at most, and they were gone. Wow. And that's how it kind of all works out. So, and funny enough, I don't think Ric Flair and the Brainbusters were ever in the WWF at the same time.
Oh, okay.
They left, went back to WCW. Ric Flair then had his falling out. He bounced.
I see.
Bit of a back story, but I thought that was worthwhile sharing with you.
Yeah.
Can't remember where we are here. We just done that match.
We haven't even started the match.
Oh, right. My God. Okay, we'll best get the match started then. Did you notice that Tully Blanchard already looked like he'd been punched in the face? Because he had like a little swelling under his eye. A
bit of a shiner coming.
Well, yeah, it didn't look kind of like I don't know, because it wasn't like bruised. It was just a kind of fatty deposit growth thing. It just didn't look right. But I think he had been punched. He looks like the punchable type. Nice early exchange between Tully and Martel.
Oh, sorry. Did we even say who this is against?
Maybe not. Apologies.
I don't think we did. I think because the story is one of my fave tag teams at the minute.
The Brainbusters with Bobby Heenan versus Strike Force.
I love these guys. They're just so happy.
They're
so happy. And I needed these. I needed this because I was tired.
So this was in the same city?
Yes.
Brilliant. With Tito Santana, didn't particularly do much for me in the early WrestleManias, because I felt like he was just kind of interfering in other people's business quite a lot. But when he's with Rick Martel of Strike Force, I agree. I like it. It's very 80s entrance music as they run down high five.
Like, it's so cliche for me, and I fucking loved it.
They mentioned it on commentary a few times as well, that they hadn't tagged for a while. They tried to do their own little things. They had a bit of a break. But they reunited, and it felt so good.
Sowing the seeds.
So a nice early exchange between Tully and Martel, but a knee from the apron slows the Canadian down. I love me some Arn Anderson.
Yeah.
I love me some Arn Anderson. The Brainbusters look to double team Martel in their corner, but he fires back like a madman, like one punch, two punch,
doesn't he?
Going between one and the other, and the crowd are eating it up with a spoon. A brawl between all four men then break out until a pair of drop kicks from Strikeforce send Tully and Arn both out the ring.
Yep.
High octane pace, which is a nice change.
What I needed.
Real nice change from the last two matches. Back in the ring, and Arn ducks too early. Martel drives his head into the canvas for a 2 count. Knuckle lock as Martel mounts Arn.
Oh, is this where they end up doing the stand up thing?
Yes.
After what? I freaking love that.
Yeah.
I don't know how you would possibly describe it, but this is like a leapfrog to me. Whoever does it, I'm impressed.
Yeah, that's fair. And they start with like I said, the knuckle lock. Martel pretty much mounts Arn. There's no getting away from it. But then Arn leaps into a leg scissors.
Yes.
Which I thought was very nice as well. Martel then shifts that into a Boston Crab. Brilliant transition.
From
one to the other to the other.
Very good.
Tully leans in and thumbs him in the eye, which is great.
Yeah.
Like you just see him lean into a shot, boom, thumb in the eye, done. But after being tagged, is hit with a bulldog by Tito. Figure 4 leg lock by Santana, and as Arn runs back in, he's also put in a figure 4 by Martel.
No, double 4.
Like that? It's almost somewhat a figure 8, or is that?
Oh no.
No, that's not the same thing, is it?
No.
Arn wisely then leans over and rakes the eyes of Tito because he can't reach Martel, who's locked him in one.
But he can
stop
do the
that.
other guy.
Although Martel just casually lets go of his. There's no reason for him to stop.
No.
And I thought Tully should have got up and immediately kicked him or something. Impressive bridge. Here we go.
Yeah.
So it's a bridge by Tito to escape a pin. So he's lying with his back to the floor. The other guy is lying opposite to him, chest on chest. Yeah. Both men use their leg strength to push up and then turn round. That's how I describe it.
So good.
Yeah, because I can't even...
I don't know how you'd fathom her doing that. It's the pressure between the two bodies and then your leg power and your core. And
the guy on the bottom as well.
Fucking impressive.
Really good. Really, really, really good. Okay, we've got one of your favourites coming up now.
Small package.
So after they do the impressive bridge by Tito to escape a pin, he transitions to a backslide, but Arn breaks it up. Both busters duck early on a whip, and Santana gets a small package on Tully.
Yay.
But Arn distracts the ref.
Of course.
As Tully goes for an atomic drop, Tito makes the tag, but accidentally connects with Martel on a flying forearm.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Are those seeds now taking root?
Oh,
Holly,
indeed.
that's what we have to ask.
Well.
Blanchard hits Tito with a drop kick before tagging on. Tito counter whips Tully into Arn's knee. Again, like that.
Yeah.
Delayed sunset flip. Now, this is the sunset flip of dreams.
Yes.
Because it doesn't look hokey. Arn realises he's about to get taken down for a thing, and he's looking for the ropes to try and grab, and then goes down when he realises he's got no option. Brilliant.
Very good.
Arn Anderson, unsung hero. Putting that out there now. After the delayed sunset flip, what Arn does is very good, actually. He leans forward and grabs Tito's neck and pulls it away, then opens it up to allow Tully to basically drop. I think he kicked him in the back of the head or something. Very, very good. Or, he elbowed the spine. That's what he did. And also, just thinking about an elbow to the spine, I've not got the back and neck issues and stuff like that, but that makes me feel very uncomfortable. Santana just about connects with Tully on a run-up second rope crossbody, which gets a 2. Anderson in, and he gets a camel clutch and gets a knee up from a corner charge. Arn has no business on the top rope.
No.
And is pressed to the canvas.
Honestly.
In homage to Ric Flair. Tito crawls for a tag, but Martel is still very much shaking it off the earlier forearm, and he won't. In fact, he jumps off the apron and fucks off to the shower.
Gorilla goes, well, what does that mean? And I've literally went, well, Gorilla, I think it means he's fucked off. He's not doing this match anymore.
Yeah, that's pretty much
that's exactly what it means.
That's the takeaway from that. He leaves not only to the showers, but to a shower of booze. Arn continues the beatdown and hits the greatest spinebuster of all time. Not necessarily this iteration of it, but Arn spinebusters, you don't touch them. No one does it like him. No one does it. Arn and Tully both taunt Tito, which is great. They're going, go on, make a tag.
Yeah, of course.
Make a tag.
Of course.
Brilliant.
He doesn't do too badly on his own, though,
He
to be
doesn't.
fair, against these two.
And I've got here that Santana tries to fight back, but with Arn holding Tully, the monkey flip attempt fails in the corner, which was good. Arn then cinches up a pile driver.
No.
And with the assist of Tully, from the second rope.
I don't like it.
Connects for the 1, 2, 3. Talk me through your feelings when this move is being cinched up.
I can feel my neck seize as I saw it, and I was like, oh, it's a pile driver. Don't like those anyway. And then I was like, hang on, what else is going on here? No. But, I mean, this isn't the worst one for the night for me.
No.
But, I just don't like it. It immediately makes me go and sit there. I literally sat holding both sides of my neck for
I believe that.
Like, for ages. But, you know,
well, at least it's the only pile driver on the show. Oh, no, it isn't.
Oh, God.
At least it's not. It's the only middle rope assisted pile driver on the show.
The next one was petrifying, but it's fine.
If anyone was going to hit me with a pile driver, I don't want anyone to hit me. I'd let Arn do it.
Okay.
I feel like I'd trust Arn.
Okay.
Also, when we're talking about Arn Anderson, just a very little brief segue on that. Arn Anderson's promos are unreal. Like, we don't often... I mean, you certainly probably haven't heard many of them, but the stuff when I watch back the older NWA Jim Crockett promotions footage, and Ric Flair is obviously the mouthpiece of the group. He's the, jet flying, wheeling, dealing, kiss stealing, son of a gun, all that. He's got all the slogans. But if I listen to a promo that wants to get me really engaged, give me Arn.
Okay.
Very much Jake Roberts vibes.
I was going to say, is it the same sort of...
And Arn, you just believe he's a tough arse kicker. I'm not saying you don't believe that Ric Flair's not a fighter, but Arn, you believe like he's going to mess you up.
Okay.
And I really need to find some shows with some old Arn Anderson promos because they're brilliant. Even to this day, like I've seen some stuff he's done in AEW over recent years. Brilliant.
Okay, fair.
Brilliant. So fair play to Arn Anderson. I feel like he's an unsung hero for the era. So after the assisted pile driver, that's it. 1, 2, 3, we're done. What are you scoring the match?
2 out of 5.
2 out of 5. 2.5. Was this?
2. Oh, really?
2.5.
Oh.
I actually agree with 2.5.
I enjoyed it. It's the... And I get it. It's a story. I understand. It's just a bit like, I like Strikeforce. I don't want them not to be together. So they lost a half point for me.
Do you know what's concerning about this?
Oh, no.
So we do see both Tito and Martel in future WrestleManias. We never see Martel as a good guy again.
Really?
He changes his character entirely to become Rick the Model Martel.
Bastard.
But he wears pink.
I don't care.
Pink pants.
I'm angry.
Comes out with his aftershave, Arrogance, I believe it's called.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Great.
It's interesting. It's interesting. But I agree. I like Strikeforce as well. It's cheesy, but the right kind of cheesy.
I love it. It's proper nostalgia. Like, just happy. You can't be angry watching them. Can now.
Well, you can now because we're backstage with Mean Gene and Rick Martel.
Livid.
Mean Gene asked Martel how he could walk out on Tito. A very shiny Martel says he's sick of carrying Santana and that he'd been riding his coattails for too long. He says he was lucky that he's a gentleman and he only walked out as he could have done a lot worse.
Not impressed.
Not impressed by that performance.
I'm just annoyed.
No.
Instantly annoyed because he broke up one of my favourite teams.
Line from Jesse here.
Maybe this is why I've gone on a tirade about Jesse. I don't understand this.
Jesse says, laws were made to be broken. Future governor of Minnesota right there. That's the second time I've said that on the night. We go now to a segment that goes on and on.
Okay, before we get there.
Okay.
Because I don't understand why I've done this. Maybe because I was so livid at that backstage segment and Jesse started talking. And Jesse, for me, I don't know much about him.
Okay.
So I was like, why does he keeps threatening to get in the ring with people? Why doesn't he just fucking do it? So that's when I literally Googled him, effectively. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2004.
He was.
He stopped wrestling in early 80s, mid 80s, as he had blood clots on his lungs. This was when he comments and says, he said something, but I was still reading, and Wikipedia insightfully told me that he does commentary for the first 6 WrestleManias, and I was immediately depressed. I was like, I've got one more left. I've already lost almost my guy. Now I'm going to lose this one and all. And then it tells you the story of Hogan and Jesse's friendship, which is quite interesting.
Because it was a friendship at one point.
Yeah, it says that they were really close friends. However, Jesse ended their friendship quite quickly when he found out that Hogan was the one that told McMahon about Jesse trying to help form like a labour union, I guess.
It was, yeah.
Against Vince, I guess.
Yeah, I think when we first talked about Jesse Ventura, I mentioned the fact that his beef with Hogan was very real.
Yeah.
And it was for that reason. And to this day, they still don't have a labour union for it.
It is crazy. And then it just talked about how there was another issue where they used Jesse's image for something that he didn't agree with and he got no money from. He took him to court for that and did end up getting...
He won, didn't he?
Some money.
Yep.
In 92, he goes to WCW. Interesting.
He does. He earns a high packet there as well.
Oh.
And funny enough, sorry, finish your story and then
I've only got one more point, and that was that apparently he was released from WCW because he fell asleep at one of their pay-per-views, apparently.
I did not know that.
Whether it's true or not, who knows. However, it's said that was the reason he was released. However, it was rumoured to be more because Hogan was very much so...
On his way
into WCW.
That definitely formed part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And much like what happened in the WWF, a similar pattern emerged in WCW. So I mentioned to you earlier who replaced Jesse on the commentary team.
Yeah.
Bobby the Brain Heenan.
Yeah.
Who replaced Jesse on the commentary team in WCW? Bobby the Brain Heenan.
Really?
Yeah, Bobby went in there. So I think Bobby signed in 93.
Okay.
So Jesse wasn't there for too long, and they started then getting Heenan involved. Heenan was a cheaper contract, shall we say, than Jesse was, so they used that to phase him out accordingly. Mm-hmm. So it's quite interesting that you see patterns emerge. But you're right on the Hogan thing. And I think we discussed as well that I would have loved to have seen a Jesse Ventura-Hogan match. Mm-hmm. Like I said, they're very similar in terms of the physiques. I will say, though, that Jesse's physique is more akin to... He's a thicker version, but it's more Rick Rude than it is just the full stocky bloke syndrome. He's got just a leaner frame, like from the waist up, but he's then stacked.
To me, he's very Johnny Bravo.
Yeah, but I would put Rick Rude again in the same kind of category where he's all carrying chest
upside down
upwards.
Triangle.
Yeah, basically a Dorito in the sand. Yeah, I think, but that was very interesting.
Yeah, thank you.
Good story.
I clearly just went off on a tangent because also it distracted me from this next pile of wank.
So speaking of this next pile of wank, we move on to Piper's Pit. Finkel introduces a man who needs no introduction but still gets a 2-minute one. Brother Love walks out in a kilt, and what a grotesque boob this goof of a man truly is. I love you!
I must know.
Brother Love talks to an empty chair as though it were Brother Rodney. In his defence, after he swaps stools, he does a half-decent Piper impression.
Yeah.
This goes on for too long. Morton Downey Jr. runs down to the ring.
Who?
Actor.
Who?
Actor.
Who?
Runs down to the ring with a lit cigarette in his mouth.
Ugh.
Like a complete fucking jackass. He then forcibly high-fives Brother Love, who says he loves him, but doesn't like him. Morton says any man in a skirt, he doesn't want to love him. Because it's gay bashing. Morton lights another cigarette, and when Brother Love says he runs the show, Morton replies, "You don't run anything, fat boy."
God.
Now Roddy Piper actually does appear, rocking my mum's current hairdo.
Oh, it's very silky. Like, it's good. It's like AJ, giving AJ Styles hair.
Yeah, okay. It's, yeah. He's also lost a bit of his mass.
Yes, trim.
Roddy compliments Love... Sorry, no, he doesn't. Roddy compliments Love's childbearing hips and Betty Davis knees.
My only comment now to the end of this segment is that Piper looks a lot younger now than he did when he left.
He does, I agree. Roddy plays a bit of keep away with the microphone, asking Brother Love a question and then going, "Oh no, I don't want to hear that. No one wants to hear that." Takes it away. He asks Love if he has heard of the Oprah Winfrey diet and comments on his red hue. Love says Piper can't scare him, but then immediately gets scared by him. As Piper continues, Morton is being that dickhead kid at the back of the classroom, throwing stuff for attention.
Oh, honestly.
Piper then sexually assaults Brother Love and rips his kilt off, and he runs off.
Oh, yeah.
Hot Rod then asks Morticia, Morton Downey Jr., Robert. And he said Robert Downey Jr. Yeah. He then asks Morticia to not blow smoke in his face, which he continues to do. He also says he fucked Piper's mum, or his dad did, or something. I don't think the joke landed as he intended it.
I stopped listening about 10 minutes before this part in the segment because it's fucking long.
It is. I'm giving you all the notes here. I did your homework for you.
Thank you.
Morton has half his leg showing thanks to his boat shoes, and now Holly is violently sick.
Boat shoes. I hate boat shoes. No offence to anyone that wears them. I just don't like them.
No, I think offence to people that wear them.
Unless you've got a boat, then it's fine.
And even then, don't. Although that is, I'll allow that as a fair exception.
If you do own,
yeah, I mean, come on. Morton gets in the face of Hot Rod, who suggests his girlfriend is a warthog, and blows smoke. This bit I assume you weren't listening to because you said you tuned out. I didn't really understand it, but I'm guessing this was a Morton Downey Jr. phrase. Because he then says, zip it doesn't mean whip it, doesn't mean flip it, it means zip it.
Yeah, I did hear that and I was like, I just don't care.
I just said a lot of words that mean nothing.
Maybe if we were alive, well, we were alive, but like older in that time and cared what he was in, we would have understood.
I think I heard one of the commentators say that it was to do with him having a talk show, so maybe if he was getting interrupted, that would be his put down, which is, fine. Let me make no bones about it, shit. Mm-hmm. This bit, I will say actually,
yes.
Morton Downey Jr. was very good at being dislikable.
Yes,
very good. He's like Logan Paul-esque levels of dislikable.
Very good, yeah.
So after he says the words that mean absolutely nothing, Morton suggests Hot Rod is a transvestite. Hot Rod once again asks for no smoke. Morton blows it away before Hot Rod says, thanks, that's mighty white of you. Don't know what that means. Morton then blows smoke once more directly in his face.
It's just dire, honestly.
Hot Rod then says he's been convinced. You know, other than Morton Downey Jr.'s yellowish skin tone, he says, I'd like a cigarette. Can you get me a cigarette? As he's doing that, Hot Rod just walks out of shot a little bit. Morton Downey Jr. also makes out, well, he doesn't walk out of shot actually, sorry, he lifts the stool, which has got a very conveniently placed fire extinguisher.
Oh, because we all knew this was going to happen, right?
You say that, they actually did have a cigarette bin in the ring.
Then you need to have a fire extinguisher just in case it sets fire.
A lot of tartan around that time. Indoor arena as well.
It's a fire hazard.
Absolutely, health and safety would be on you. And Morton Downey Jr. turns his back to Hot Rod as Hot Rod's revealing this extinguisher, and he makes out like he's going to put the lit cigarette in the Hot Rod's face.
Okay.
As the gist, as soon as he turns round, probably the best timed fire extinguisher thing I've ever seen in professional wrestling. Hot Rod blasts him in the face with it. Morton Downey Jr. falls to the floor. Hot Rod gets a little bit of his money's worth out of it. Basically, he sodomizes him with it and then puts it directly in his face again. Then Morton tries to grab his leg out of frustration, and Hot Rod's thinking, I don't want to really hit you, but let's not do it. And then Hot Rod walks off, lots of cheers. Morton Downey Jr. goes to run after him, is held back by a sea of officials. I'm thinking, what's he going to do to get there? Hot Rod would kill him.
Exactly.
But that was genuinely about 10 to 15 minutes.
Too long.
Maybe 15 minutes.
Too long. This was so long that the next thing we're shown really fucking interested me because that was so boring.
Wow. And this is the name of the film that I was trying to remember.
Yes.
When we're talking about Hogan. No, Hogan's right. I said Hogan there.
Hogan.
It was halfway between Duggan and
Hogan.
Yes. Hogan.
Hogan.
Hadouken. And Hogan, we see his upcoming silver screen debut.
Oh, do you know, this I was all in for because that was utterly wank.
Against Zeus in No Holds Barred. Tiny Lister, who's no longer with us. And the film itself is something to behold. Really something to behold. Just so 80s, not good. Vince McMahon was credited as a producer on it. I think he funded the whole thing because he even made a joke on a future Raw. Saying that, that did well at the box office.
Was this like their first attempt at the Marine? As in, like, you know, they've done the Marine like many times with John Cena and The Miz and all that jazz.
No, it was just the first foray that WWF took into the cinematic and
obviously,
world.
You're going to put Hogan in it.
Yeah, of course you would.
Because
but
that's
it turns
where
out
the money is.
People really only want to see Hogan wrestle. They don't want to see him act because he's not. Fair. Let's be fair, he's not good at it. No. He's good at, in terms of the wrestling side, great. Acting, no, you're no Rock. I think what's interesting about the whole no holds barred endeavour is that this is when Vince and Hogan actually got really close and were considered each other good friends, and also when they started doing steroids together in the trailer for filming, because Hogan was obviously there because he was the star of the film, but Vince McMahon, because he was a producer financing the whole thing, was there a lot as well. That's when they started really ramping up the steroids together, because I think this was filmed in 88, released in 89, so and then it goes to the Dr. Zahorian steroid issues, and then 92, 93 for Vince's steroid trial, which was its whole other thing as well.
Okay.
So that's how that kind of coalesced all together. And then all I've got here is Mean Gene presents a sneak preview of No Holds Barred. I didn't put any action down because it is nuts.
I just didn't need to. We just saw the trailer, didn't mind it, because, as I've said 3 times, it just wasn't what had already happened.
That's fine.
But this gets a bit tiresome for me now, because we go from that into something else, into something else, into something else.
You might get a promo by the end of this page out of me, I don't know yet.
Honestly, I've got a point here saying I wonder if I'm going to get an impression at some point.
Again, she makes it sound like it's such a chore.
I like it.
Sean Mooney with Donald Trump. Mooney asked Trump what it's been like to host WrestleMania twice. Trump says, "It's been great. It's been fantastic bringing people to the city. Lots of traffic. It's been great."
My first point. I wonder if Scott is going to try and do a Trump impression.
Well, he tried.
Boom. Done.
Failed. But the thing that I thought was funny was that he said, bring lots of people here. Good. The traffic.
Yeah,
Why would you mention the traffic?
I know.
That's not a positive.
I was well busy on the road.
That's like a passive-aggressive, it's been great. Traffic, thanks.
Yeah.
It's been a great honour. He says the casino's been packed. Ventura then cuts a promo on Hogan, cutting in on his domain. Hollywood says he will lose to... What? Oh, no. I've completely misread what I've got here. So, sorry. Ventura then cuts a promo on Hogan, cutting in on his domain, that being Hollywood. And he says that he will lose to Savage later tonight. He then has a proper tantrum.
He really gets into it.
Gorilla starts laughing at him, which I thought was great. And he wipes Ventura's spit off his own mouth. So he goes, "Oh, no, I don't like that." Ventura, who stormed off like a child, who plans to run away from home, but only gets partway down the road, returns. He says he's a professional and he's paid the big bucks to stay, and I don't want to talk about it anymore.
I love that. I absolutely loved it. I'm going to hold my breath and stamp my feet and just carry on.
It's really funny.
Very funny.
We then get a video of how the Mega Powers united. The Mega Bucks was Andre and Ted DiBiase. They were known as the Mega Bucks. We see the end of WrestleMania 4 and hear Gorilla say, "What a threesome." That'd have been a hell of a show ender, wouldn't it? Right there.
Absolutely.
Miss Elizabeth getting spit roasted.
God.
SummerSlam main event, and Jess hesitates counting the 3 for Hogan, which I think was actually pretty well done.
Yes.
Survivor Series and the Mega Powers win. Then we shift to Saturday night's main event. So Savage chases off the Twin Towers, who are attacking Hogan and threatening Liz.
Of course.
On Superstars, we see Hogan return the favour. Then on the main event, which is different from Saturday night's main event, Savage, who flies through the ropes, obliterates Liz.
Oh my God, yeah, that looked brutal.
Hipped her face.
Considering that she is a waif.
Bless her. Oh, she's such a... Anyway. She gets obliterated. Hogan looks like she's died.
Yeah,
picks her up.
Just holds her and...
Why, God, why? And then just walks off backstage.
Yeah.
Savage is looking at them going, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
Hogan then does return. He reaches out for a tag. Savage is pointing at him, looks annoyed, then kind of looks like he's going to acquiesce. Slaps Hogan across the face.
Good.
Hogan has a oof look about him after that.
Of course.
We then see backstage, Liz is on a gurney. And Liz is on a gurney going, stop fight, stop, guys, stop fighting. Like just doing absolutely nothing. And then, sorry, I'm Meryl Streeping this.
Brilliant.
And then Hogan's going, please talk some sense into him, Liz, talk some sense. And as he does that, Savage, who's out of shot, runs in, WWF title, straight to the head. The Mega Powers have pre-exploded. I think it's fair to say at this point.
And at this point, I got a little bit excited because I was like, oh, yay. Does that mean it's finished? Does that mean it's the main event?
And then you realise there was 2 hours left.
It's not. Yes.
It's not quite 2 hours left.
It felt like it was.
Well, after some of the Dross we'd seen. Mean Gene.
Oh, honestly, it's just thing after thing.
Backstage with Hogan.
This made me tired.
Gene says, well, you were already tired. You were born tired.
Oh, no,
this was the second session.
Yeah, it is. But his promos make me exhausted. I feel like I take the energy drain from what he should feel.
I've only got one bit in.
Oh, okay. I'm
Air
ready.
quotations.
Are you going to do an impression? So, should volumes be turned down? Because I imagine it'd be loud.
Up to people. You're getting in my head about these now.
No, do it.
Mean Gene's with Hogan. Gene says how much has changed in a year, from helping Savage to fighting him. Hogan goes, "Well, you're exactly right, Mean Gene." And then he goes on to tell Mean Gene that he said, if someone had said to him in a year's time, you'd go from helping him to fighting him.
Yeah.
I'd have called you a liar, man. And then instead of saying, he says a really weird turn of phrase here. He says, if he said there would be locking horns and going head on head. What?
Head to head.
Head to head?
Head
Yeah,
on
head.
head.
On head is
Oh,
very
okay.
different.
It's like a cheap porno.
Well, quite. That's not one I'd buy. Well, I wouldn't buy any. It's all there free, isn't it, these days? Hogan said he should have seen it coming. Even though the Mania was ahead of the Madness, cheap pop, or not cheap pop, cheap shot, specifically at Machos, in like, you weren't on my level.
Yep.
Hulk believed Savage was on board with the 3 demandments: prayers, vitamins, and self-belief.
Demandments.
Demandments? Did you not realise that's what he actually called them?
No, this is exhausting. I feel like he's just shouting at me through the telly. No blinking. He takes the shallowest breaths of life, but is somehow capable of still shouting at
It's
you.
great, isn't it?
It's exhausting.
You tell me that. That's unbelievable. Hogan Hogan says the Macho couldn't carry the load and got jealous. Apparently Donald Trump sent seismologists out to make sure that Trump Plaza was safe after the 2 men erupt. What is Hogan's concern with, like, drowning everyone and blowing up the building?
He's very concerned about the safety of everybody, isn't he? With the buildings collapsing and
he was
swimming and saving family and...
Although this time, not so much. He said he might break the building, but, you know...
Just to warn you.
Yeah, just to warn you, you might die. Which is quite the statement to make. Hogan then gets gradually more excited, more sweaty, and more under the influence of coke as the promo progresses. Then from nowhere, Big John Studd is introduced as a special guest referee for the upcoming match, and Jess takes the opportunity to suggest Monsoon is a fat sack of crap.
Yeah.
So where'd you get Wade Gorilla?
Honestly.
Bit personal.
It's just very strange.
Now this is the match I was referring to earlier.
Yeah.
Again, I gave you a little bit of a pre-warning on this with just a sad face.
You did. But I watch these matches now, and I think I've put it in here. Also, my stomach is really badly rumbling, so if there's any weird noise, it's my belly.
That's once a show comment, that I think,
I'm
isn't
so
it?
hungry.
I can just about hear it, but I don't think it's coming through.
Good eye. Just in case. Yeah, like I googled, obviously, I've googled him before, but Andre, and like this is 4 years before he died. Yep. And I'm just like, that's not a lot of time. And you look at him, and I just feel sad. So like, the match is the match. It is what it is. But I feel bad saying anything bad about it because I just feel internally sad. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, I agree, because my takeaway emotion from this wasn't anger at the bad match. I was angry after the Jake Roberts match with Rick Rude at the prior WrestleMania.
Ridiculous.
This just made me sad. Yeah. It's not a good match, but at the same time, I can't go in and pretend and give too many leniencies from it because I have to evaluate and judge.
Yeah, we're judging it by what we're judging it on.
But again, the takeaway emotion for me was sadness. And do you know what's even more disconcerting? He's got another WrestleMania match.
Really?
Yeah, he's at the next one too.
Oh wow, so that's in only 3 years.
Without giving the specifics of it, it's a tag team match. Unfortunately, he does pretty much nothing in it. So the partner carries the load. Okay. He also appears at 7, I believe, but he doesn't. He's not
doesn't actually compete.
So we're nearly at the end of the run of Andre the Giant in matches. The match.
Yes.
Andre the Giant with Bobby the Brain Heenan. They're still together.
Yeah.
After this time.
Still going strong.
Yep. Versus Jake Roberts. They're going steady, some would say.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't know.
Against Jake the Snake Roberts with a special guest referee of Big John Studd.
Because
he's been away for a while as well. We haven't seen him since WrestleMania 2, I don't think.
I think so, yeah.
So he's returned. Obviously, he's got a pass with Andre. When those two are in the ring, Andre's already wagging his big sausage at John Studd, warning him.
There's already seeds.
Yep. Yeah, saying he's the boss.
Absolutely.
I won't do an Andre impression.
No.
Because it's just you'll say Dr. Zoidberg and then
yes.
I'll be ruined. Andre with sideburns for days.
Yes.
Resting his paw on Heenan as he heads to the ring.
Oh.
He's propping himself up, just even motoring to and from the ring. Jake looks like he means business, and we learn Andre is scared of snakes.
And that bag is the biggest I've seen it this whole time.
Yeah,
I imagine that Snake has been well fed. Well fed.
And sedated, I'd hope.
I would assume so.
Well, we see something later on which I really hope it was well sedated.
Okay.
Andre starts before the bell sounds, and I thought, maybe he's going to go for a quicker pace one again. He doesn't. He sends Jake into the buckles, and there's no pad. I agree with the commentators, because they're like, how did that happen? I have no idea when that happened.
It's when Jake's coming in and the camera doesn't focus on it.
Because we didn't see it.
But I was surprised there was no blade job here.
Oh, okay.
Because I thought, if you're going to do it, here's the perfect place to do it.
There's only one bit of blood on this show.
I know.
And I don't think
that was a blade.
I don't either. No.
But anyway, I just was surprised.
Yeah, no, fine. I never really considered it, actually. Yeah. The Giant is in rough shape. He has to hold on to the ropes for every move.
Yeah.
Chop, hold on to the ropes.
Yeah.
Punch, hold on to the ropes. Couple of chops knock Jake to the canvas. Ugly standing sleeper follows.
Oh, it's not really a sleeper hold, is it? Like you can tell by looking at it. There's no Jake is doing all the work here.
Jake's just got resting for Andre. Gorilla mentions David and Goliath. Jess points out that in that analogy, a bit of theology, David actually won with a foreign object. Mm-hmm. Gorilla asks if Damien resembles that remark. Such a weird choice of phrasing. Oh, and Jake goes for the bag, basically.
Yes, of course. Straight away.
This is great. Andre motors.
Oh, stumble runs.
Andre goes for it's like a comedy stumble run.
Yeah.
He runs over to make sure that Jake basically can't get the bag.
Yeah.
He then goes for a second ugly ass reverse hug. Jake tries to fire back but is swatted down. Mm-hmm. The Giant with his patented corner squash as he eyeballs John Studd, which I thought was quite good. Like, what are you going to do?
Yeah, it was quite funny. I don't know. To me also, it's the bit he does where he pushes his ass back right into they call it a bread box.
Bread basket.
At home we've always called it that. At home.
Stomach?
Like bread basket. Always, and people are like,
it must be
a northern thing, surely.
Because I say bread basket, but I get it from wrestling.
Oh, see, my mum has always said that.
Is your mum a secret Andre the Giant?
My grandma was a big wrestling fan.
Is that how you got into it?
Big wrestling fan. My grandma freaking loved it.
Really?
Yeah.
So what? So I don't know what her jam was.
Barely talked to me about it, really.
Yeah.
But I just remember my mum continuously saying, like, because obviously the grandma's not here, but like just being like, she used to love it. Every Saturday it'd always be on. Like, she used to get really invested.
That's awesome.
And I was like, oh, okay, maybe this is where it's from.
Oh, I love that.
I imagine that's where we've ended up with the bread basket coming from.
Yeah, maybe.
Because no other fucker I talk to.
That's great. Oh, I love that.
Yeah,
I genuinely really like that.
When this is so behind the curtain, but my nephew, when he just jumps all over me like I'm a fucking bouncy castle. And I was like, oh, right in the bread basket. And my sister's partner once was like, what are you talking about? And I was like, this bit, effectively your gunt. Like, that bit. And he was like, oh, you and your sister are weird. I was like, yes, we are.
Well, that's a separate point.
But so I think that's where it must have come from. My grandma must have passed that down the line from wrestling knowledge.
Because I use a phrase that was talking about someone who's fat, mainly myself. I'd say they're a bit soggy around the bread basket. But yeah, I mean, my family... The only person who had a slight interest in wrestling when he was younger was my grandpa. Mm-hmm. But it was more of the proper, real-looking wrestling, almost bordering on amateur-looking wrestling from like the 40s. We're talking here. I remember vividly watching I think it was an episode of Nitro, WCW Nitro, and it had a match between Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage. And my grandpa was wetting himself laughing at the selling that both of them were doing. He said, look, he's been hit and he's walking around holding his stomach, wincing. And then 4 seconds later, he's fine again. And he was really enjoying it. I remember thinking, a little bit ruining it for me, Grandma.
Bless him. But yeah, it's the bit where he effectively shoves his arse in that area. And I'm like, oh, that would whinge you.
Yes, it very much would. And then we get choke time for the Snake Man. Andre goes to get advice from Heenan before. So I thought this bit was interesting. I don't know if he'd missed a cue or something, or if it was intended, because Heenan's trying to get his attention.
Yes.
And Andre goes over, puts his head down, kind of half nods, goes back, and then does the flying, which I think is a risky move. If you're struggling to stay up, that had me concerned. But it looked safe, actually, to give him credit. Looked fine.
Gorilla at some point soon describes Andre's hands as ham hocks.
Ham hocks, yeah.
And I was so damn hungry watching this. It's all I could fucking think about. I was livid. I was like, no, I've gone from being tired to now starving.
Love that.
Awful.
Roberts then gets stood on by the Giant.
That's not going to feel good.
No. I put, oh, this is sad. Jake fires back and clotheslines Andre into his tangled rope spot.
Of course.
Jake vigorously chokes away at the Giant, which is good, makes sense, take advantage of it, before teasing getting the bag once more.
Yeah.
This is probably my favourite bit of the match.
Okay.
Where Jake goes to tease and get the bag. Heenan gets on the apron, unties the one hand. Jake hasn't spotted it, walks back. Boom.
Yes, that is good. Actually.
Andre grabs him by the throat. So, as I said, Heenan's freed the arm. He gets big headbutt because big men do big headbutts.
Did you know?
Yeah.
Andre was born on the 19th of May.
Oh, I wonder who else was born on the 19th of May.
Good day, that, isn't it?
It is a good day.
It's only 42 years later I was born, but,
Yes.
you know, I clearly was Googling him at the time, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, share the birthday with Andre.
Good day to be born, that.
Yeah. So if anyone wants to send Holly a birthday present, then we know exactly when that date is due. We then get the double trap hold, which means Andre is double fucked.
Mm-hmm.
Headbutt to the spine, and this must end. This has to end.
Mm-hmm.
Please stop. The Giant shoulder tackles Jake in the corner, but catches a knee and a second. Andre then just wilts to the floor.
Yeah.
He struggles to get back up and chops Jake, who falls to the floor.
Yeah.
Big punch on the apron, which has Roberts fold down in like segments.
Mm-hmm.
And to give Roberts credit, he is selling very well.
He
here.
is working his arse off.
He's
here.
doing the match of two people.
Mm-hmm.
And again, like I said, we taint everything we say, but we remember Andre's condition, but at the same time we're just looking at the match, and it's not good.
You have to take it as it comes.
But that isn't for lack of trying from Jake. Jake's doing everything he can to work around the limitations. Jake has now grabbed the bag. Andre then, for some reason, shoves Stud. Stud returns a shove back.
Immediate DQ, surely.
And then Andre, I put, nearly collapses in segments off that shove. This is ludicrous. The $1 Million Man hits Roberts and steals Damien in the ring.
Honestly.
In the ring. Andre chokes the ref as Jake retrieves his snake from DiBiase, who drops the snake bag on the floor.
Uh-huh.
Jake then gets the bag, brings it back, and said, "This is pro wrestling, folks. What are we watching?"
Uh-huh.
Returning to the ring, Damien is unleashed in the ring, and Andre bails. What I liked about this...
I've never seen him move faster.
No, absolutely. But the way that Snake comes out of the bag and is immediately...
Yes.
I don't like snakes, but I was like, that's quite a good visual, actually.
No thanks.
And I didn't see the snake bleeding from the mouth, so I was relatively comfortable this time on that. Oh, and by the way, Andre has been disqualified. Fucking garbage, this.
Yes.
And I feel sorry for Jake. I do.
Yeah.
Because he's had 2 stinkers in back-to-back WrestleManias.
Yeah.
And granted, he can take a portion of the blame for WrestleMania 4.
Yes.
Having to fill the time and not doing particularly well with it. But this one, I can't give him any criticism, really, to be honest. It was bad in spite of
what
him.
he had to do, he did very well.
Yes. What would you give this star rating?
Sorry, I just literally boob poked the microphone. That was unfortunate.
Lucky microphone.
I gave it 0.5. I have to give that little 0.5 to Jake, I think. I knew it wasn't going to be amazing because of where we are in time at this point, but I would like to see Jake in a good match.
Jake has had many good matches, but I haven't
yet seen them.
The one actually from, was it WrestleMania 2?
Oh yeah,
George,
the first
George
time I saw him
Orwell?
wasn't George Orwell.
Was it George
Orwell? The author?
No, something like Orwell.
It was very similar to
George
the author's
Osborne.
name, wasn't it? I can't
something
remember.
like that.
But that wasn't bad. But I'd love to see him in find out what his best match was as rated by. Oh, why are you smiling?
No,
find out what his best match was rated by whoever.
Yeah.
And watch that.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
If I work the show around it, my guess is it might be one with Savage.
Okay.
That would be my instinct.
Interesting.
He also has, and it's a WrestleMania match as well. It's a horrible stipulation match, but in terms of this type of stipulation, which I'm being deliberately vague here to not give anything away for you, it's probably the best version of this kind of match you'll ever see.
Okay.
And that is on WrestleMania. And it's, again, people either loved this or hated it. Most hated it.
Is it so it's a WrestleMania
It's a
coming?
WrestleMania match. I think it's WrestleMania 7.
Oh, okay.
So it's a couple away. But he worked miracles around this match.
Mm-hmm.
The score rating that Dave Meltzer gave it, -3.
Okay.
I would say 0.
Yeah, just
yeah.
Yeah. Never mind.
I could drift into negative territory, but I feel like Jake
Cool.
Roberts balances it out, and I'll just call it 0.
Yeah.
Sean Mooney in the cheap seats now. Now this guy.
This guy needs a punch in the face.
This guy. Sean makes the cardinal error of engaging a fan and asks what he thinks of the show. Oh, Jake's the best! Jake's the best! Come on, Jake! Jake, I love Jake! Jake, woo! Mooney, I guess he's going to say it all. Back to you guys. What the
Honestly.
We'll just bypass that because we...
Yeah, I can't.
Tony Schiavone, backstage with Sensational Sherry.
Is she really fucking tall, or is he really fucking small?
I don't think he's particularly tall, but I think
assume
she's got heels on. Yeah, but she's not a short woman. She's probably...
No, probably my
I was going to say
height.
probably your height, to be honest.
So she's probably pushing about 5'10" in heels,
Yeah.
effectively, and he's probably about a 5'7", 5'8".
Something like that. This is interesting. So you don't recognise... You've heard me talk about Sensational Sherry, but...
Yes, I've heard of her, and I also know upcoming things that happen, because obviously I've been Googling Mr. Savage.
Yes.
But I've not seen her.
Yes, you have.
And also, where are her eyebrows?
Yeah, the eyebrows is an awful job.
Horrendous.
But just to clarify, you have seen her.
In previous WrestleManias? Where?
Peggy Sue?
Fuck off. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
I was hoping you wouldn't Google that.
No.
I took a chance that you wouldn't.
No.
But yeah, she was the honky tonk man's squeeze. Peggy
God.
Sue. But she was a really good female wrestler, certainly at this time. She was, as you could tell in this interview, she already mentions that she was a former WWF Women's Champion, and whenever she's ready, she was going to take it back from Rockin' Robin.
Of course.
She can have a sing if she wants as well.
They could sing it out.
Well, she sings on Shawn Michaels' theme music later down the line, so why not? Before he did it, she did it. Her eyebrows were a state, because later on she's quite an attractive woman, I think. But this, I look at it and go, it was almost like an entirely different person.
Yeah.
And this interview was awkward. I thought it was really awkward.
I've only put one comment.
What'd you get?
Leave Miss Elizabeth alone.
Sherry says Rockin' Robin is a terrible singer and wrestler, and she'll get the title back. She then takes a shot at Liz and calls herself too hot and vicious. Very awkward. Do not come at the Queen.
Yeah. Leave her alone.
That was the extent of my notes on that segment. We then go to another match.
Oh, God, there's so many matches.
15 match card, this.
So many.
I put them down as what the tag team would have eventually become known as, but they weren't yet known as it here.
Okay.
So Greg the Hammer Valentine and the Honky Tonk Man.
The Honky Hammer.
No, not that.
Oh, okay.
No, Rhythm and Blues.
Do you not like mine better?
I don't want to comment on what you just said, I'll be honest. It sounds like a kid's... let's leave that. So Rhythm and Blues I've got here.
Oh, okay.
With Jimmy Hart versus... I'll go with Saturday and Marengo. I'm not going with the Honky Hammer.
Well, the Rockers earlier, all my notes say Rockets.
Rockets.
Because autocorrect screws me.
Yeah.
Oh,
Let's blame autocorrect. So they're coming out with Jimmy Hart and they're going up against one of our favourites, the Hart Foundation.
But the Mouth of the South can honestly go away, because it just drives me mad. There's so many mullets. So many mullets.
Well, pleasing.
And this is the hair. This is the hair that I just can't make peace with
specifically?
I can't. No, it's Valentine's hair.
Oh.
I think in the last one I described it as being similar to what my auntie had.
As did I.
But
Auntie Janice specifically.
This is even worse. It's even more short on top, long and straight down. Party in the front, business in the back.
I can't articulate, but it's the way it kind of hangs on the fringe, isn't it? Like spiky, but not.
I'd rather give it. I just can't do it. But
I still think he just looks like a female competitor from Bullseye back in the day.
Oh my God, yeah. And a speedboat.
Just needs a shell suit.
Yeah, it's so funny. But yeah, and my first comment just is Jesse on commentary going, we've got two contrasting stars here. Yeah, okay, thanks. Oops.
Wow, you're coming at Jess now, are you?
I was very tired and over it by this point.
I feel like you've been tired throughout this WrestleMania.
I was fucking tired.
This is the first time, though, that we hear Bret Hart's music, and it is a much welcome addition.
Yes.
Great. Less welcome is Jimmy Hart's microphone and regrown mullet. Microphone, loudspeaker, whatever you want to call it. Megaphone.
And you can hear it as well.
Holly is in full rage.
Yeah, I was.
I've taken a page out of your book on this one.
Oh.
HTM and Hitmen. Brilliant. Fucked up the next one after that. HTM and Hitman start things off.
Yeah.
Brett escapes a body slam attempt and gets a 2 off an O'Connor roll. He follows up with an atomic drop and a reverse atomic drop.
Yes.
HTM tags.
Oh, I'm so happy you're doing little
I just don't want to keep saying honky. And then as soon as I stop saying honky, you say honky hammer.
Honky hammer. Oh, it's a good name.
It's a name, I'll give you that. Valentine runs right into an inverse atomic drop and a drop kick. Anvil's tagged in. Brett slingshots Anvil into the ring.
Love this.
Where he shoulder tackles the hammer, which was very nice indeed.
I love that.
They should do it more.
Brilliant.
You don't see it anymore. Bring it back.
Brilliant. Yeah.
I don't think we see it anymore. I can't think of anyone that does it.
Or any current tag teams that do that.
Because when we saw it, the first time I think we saw it was at WrestleMania 3, where they yanked Danny Davis over the top rope. And we both went, ooh.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Bring it back. Mm-hmm. And I've written Anvil. I nearly said Avril, as in the singer.
Okay.
Anvil laughs like a maniac, as he's wont to do, and bites Valentine's head. Disqualification?
Well, yeah, it should be. But in this case, no.
Tag, and Brett hits a backbreaker, but misses a second rope elbow.
And is called the excellence of execution at near the same time.
Yes.
And I was like,
Well,
I mean, I'd agree with it, but it was just a little poor timing.
And a lot of people make the common mistake of thinking that Gorilla Monsoon, that was... let's put my words back in. A lot of people make the common misconception, or have the common misconception, that Gorilla Monsoon first used the excellence of execution with Bret Hart. He didn't. He definitely used it on an earlier WrestleMania. I think he actually used it with the Dragon. But Bret Hart is the one that took that nickname and ran with it. I don't know if it was something that was a conscious decision by him to go like, oh, I like that, keep calling me that, or if it just stuck from commentary and they went from there.
Who knows?
2 elbow drops and a fist drop by the hammer.
Of course, because he fucking loves an elbow drop.
He does. HTM in, and Brett gets double teamed in the corner, so to speak. Snapmare and fist drop before a fireman's carry slam, which I very much liked.
And the ref is paying no attention whatsoever to the actual matchup. He's just having a bit of a Barney over in the corner.
With Anvil.
Fucking watch the match. I was angry by this part, I'm sorry.
No, it's not.
All of my notes are now angry.
Well, good job we're near the latter part of the show.
Yep.
Hammer in and connects with the top rope axe handle. Valentine with an elbow to the back of the neck, and I'm already laughing because of how many times we've written elbow. Hits an inverse atomic drop. Dick headbutt because hammer. Commentary starts going on again about the hammer needing time to warm up. Although it's halved. Last year he needed 15 minutes to warm up. He's down to 7 or 8 minutes, so he's got his regime working.
He's doing alright then.
Again, warm up before you come out, bitch. What are you doing?
It's so funny.
HTM with the shake, rattle and roll, and we finally see the move.
I was going to say, this is the first time we've got to see it, but it's great, but it's a bit long-winded.
But even Jess jumps on this one. The Moron then tags back out. He doesn't go for a pin.
Yeah, that is odd to me.
And even Gorilla's like, when you hit your move, your patented move, you finish them.
Yeah.
After moving his... What in God's name have I done there? After moving his...
Ooh.
I can't even work out what I've written there. It looks like I put Stingward.
That's interesting.
No, shin guard. There we go. After moving his shin guard
doesn't
on
he?
his
Ready
leg,
for the figure 4.
He does. Go for a what's a Stingwad? It's a Stingwad now.
Stingwad.
Valentine looks for the figure 4, but the Hitman avoids it. Laboured gutbuster by Valentine. He needs 2 attempts to try and pick him up.
I don't like that either.
No?
They don't look nice. I know it's not meant to.
He also picks him up by the sausage.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's a bit.
Have a little cup before, you know.
Absolutely. HTM back in, but Hart connects with the crossbody.
Yep.
He's kicked off, and Momentum takes him to the floor, which I thought was quite nice,
actually.
Hammer with a number of elbows.
Of course.
Brett escapes out the back door on a body slam and scrambles to make the tag. Valentine wants no part of Anvil, who hits a drop kick and a shoulder block. I'm like combining my words here because I'm writing.
Oh, all right, Gorilla.
Thank you. HTM gets a drop kick too. Honky stops the pin. Anvil ducks a Greg clothesline and connects with one of his own for a 2 count.
For a big guy, like Anvil is a big guy.
Yeah, he is.
He can fucking move.
Yeah, got a bit of agile.
Again, just made me like them as a tag team even more. Because I'm like, again, another big guy that's capable of moving.
Yeah, he's got a good bit of agility. Certainly for a man of that size, as you said.
And most of me seeing him, I know him obviously because of his daughter.
Yep.
But most of the times I've seen him have been from Total Divas and stuff like that.
Was he actually on that?
Well, yeah, but only because she was. Like, they do a lot of family stuff, and it documented actually quite a lot of his struggles in later life, which was quite interesting. So I only know him as being massive. So then to see him actually, like, doing this, I'm like, fucking hell, brilliant. So yeah, I just quite like it.
Do you know how he got the nickname The Anvil?
No.
Basically, it was simple as the name would suggest. He was throwing an anvil. So in Canada, as part of like a strength test, you'd see how far you could throw an anvil weight.
Yeah.
I think he won it, and he got known as being the Anvil.
Fair.
So Jim the Anvil Neidhart. That's how that nickname came into being a thing. I've completely lost where I am on my notes here, but I will find it. No, all good. For a 2 count. Valentine then thumbs the eye and tags HTM, who misses a fist drop.
Mm-hmm.
Brett tagged in and hits a body slam. Connects with a second rope elbow, which is patented Bret Hart. You're laughing. What have you got?
Sorry, it's before the elbow. I've got a slam honky down.
Slam honky down.
That sounds like, it should be a song lyric rather than actually
from
what's
the honky
happening.
hammer.
Hey, don't knock it.
After the second rope elbow drop, we get a suplex, but the hammer makes the save. Now this is a mess.
Oh.
Honky scrambles for the megaphone, but Anvil tosses it to Hart, who cracks him in the shoulder with it, really.
Well, yes.
He covers, and although Valentine hits Hart at 2, it's still counted as a 3 count.
Isn't it? Isn't that a bit odd?
Really odd.
And I actually went back, because I went back again to the megaphone bit, which they then fucking showed you on a replay, and I was like,
and
great.
It doesn't look good in the slow motion.
No. And I was like, hang on, this makes no sense. But I don't care.
It was over.
Oh, yeah, I don't care. And
the right team won.
I enjoyed it. They won. I like them. Fine.
What did you score this one?
2.5.
2.25.
Oh,
see, you're back on the glory trail. I nearly said that.
Wow.
2.25. Yeah, I'm happy with that score.
Yeah, fine.
Got no issues with it.
Fine.
We then get a highlight reel of the Royal Rumble pose down.
Oh.
You'd think this would be right up your street.
You would assume it would, wouldn't you? So would I. I'll be honest. And then I saw it and I was like, I just want this to be done.
Warrior and Rude are having a pose off, and Holly has very mixed emotions, is what I've got here, because I knew you'd be frustrated, but the idea of it you like.
I did have to get my head back in the game, because I also knew what was coming. I was like, come on, focus.
Rude jumps Warrior with a flexi bar, and then chokes him with it.
Of course.
Warrior then attacks a load of agents and sprints backstage. Don't know why he's suddenly attacking them.
Yeah, I don't understand. And they were like, oh, he must not know what's going on.
He knows enough to run out the ring and go backstage.
Oh, exactly. Crazy.
I hope he got fined. We then get the porn star music, the stripper music, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
Rick Rude comes to the ring.
I love that when this happens, it focuses on all the women in the crowd, and there's one lady that just has immensely permed hair. She's having the time of her fucking life.
The brunette.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that had a life of its own, her hair.
Didn't it just?
Imagine the amount of, not Tresemme, Elnet.
Light a cigarette near that, you're all going up in
flames.
Is
it Elnet hairspray?
There is an Elnet.
There you go.
Oh my gosh.
It's in a gold can, is it not?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. Other hairsprays are available. That just happens to be the one that the women in my life have used in the past.
I see. I also would just like to bring a comment to, why does he need help getting undressed? All he's wearing is a dressing gown.
Because it adds to the whole
no, it does
package.
Not for me.
No?
If I'm... no, because what I was going to say would not work out. But, right.
It's essential you say this now.
If I'm with a
her
guy,
face, by the way.
And then they're like, firstly, in a dressing gown. Okay.
Leisure Suit Larry.
But, like, if they're taking it off and they need help taking it off, it just shatters the illusion for me. The strippers that I've seen have not needed help getting undressed.
No, although you did offer.
Yeah, but that's a different story.
Oh yeah, there's a story there.
No, keep moving.
I'll ask you after the recording.
No.
The camera cuts to several different women in the crowd, which said eye-banging the ravishing one.
Yep.
One lady in particular had hair louder than Liberace's wardrobe.
Oh.
So big and wide. We're back on the horse fanny again.
Big and wide.
And then he says, all you high-rolling Atlantic City sweat hogs.
Absolutely.
Sweat hogs was a big thing for
Okay.
Rick Rude in his vernacular. Great line. Also, Rude has gear of the night, hands down.
Those tights
Hands down.
are sprayed on.
But the artwork on
Amazing.
it. Intercontinental title around the front.
And-
So, pink spandex.
Yes.
Intercontinental title airbrushed on the front.
Yes.
Ultimate Warrior on the
So
arse.
good. So good.
This is kind of a reference I made as well from WrestleMania
Yes.
4, where I said he was known for having this kind of, like almost a precursor to Rob Van Dam's
Yes.
airbrush design stuff.
Because it does look a little bit like graffiti-esque.
Yes.
Very good. But these tights did... my brain constantly was like, gosh, his legs are so slim.
Yes.
Like, I feel like it really
Skip leg day.
emphasised how lean his legs were.
Yeah. I mean, he was a lean dude. I mean,
He was in shape, like amazingly
Mhm.
lean and muscular and toned. But, I couldn't stop looking at how slim his legs were in comparison to the person he's with, which I don't think really helped the situation.
Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah.
I thought you meant Bobby Heenan at first. I was like, I haven't seen Heenan's legs, but we do see
We
them
do
later.
see them later.
Warrior then sprints to the ring so fast the footage distorts.
Mm-hmm.
And I've realised now why I liked him as a kid. I think the reason why kids liked him is because he's a massive toddler.
He's got that energy.
He's got toddler vibes.
Yes.
Who are paint. So if you put a kid and like, right, you're going to be a
Just
pro
run
wrestler.
around.
This is what they would do.
Yeah.
They would run around. They'd shake the ropes. They'd face
Yeah.
paint. They'd want to do that and have like tassels and
Yeah,
stuff and be
fair.
colourful. He's a massive kid come to life,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like that engages the children because they go, like, "Oh, I'd like to do that."
Yes.
He's a massive toddler. That's what I just realised, and I'm not saying that.
No,
even as
I
an
know
insult.
I know what you're trying. You're saying
Yeah.
effectively.
And
Like it gives kids someone to look at and go, "That's what I would do,"
Yeah.
or "That's who
Whereas
I."
Hogan, you're like, "Oh, I just like Hogan."
Yeah.
You don't think I'm going to be Hogan.
No,
Whereas I think kids look at Ultimate Warrior and go,
I could.
I could do that.
Yeah. All the time though, I was watching when he does that rope shake thing and
Yeah.
leans back. My head just goes, "Imagine if you let go." By
I mean, it kind of
accident.
kill the gimmick, wouldn't it?
Well, yeah, exactly. But in my head, I'd be like, "Well, I'm not doing that because what if I let go? What if I've got sweaty hands?"
True.
It'd be so fucking embarrassing.
I think the worst part of it is that even though the run to the ring is cool, it's different.
Yeah.
It makes him blow out the arse.
Yes.
It really, really ruins it, doesn't it, for him?
Yeah.
And he struggles in the match.
Mhm.
There's one particular moment he struggles quite badly in, but without giving the game away,
Yes.
one of his better matches.
Okay.
I think it's one of his better matches anyway.
Mhm.
So yes, Rick Rude with Bobby the Brain Heenan
Mhm.
versus the Ultimate Warrior, and it is for the Intercontinental title,
Yes,
of course.
it is.
Warrior hits the ring and misses a clothesline, allowing Rude to hit a knee. However,
That was very funny, but good.
he needs the title belt because it's
Very
still
good.
around Warrior's
Yes.
waist, and then he sells the knee.
Doesn't he just?
Big right hand from Warrior, who twice launches Rude into the corner with shoves.
This looked...
Make it 3. Brilliant.
Yeah, it was done so well on both parties.
I agree.
Very
Both men had a part to play in this, and they both did it well. The crowd are pumped.
Mhm.
Not as much as Rude and Warrior are pumped, but that's different reasons. And Rude is whipped hard into the opposite corner
Yeah.
3 times.
Mm-hmm.
Bear hug by the Warrior,
Boo.
and Rude goes limp. Holly, if you could kindly do the honours for this one, please.
I'm asleep. Oh, I'm awake.
There it is. So you didn't actually have this written down?
No.
Wow, that's normally something I bank on you having as well on
I
this.
know. But
You
that
must have
can
been
tell
tired. Have we covered the third snack yet?
No, I don't think I actually
Okay.
ate on this last one.
All right, okay. I heard 3 snacks and we've only heard 2 so far. So
Yeah, definitely there was more in there. Oh, Skittles came in at some point.
nice.
Yeah,
Tasting the rainbow.
because I still can't eat chocolate either, so
Of course
sad
you
time.
can't. Of course you can't. So Rude goes limp. Holly does the honours. Poke to the eyes.
That does not sound right, by the way, but fine. Carry on.
Top rope missile drop kick from Rude lands perfectly, but doesn't even get a count of 1. Body slam by Warrior, and a second before he goes back to the bear hug. You can boo for this one as well if you want.
Boo.
Referee, well, this annoys me. Referee twice prevents Rude from poking the eyes, but he gets free on the 3rd attempt, although it is quite amusing where he's clearly about to go for the eye
Yeah.
poke and the ref grabs him. I don't believe that the ref is strong enough to stop Rick Rude doing whatever he damn well pleases in that
Absolutely
situation.
not.
Warrior bites him. DQ.
Yes. So stupid. My next 3 notes are one words. This is dull.
Okay.
And I was annoyed about it. I think it picks back up, but this bit for me in particular, I was just like...
We have just had 2 bear hugs, to be fair.
Exactly.
After the bites, he hits a back body drop. Warrior goes for the running splash, but Rude gets the knees up. What was quite good about that is that Rude landed awkwardly. Warrior had to go from one rope and go, no, this isn't right. Hit another rope, and then you'd believe that Rude would have enough time to go, oh, he's coming, knees up. So it was unintentional, but I think it actually worked very well.
Yeah, it did.
Rude connects with a beautiful pile driver as Holly winces, which nearly got a 3 count.
Honestly, horrendous. And I've got a comment in there saying that Jesse said that... I can't remember who he's talking about. One of them. He says he's got $1 million body and a 10-cent brain.
Well, he's definitely talking about Ultimate Warrior.
That's just like, that's worth noting down.
Because he loves Rick Rude. So we then get a chin breaker. I never know whether to call it a chin breaker or a jaw breaker. It depends on where it looks like it hits. So I've gone with chin breaker on this one. Rude can't swivel the hips, which devastates the ladies, as Jess rightly says. Clothesline now to an almost entirely paint-free Warrior.
Yeah.
2 counts. Ugly side Russian leg sweep gets a 2 as well. So Rude knows how to hit the move. I don't know if Warrior knows how to take it because it doesn't look good. As we hear me turn the page.
Oh.
Rude then stretches out Warrior's arms. I don't really know what to call that hold, but he reaches the ropes.
As being a chest, like a chest stretch, I assume.
Yeah, or like a
shoulder, a traps pinch. I don't really know.
But then Warrior gets to the ropes and shakes himself free, as I do in the men's room. Warrior ducks a clothesline and hits a flying shoulder tackle and drives Rude face first into the canvas on 2 occasions.
Yeah.
Warrior beats his chest and hits a backbreaker. He tries to power him back up, but loses his balance and stumbles across the ring, dropping Rude in the corner and nearly falling out the squared circle himself.
That alone looked like it could have been quite dangerous, because one of you's not got the chance to put any hands down, nothing. It's the next bit that I just can't.
Did you hear what they had an interaction? I'm pretty sure they did here.
Okay.
I think you hear Warrior actually say sorry.
Oh really?
It's rude. I think you hear Rude say it's alright.
Okay, no, I didn't hear that.
I think that's what I heard.
I'm probably still at this point going, ooh.
Because Warrior nearly kills himself more than he kills Rude, because you can tell he's trying to pull Rude up.
Yes.
And then lets go when he knows he's going to hit the rope, so Rude can kind of have a bit more say of how he falls.
But it'll be him that's
head planting,
guillotined into wherever.
Exactly. Clothesline by Warrior. Hang on a sec. So what bit have you got here? The next bit you didn't like?
So Rude is on the apron. He's 360'd out or something.
Oh, okay, so I'm not there yet.
No.
Fair enough. I think I know what you're talking about. So, clothesline by the Warrior before corner whips and charging shoulder tackle. Rude dodges a stinger splash in the corner. Rick then looks for the Rude awakening, but Warrior powers out and hits a clothesline. Rude slides out the ring and Warrior follows, but that's just like a little decoy. Nothing really happens of note there. Back in the ring and Warrior clotheslines Rude to the floor, kind of, but he lands on the apron. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's just dawned on me. As basically Warrior goes to suplex Rude back into the ring, Heenan yanks the leg out from Warrior. I would say a bit more forcefully than he probably intended.
Too much.
And Rude is pretty much dropped on his head.
Straight on his head.
It's like a brain buster!
I watched it twice, and then they slow-mo it, and how he is not actually properly fucking injured from this, I don't fucking know.
He then falls on top of Warrior in his position. Heenan's still holding on to the legs. That's enough for the 1, the 2, the 3, and we have, ladies and gentlemen, a new Intercontinental Champion.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I forgot that Rude won this match.
Oh, did you?
Because I know there's a match that's coming up at the next WrestleMania which involves Warrior still with the Intercontinental title. So I was like, oh. But he obviously wins it back at a later date.
Yeah.
As soon as this match ends, Warrior chases Heenan around the ring. We're not quite done yet. So Heenan's trying to escape and then inexplicably does run into the ring, which I never understand. If you're trying to escape,
you're not going into
peg. Exactly. Peg it away. And this exchange right here specifically is why Heenan doesn't like working with the Warrior.
Oh, I see.
So Warrior goes up, punches Heenan. There's nothing wrong with that bit. Warrior's drained.
Yes.
All his energy has been depleted. That's before the match started.
So don't do this next bit.
He goes to gorilla press him. He manages to balance Heenan on his head. You can see Heenan's ready to push off on the shoulders as well for the
It's
lift.
like he gives a little nod as well at some point. And goes, now.
Warrior lifts him. Obviously doesn't have the strength to get him to full extension. Just kind of lets go. Heenan falls to the canvas.
Yeah.
Dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Heenan was actually hurt as a result of this, but it was another instance where he's like, I don't feel safe working with the Warrior. He's a risk. He's dangerous. I think specifically the bit that Heenan really disliked, not in this moment, was he just got waffled by Warrior when it wasn't expected as part of how the match was unfolding.
Mm-hmm.
And he went backstage and Heenan said to him, why did you do that exactly? And Warrior said, I just don't know what I'm going to do when I'm out there. And
yes, you told me this,
And he said, well, in that case, I don't know where I'm going to be.
Yeah.
Basically, not near you is the takeaway from that. You might have a different takeaway on this match or a final result. So I'm interested to know, what did you think about it?
What did I think about it?
This match, how did you think it went?
Like, to be honest, I've not seen many Ultimate Warrior matches. So, like, when you say, oh, this is one of his better ones, I don't know.
You only got the Hercules one to compare it with.
So I mean, score rating wise, I gave it a 2.5, like proper mid card, because it had actually most of what I like in it. There was 2 moments. The neck thing really just stresses me out too much.
Brainbuster type thing.
Just like Rude on his head. Like I don't like that. That's obviously what wasn't. I don't think it was meant to happen like that either.
No.
Obviously,
it
because
wasn't
you wouldn't willingly do
as
that.
Ropey as it did.
But as a whole, I enjoyed the combination of those two together. And also, I think near the beginning, when Rude is getting ragged around in the corners, lovely.
Very good.
Yeah.
So what score did you say again?
2.5. What? Stop.
2.5.
Really? Oh my god.
And I agree with 2.5.
Wow. I'm well impressed.
Yep, I thought it was good. That's where I'd have landed on this one as well.
Amazing.
You've hit a few in a row again.
I'm well happy about that. I just don't fucking know how, I'll tell you.
Going to a different match here.
I was so ready for this pay-per-view to be done.
This one wasn't aware was on the card, so I'll be honest, did get a little bit annoyed when I saw this, because I knew that the co-main event, what it was, and I knew the main event, so I thought we were two matches away.
That's all I want to see. That's all I want to see.
Quite right.
Mm-hmm.
This one, however, we get Bad News Brown against Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Bad News walks to the ring and is showered in booze.
Yeah.
And then Hacksaw showers us in hose. Yeah. You heard that. I'm warning you now. If there's a Duggan match coming, brace yourself. Based upon the last time we saw this, as Duggan is carrying Old Glory, this must be a flag match by definition. Because that was the last criteria. I think WrestleMania 2 was it?
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Corporal Kirshner.
God.
Bad News strikes as soon as the bell sounds when Duggan enters the ring.
Doesn't even get to put his flag away.
No, he doesn't. Many right hands. Many right hands.
Not much wrestling, but many right hands.
Corner whip by Brown, but he misses the charge. Duggan fires back and hits a crap clothesline, if I'm being honest, but I don't think Bad News sold it particularly well. Bad News goes to leave as Monsoon says, quite a walk from here to Harlem, I'll tell you that. 1, you definitely haven't walked that far. 2, I don't think he was intending on walking to his house.
No.
I mean, it would be a long walk, yeah.
Yeah.
Gorilla. Used all his best material early in the night,
I know.
that's what I'll say.
And we've not had another single It's Happening.
Only one. And I caught it, so I'm quite happy with that.
Yeah.
Hacksaw then slingshots Brown back in the ring. We still like that.
Yeah.
And calls him a son of a bitch. Don't know if you caught that.
No, I didn't.
He hose 7,000 times more before ducking too early and taking a right hand.
Yeah.
Hacksaw then no-sells the buckle. Hose then takes a headbutt and swings at the air, which I like. I like the swinging at the air.
Yeah, I mean, it's amusing, but just...
He then He no-sells the buckles once more, but can't avoid an eye rake. Oh. I get the sense these two don't have a plan.
I'll be honest, yes, because even Jesse pipes up soon and makes a comment about it.
I don't think I have that, so feel free to shout out when you think that's the case.
Well, I will, but the point I've got before that, I don't know where we are, but it happens. When Duggan's in the corner, Bad News, he does something, but accidentally basically puts his hand down Duggan's pants.
I don't have that noted down, so...
I mean, it's obviously an accident, but it doesn't go all the way in, but I don't know what he's trying to do, like grab him, and I think he's trying to grab the tights or whatever, but hand just slips right in.
Brilliant. And what does Jess say to that?
Oh, it's not even on that, but he says, no wrestling holds.
He's not wrong.
You're not wrong.
There's
not
one
wrong,
move
Jesse.
in this match I like. I haven't got there yet, I don't think. Shoulder tackles by Duggan in the corner. Bad News fires back with rights and a headbutt. On the outside, Hacksaw is sent flying into the ring post. Back in the ring they go. Bad News, this is the move that I wanted to see and it didn't actually hit, so I can't even credit that.
Ooh, the Ghetto Blaster.
Bad News looks for the Ghetto Blaster but misses.
I've literally written Ghetto Blaster, let me see it. Because I've seen fucking nothing apart from a couple of Irish whips.
It's basically like an Insiguri, but that was something way ahead of its time. It looked really good. Charging clothesline by Duggan sends Brown to the floor. Bad News returns with a chair and Duggan grabs his 2x4.
Cool.
And he said Duggan grabs his wood.
That's what I've put.
Of course you did. Gorilla counts 2 weapons, but I count 3 when you include Duggan. They begin dueling with the wood and metal, and the ref calls this one off. Yawn. They carry on brawling until Duggan gets the better of it and celebrates with a snot rocket.
Ugh, that is fucking vile. Fucking vile.
I, as a kid, loved Duggan.
Did you?
Really did.
Oh.
Just because he was kind of like a big goofball. But he seemed like friendly, like he would go to war for you.
Yeah.
And but I'm watching his matches and I'm waiting to see something that grips me and I haven't seen it yet.
This was a time, to me, we need someone to fill 5 minutes. Out you go. Out you go, lads.
Well, yeah, Jim Duggan was actually a really big star in Mid-South Wrestling, which is the same territory as where Junkyard Dog came from. And Bill Watts, who was predominantly the booker down there, was a former wrestler himself, big cowboy of a man, tough as nails. And he saw something in Duggan and he was used right there. And I think WWF went to do something similar with Duggan, but they gave him a bit more of a kind of cartoon, or whether it was instructed or otherwise, he took a more cartoony approach to it, which kind of is fitting in the WWF world. And I just thought that they've missed the opportunity there, but you mentioned really why that was curtailed with how he was portrayed. But again, in Mania, I haven't seen a good match from him yet.
No.
Sad times.
Yeah, and they're not Mania matches that are the good ones.
No, I do know there's one match that we might find okay when we get to it. What do you score this match, Holly?
I think you will guess what I score it. Nada. Nil point.
0 stars. Nailed it again.
But you can't give this. I mean, I'm amazed that's not a minus, I'll be honest. But to me, this was just nothing. Yeah,
actually, very good point. I'd imagine that I would have thought, Dave, based on what else we've seen, that would be a negative score. I would lean with you, 0, because it wasn't a match. It was just a few punches.
To me, it's a time holder.
It was a second. Yeah, and like I said, I don't know what the instruction was. Was this even scheduled ahead of time, or did they go?
I don't know. This is why I think they know. I think this next one was scheduled. How long that's going to be, and then they've looked at other matches and gone, oh, right, you 2 lads are here, ready to go. Out you get.
Hogan's seen he's got a 40-minute time slot, so he's like, that doesn't work for me, brother.
I could obviously be wrong, but that would be my hope.
I don't even think I wrote down a score. Oh no, because it's on the next page, but it is short. Don't worry.
Oh.
Mean Gene and the Red Rooster.
Yes.
Terry Taylor.
Yes.
Red Rooster. Mm-hmm. You probably did some Googling, as you would say.
Yes, I did.
What I want to know is, what the fuck did you do to deserve this? He clucks his way into shot, doing the pigeon head jive.
Poor guy.
Red Rooster says he'll teach Heenan how to lose. Mm-hmm. But I think it's fair to say, when you're called the Red Rooster, you never win. I'm saying that. He didn't say that. Also, what names hit the cutting room floor for that? I said you might as well have just called him the Pink Pussy.
Yeah.
For as good as the name that was. And the fact he had to get some of his long
mohawk,
little red mohawk, but with the long blonde hair. No. Terry Taylor was a solid wrestler. He did a lot of training work as well for...
He's in NXT at the minute.
He is, and he's a solid hand at that. He had not a career resurgence, but he did much better when he went into WCW. It's just, I don't know what the idea behind this was, but this was awful.
I don't know. Yeah, the only I'll be honest, if this had been earlier on in the match card, I probably would have done a lot more research.
Yeah.
But I was drained by this point. So all I've got is that he's at the minute working for NXT, but also he had to have multiple neck surgeries.
He did.
All the fusions of his... Yeah, I read that and I go, no, don't want to read about this, thank you. Hits a little too close to home.
Quite. Red Rooster said that Heenan called him limited, which is akin to saying water is wet and fire is hot. He says it will be a great day in the barnyard and cockadoodles his ass out of here.
And it did make me chuckle. I think hysteria might have been setting in at this point.
It was like the Great Khali Kiss Cam, where you're beyond...
Yes. It was kind of so confused it was funny. Also, I had ruined this because I googled who he was, and in the write-up it just says the length of the time of the match. I'll be honest, I was very happy.
I knew the match was short. I forgot how short it was, which I don't think is a bad thing.
Nope.
We get Bobby the Brain Heenan with the Brooklyn Brawler.
He's borrowed a unitard from Andre, let's be clear.
You're unnerving sometimes.
What have you written?
We'll see when I get there.
Oh, okay.
He comes out with the Brooklyn Brawler, or Steve Lombardi, who was also a
Yes.
backstage agent and very much a job guy for the WWF. And I actually, at this point, couldn't remember if Heenan tried to weasel his way out of the match and put in a replacement. I still don't really see the point of the Brawler being there, to be honest,
No.
but anyway. And he's going up against the Red Rooster. Heenan is nursing his ribs, and part of me thinks it could be genuine because of the Warrior.
Yeah.
Where he dropped him. That's
Who
the only...
knows?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I should do some more research on that. Surprised that Rooster didn't have Old MacDonald as his entrance music, if I'm being perfectly honest. He did get the cock-a-doodle-doo, though.
I was sad that he wasn't actually dressed proper like a
Like a
rooster.
chicken.
Yeah.
Like the gobbledygooker.
Yes, that's what I was thinking of.
Bobby luckily borrowed Andre's singlet for this match,
Off.
and we are underway.
That's so ridiculous.
Heenan cows in the corner, which I loved. I thought that was great. And Rooster introduces him to the Buckles.
Yep.
Corner whip follows. A second is reversed, but Heenan misses a shoulder charge, which I thought was really funny.
Yes, it was funny.
He ludicrously bumps off it. Rooster makes the cover, and mercifully, this one is over.
Yeah.
Brawler then blindsides the Rooster, and I can't pretend to care.
I just don't, honestly. Stupid. Pointless.
Score?
0.
0.
How the fuck has that not got minus from him?
Because it's not a thing.
It's not really a match, is it?
If it had gone on 10 minutes, it would have been a minus,
Okay,
I'll tell you
fair.
that.
Oh, I'm well happy. This is brilliant.
Backstage, Mean Gene with Miss Elizabeth.
Stunning.
Liz looks very pensive about the upcoming main event.
Yeah.
And the Queen is once again on fire.
But she's allowed to speak.
With her
This is
southern drawl.
amazing. Yeah.
Great facials by Liz. I just realised what I wrote and that doesn't sound right.
Oh, okay.
Great facials by Liz as always. Liz says that she'll be staying in a neutral corner.
Mm-hmm.
Awkward pauses between each line she delivers, like someone's got prompts
Yes.
off screen for her.
They're moving the cue cards.
Then we go to Tony Schiavone, says that the locker room is cleared as they all want to see the mega powers explode.
I'll be honest, I was kind of hoping that we'd see them like stood around the ring, like or sat
What,
watching.
lumberjacks.
Yeah.
Sean Mooney is in the crowd and asks who will win, and they actually do seem quite split. You hear Hogan first of all, and then you hear a couple people shout Macho Man.
Yeah.
And ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the culmination of the 15-match card with the main event of the evening.
Jesus.
Macho Man Randy Savage defending the WWF title against Hulk Hogan. Liz is not in the corner for him.
I imagine you were instantly livid at this match.
Just going to read the first note here. No. Savage should not be out first. However, as it is against Hogan, I'm not as annoyed.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Hogan's the exception.
No, I know, but he is the money piece, isn't he? Like,
And that's why they do it.
and I get it. But, come on. And actually, because of this, in my head, I went, I don't even know who I want to win right now.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So,
No, not good. Weird seeing Savage without Liz. Great gear on the Macho Man as always, though, in this era.
yes, so good.
Pat Patterson and a small army protect Liz as she makes her way through the masses to the ring.
I wish they'd have given her different entrance music, though, because we already heard
But she is his manager.
Randy's. And then it's like, oh, I hear it again.
What
Or
would you
just
have
have
given
her
her?
come out to the same music, but just continue it playing. Why
Yeah.
did it stop and start again?
I'll be honest, I didn't actually have an issue with it, if I'm being perfectly
I mean,
honest.
it is what it is.
I would have had her come out to no music.
Why wasn't she there to start with? Why does she need an entrance?
She come out first, and then... Yeah, no, that makes sense. Because then it looks like she's coming out with Savage, or she's participating in this match.
That would have been a turn up.
It would have been. Jess calls Hogan Lust instead of Hulk, so Lust Hogan. Doesn't rhyme, but okay. All sound the same.
Yep.
The crowd erupt for the Hulkster.
Yes, and at this point, I go, you know what? Fuck it. I'm rooting for Randy.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
The two. Did you not know the outcome of the match?
Nope.
Brilliant. I like that. The two circle for a while, but Savage bounces before they lock up.
Tan versus tan.
Tan versus tan, indeed. They circle some more. Savage almost matches his undergarments, actually, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Sponsored by David Dickinson. Collar and elbow sees Hogan overpower Savage and launch him across the ring. Macho looks worried at this. Great visual of his face.
Yes.
Side headlock by the champ. Drop down by Hogan, which you don't often see him do. And a shoulder block. Savage slithers out is the only way I could describe that.
Yeah.
Back in, and Savage gets a second side headlock and strikes the bridge of the nose.
Yeah.
Savage bails off a whip and angers Hogan to the point where he chases him.
At this point, my brain started to go, oh, I want Randy to win, but also they're talking about what he's doing backstage, whether that be true or not, and he's bounced out the ring far too many times already now. I'm going to be impartial.
So you backed out of Randy's corner? Okay.
Purely because he backed out the ring so many times.
Yeah.
And then he does something to Elizabeth in a minute, which, whether it's meant to happen or not, I don't care, don't like it.
I know exactly what you're referring to.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know how you would react in that situation.
Oh, mate, there'd be a fucking another match going on, I tell you.
Like a true hero, Savage grabs Liz and puts her between him and Hogan.
Of course.
This isn't what I was referring to.
Nope.
Savage sits on the ropes and invites Hogan back in.
That's
like
funny.
that.
That did make me chuckle.
Drop toe hold and front face lock by the Hulkster. Great back suplex by Savage to escape, but he misses on the running elbow drop. Series of big rights by the challenger, and he applies an arm wringer before getting his eyes raked.
Oh, yeah.
Top rope double axe handle by Savage gets a 2 count.
Yeah.
Arm lock by Macho Man as we hear Hogan chants start to be given voice. With a hair pull, Hogan is back on the canvas, which I thought was actually very good because the ref was out of position for it, and Savage used it well to take him down.
And as Jesse says, it ain't cheating unless you get caught.
Exactly. Well, fans are really behind Hogan, who avoids a second hair pull and sends Savage flying out of the ring with a handful of trunks.
That was
good.
I don't know how far he was going to fly at one point. You think, bloody hell. There's not a lot of space between the ring and just the metal guardrail.
Yeah, I like that. It reminded me of how Perfect sold the drop kick from the Blue Blazer earlier in the night and went flying over the top. Savage has always been a very, very good seller. You believe he's in pain. Hogan retrieves Macho and introduces him to 2 sets of turnbuckles before a running clothesline and elbow drops.
And that's at which point I then go, is Hulk bleeding?
Hulk is somehow bleeding.
Oh.
And Savage hits a kick on an early duck and running clothesline of his own.
Yep.
Sleeper hold from the champ that turns into a bulldog choke. Hogan eventually gets himself free. Shoulder block by Hulk, and he catches the boot of Savage and hits an atomic drop.
At which point I was like, oh, I'm a bit disappointed. I was hoping we were going to get the no, the finger wag.
Running elbow drop misses, allowing Savage to connect with a high knee to the back and a schoolboy pin for 2. Savage runs Hogan into the buckles and whips him to the other. Hogan falls and holds on to Macho Man by the leg. I thought that was quite good. It shows Hogan's in trouble here.
Yes.
Savage works the cut with right hands, and you actually see the blood stain his fist wrap.
Yeah.
Corner whip sends Hogan down once again, but the champ is wasteful, and Hogan makes him eat turnbuckle pads 6 times.
Oh, we get the Sesame Street counts, as
do.
I call it. Yeah.
Right hands follow. Corner clothesline sees Savage wilt. Hulk slams Savage over the top to the floor, which was quite gnarly.
And Elizabeth goes to help him.
Liz goes to help Savage, who swats her away and walks her down before pulling Hogan out under the bottom rope. Into the ring post goes the Hulkster, but he blocks the barricade and apron attempts. Hogan then smashes Savage into the ring and looks to run him into the post, but Liz steps in the way. She's remaining neutral, as she said. Savage slips out the back door, and shoves Hulk into the post, and Liz just about gets out of the way.
There's a fucking cameraman in the way as well.
Yep.
He takes an absolute beating.
Liz runs then to aid Hogan, again, staying neutral. The champ walks her down again, and this is the moment that Holly's not going to like, and he grabs her chin.
No.
Great heel work, as it got me angry.
Yeah. Yeah.
What went through your head when you saw that?
I'd immediately go red rag to a bull. Livid.
And you'll see Hogan again?
Yeah, but I just can't do it, because in my head I'm like, if someone ever fucking did that to me, they'd fucking know about it.
Yeah. Oh, I know. As soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, I don't like that, but I know Holly's not going to like that.
No.
The ref sends Liz away and instructs Savage back into the ring. Fine referee.
Fine.
Macho Man leaps from the top rope to the floor with a double axe handle, driving Hogan's throat across the barricade. Okay.
Yeah.
Savage guillotines Hulk over the top rope, which is another classic Savage spot that we see quite a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Before doing the same on the second rope, but with his legs this time.
Yeah.
Body slam by the champ gets 2. Chokes Hogan with his wrist tape again. I like that. Good heel work.
Yes.
Then just a regular choke for good measure.
Right. Here. I raised a point in my head to ask.
Okay.
So, Hogan's being choked, right?
Yes.
Shoulders are square on the floor. Why is the ref not counting?
The illegality of the hold prevents it from being
Thank you very
counted.
much. This is why I asked these questions.
No.
Because I was there like, this is done.
Always
He's had
happy
his
to help.
shoulders down for about 10 seconds.
Always happy to help. Savage connects with a top rope elbow for the 1-2. Nope.
Yeah.
Power kick out.
Oh.
Oof. Oof.
He's awake.
He's awake. He's ready to go.
And we get a no.
We get the Dikembe Mutombo finger wag. Looking like a fish out of water, gasping for air, we get a WrestleMania Hulk up.
Of course.
Big boot.
Yep.
Leg drop.
Standard.
And we have a new WWF champion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I remember feeling in my notes on this, saying that, yeah, we got a new champ. I'll be honest, I was a little gutted that Randy didn't retain it, but I wasn't surprised. Because who's going to give you the biggest pop at WrestleMania? Who are the people really coming to see? Mostly, probably. So I understood it, so I can't harbour any annoyance towards it.
Don't want to ruin anything for you.
Oh, okay.
Name a WrestleMania that we've watched so far that's had a heel win the main event.
All right. Well, that's a valid point too.
I'm not saying that always stays the same.
It definitely starts to happen, but...
How long is it until it does happen?
Yeah, true.
I know the WrestleMania. Well, and even that isn't quite a heel winning.
Ooh.
I won't tell you the WrestleMania is because we'll get there.
Yeah.
What'd you score this match?
3 out of 5. I thought it's not top tier. Randy did that. Randy disappointed me with the in and outs, but I've noted it down. The theatrics were great. Randy's wrestling moves.
Yep.
I actually thought very good.
Even Hogan. I'll be honest.
not too shoddy.
No.
And the crowd fucking made this. Absolutely made this. Thank God they had 2 wank matches before to build up for this one. In my humble opinion.
That's the entire idea behind it, because
Yep.
obviously Red Rooster against Bobby the Brain Heenan is not a
Yep.
co-main event. The co-main event on the night is the Intercontinental title
which
match.
was good.
Yeah.
So
The score?
Yeah.
You said 3.
3.
2.75.
Oh,
I agree
oh
with
my
3.
gosh.
I
Do
like,
you?
Yeah, I agree with 3.
Wow.
I think it was also one of Hogan's better matches, certainly in his first big WWF run.
Yeah.
I think Savage got a very good match out of him. The whole thing works. I can't think off the top of my head of anything that didn't feel right.
Yeah.
Even the bulldog choke, as I called it, where they were on the floor,
Yeah.
and then Hogan got his hair pulled down. That worked. Liz's interaction, even the
Yeah.
chin grab, I think that was intentionally done to know that would anger the guys. Like, don't you touch like that?
Yeah.
And it works. Obviously, it angered you as well.
Yeah, of course.
So I agree. I'd put that as a 3. And
Yeah.
it's probably one of the better main events we've seen
Yes.
at a WrestleMania.
By far.
For sure. The first one scored fairly high, though, as well for you.
Yeah.
Now, the
this
overall
is so
score
hard.
for the show.
This is really hard because I do this as soon as I finished watching, and I feel like actually I should do it like a day later.
Yeah.
Because I either go really high or really low and then have to rethink it.
So what have you put?
So in the end, I settled. I did settle for 4.5, which in the
Interesting.
grand scheme of things, I don't think is that bad. But
Not for an old show for you, no.
yeah, but there were some good matches in there that I really enjoyed, but it's just laced with absolute dross.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not even the fact of, they're just lower card matches. If it was a lower card match, but it was a match, it'd be fine. But it's not. It's a wrestling match that they don't wrestle in. It's a 30-second, hilarity contest.
Well, do you know what they've done? They've actually tried to almost do the Holly
The W
format.
Oh, it fucking worked in that one.
But you
At the
haven't
end.
liked the end result.
No.
It's funny that, isn't
Yeah,
it? So,
isn't it?
because they've done exactly what you would normally want them to.
Yeah, but I just think my W would have just lower card matches, but have it be a match.
And not quite as significant as a
Exactly.
trough as what was
Yes.
presented.
So I did enjoy it. I enjoyed the bits I enjoyed.
I'm not miles different from you in the landing point. So you went 4.5, I'd go
Yeah.
5.5.
Yeah, fair.
I think for the same reason, there was a few dross matches
Yes.
in there. So the ones that come to mind is Andre match, the Powers of Pain against Demolition. Struggling to think of any other matches really got my goat, to be honest. Oh,
Yeah.
the Bushwhackers and Rougeos
Yeah.
was awful. Was genuinely like an anger-inducing match for me.
Yeah.
So I landed on 5.5 because I thought the good outweighed the bad. We got our boy Al Hayes back.
Yeah, that was
So
good.
that was good to me. So I think it's still definitely not as bad as WrestleMania 4 and WrestleMania 2.
No.
So we're trending in the right direction, and I would like to think that the next show would score
Yes.
slightly higher for you
Okay.
from what I remember of being on that card.
Interesting.
We've now reached
Gosh.
after that absolute marathon sesh, our recording has gone
Fuck
beyond the
me,
length of the
that's
show.
so long.
There was a lot to unpack there, Holly. A lot to
Yes.
unpack. But would you kindly share with the listeners the
Yes.
social medias of the show?
I'd love to. wintwicepod@gmail.com. Insta, TikTok, YouTube are all wintwicepod. I can't say much else. I don't do a lot of work, to be fair. Instagram is pretty nice and stress-free for me.
And if you guys have got any show suggestions,
Oh, yes, please send them in.
please don't. Like I
Please
said,
no old ones for a moment. Just give me a break.
to be fair,
from
you can
old
still
ones.
suggest whatever you like. We'll just
I'll just say no.
but we'll factor it in at the
Will
time
we?
when it
Will we?
works. So we're not doing, for your
Ooh.
sake, 3 old shows
Yes,
in a row.
no, thank you.
That's a fair rule
Thank
that
you
I've
kindly.
acquiesced to. But by all means, don't let that stop you putting forward an old show if you want us to look at it. As long as, like I said, we can get access to it through legal means, then that's absolutely fine. Again, YouTube's still ticking over.
Very good.
Burst through 600 subs
I know.
overnight, which is great. So we're flying on
Mental.
that. Lots of interesting feedback from the community. For the most part, they're kind of policing themselves as well, which is quite nice.
Okay. I can't look at it. I live vicariously through you in the comments. I don't know why. I can't get involved in it. I'd fall down a rabbit hole and be there for about 4 hours.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, like I said, I don't mind people having dissenting opinions as long as it's positioned right and, no personal attacks, etc., etc. We're all good. Works fine for me. We haven't actually picked a next show that we're going to cover off. We just know it won't be on the March Through The Manias series, so there'll be a week off between that.
Yes.
I think there might be a week coming up where we don't do a WrestleMania for 2 episodes due to time constraints, because we still want to get an episode out there.
And watch actual WrestleMania.
Yes, basically. we don't want to have to do like a potential 4-hour recording based on this going, and also have to try and fit in other stuff, so we don't want to have a week off, as it were.
No.
So we'll make sure we've got something out there, but we'll let you guys know obviously when we get nearer to that time.
Well, fine.
Well, hopefully you've had a bloody lovely time listening to this episode. You can all take a breather, and hopefully you'll come back for the next one. And like I said, I'm sure we might even drop a teaser somewhere as to what that show will be. But thank you very much for listening, everyone. Have a wonderful time, and see you for the next one. Bye.
Bye.